You just said that this is Mr. Ron's first time cooking fish head with chopped peppers. That means you've eaten many other delicacies before, haven't you? Beerus looked at Whis suspiciously and asked. That's definitely the case. You can tell from this guy's expression. But why didn't I smell such a fragrant smell before? Ho ho. Of course not, Lord Beerus. Please believe me. How could I be the kind of person who eats alone? Whis said with an embarrassed smile that his own thoughts were exposed by Beerus. It's just that his smile reveals that what Beerus said is true. Cut. You bastard actually eat delicious food while I'm asleep. Like clenching your fists tightly. Although he felt very annoyed, it was useless. Because the guy Whis is really too powerful. Moreover, he is still an angel, and he can't take advantage of him at all. Hi Ron, huh? Did you feed Whis a lot of delicious food before? Then Beerus turned his head, looked at Ron and asked. It's not bad. It's only 2 years. Ron looked at Beerus and answered. The Beerus in front of me is exactly the same as in the Dragon Ball Super animation. It is a tailless cat. And at this time, he was not wearing the uniform of gods of destruction, just wearing a light green pajamas. Giggle. Whis, you bastard. There are delicious things, but one person can enjoy them all alone. Beerus gritted his teeth angrily and stared at Whis with a grin. This guy actually secretly ate so many delicacies while he was asleep. Damn it. Whis could only smile awkwardly from the sidelines. Which planet are you from? I have been to many planets looking for food, but I have never smelled such a delicious taste. Beerus looked at Ron again, then asked curiously. I have been to any galaxy in the universe. Part of the reason is to destroy unnecessary planets in order to carry out gods of destruction missions. Another reason is to find food. Of course, you go out looking for good food more often than you go out to destroy the planet. I come from a remote planet in the northern galaxy. Even if I tell you, Lord Beerus won't know about it. Ron was just playing a blind eye. Then he continued. Okay, the chopped pepper fish head should be ready. You two can taste my handicraft. He does it just to divert attention. If Beerus and Whis discover the earth at this time, it is obviously not good news for him. After speaking, Ron brought out the pepper fish head. The rich aroma immediately filled the entire kitchen. Beerus and Whis sniffed vigorously, and then a look of intoxication appeared on their faces. Even Whis, although the food I ate before feels delicious, it can be called gourmet food. But many of them are prepackaged foods, which don't have this fragrance. Gulu, gulu. Looking at the fish head with chopped peppers in front of them, the two swallowed hard. Because from the color point of view, it is too attractive. Coupled with that almost unscented fragrance, this kind of temptation is simply irresistible for the two of them. I didn't expect to have delicious food just after waking up. After living for hundreds of millions of years, this kind of treatment seems to be the first time. If that's the case, then I won't be polite. After Beerus finished speaking, he sat down and picked up a piece of fish with his two sharp claws. Master Beerus, can you pay attention to how you eat? Anyway, you are also the gods of destruction of our seventh universe. Can you use tools when eating? Looking at Beerus, who was catching fish with his cat's claws, Whis said with a look of disgust. I didn't expect that I had guided him for such a long time, and this guy didn't listen at all. Cut. Since you know that I am gods of destruction, then shut up and eat whatever you want. While talking, he put the fish in his mouth. After chewing it lightly a few times, an unbelievable light suddenly burst out from the eyes. This smell. Beerus was just so excited that he seemed a little speechless. He had never eaten such delicious food. It melts in the mouth. Not only has the smell of fish, but also the spiciness is just right. What's the matter, Master Beerus? Is it delicious? Whis, who was running away, saw Beerus' reaction and quickly asked curiously. It's so delicious. This time, Beerus yelled out directly in his own high-pitched voice. He had never eaten such delicious food and felt that every cell in his body was shaking with excitement. Is it really that delicious? Although Whis had no doubts about Ron's cooking skills, the canned catfish that this guy brought out last time really left a deep impression on him. So he didn't have much confidence in the fish. But looking at the appearance of Master Beerus, it is obvious that this fish head with chopped peppers is very delicious. Then he quickly took a piece and put it in his mouth. In that moment, Whis completely copy-pasted Beerus' expression. The whole body began to shake with excitement. Although in the past 2 years, he has eaten countless delicacies that Ron gave him, but I have never eaten such delicious food. At this moment, he really understood what food is. In the next second, the two began to gobble up the fish head with chopped peppers in time. In less than a minute, a fish head was left with only fish bones, not even a bit of chili flakes left. Beerus sucked his fingers vigorously, as if he was enjoying the fragrance lingering around his fingertips. Beerus also kept shaking his chopsticks. It was something Ron had taught him to use, and it was a habit now. Ron, are you being so unkind? In the past 2 years, I have earnestly guided you to practice, and you have never brought out such delicious food. Whis looked at Ron with an unsatisfactory face and said reproachfully, haha, I can't help it. I just researched these dishes recently. Looking at Whis, who was complaining, Ron could only shrug his shoulders and said foolishly, it seems that I still have a good taste. I will have such a delicious delicacy when I wake up. Honestly, Whis, Ron's food is 10,000 times better than yours. Beerus smiled, then turned to Whis and said, in fact, in this world, the only thing that can make me feel so excited is food. Of course, there is also the compliment from Master Zeno. It's a pity that this kind of thing probably won't happen in my lifetime. I don't refute this sentence. The food made by Ron is indeed much more delicious than mine. But there are more delicious snacks, Mr. Beerus. You have never eaten. Whis nodded undeniably at first, and then spoke in a somewhat ostentatious manner. After all, I have been with Ron for 2 years. In the past 2 years, he would bring himself delicious food almost every day, as well as those delicious drinks. Nanny, you bastard. You actually ate so much delicious food behind my back. I will never forgive you. And you, Ron, you have to cook me more delicious food before I forgive you. After hearing Whis' provocation, Beerus frowned, and then said, dissatisfied. I am the gods of destruction of this universe, okay? Although it is said that Whis has a higher god position than himself, this universe still has the final say. These two guys actually hide that they have eaten so many delicious food, and I will not forgive them so easily, unless they make better food for themselves. Lord Beerus, although you are the gods of destruction of the seventh universe, if I still have to emphasize, I am not your personal chef. The reason why I make delicious food for Whis to taste is because there is a condition between us. I make some delicious food for him to eat, and he's responsible for training me. I increase my strength. If you want to eat more delicacies in the future, you can also train me some unique skills that you are better at, so that I can help you make more delicious delicacies. Seeing Beerus' displeased face, Ron said flatly, between myself and Whis, although a little friendship has developed in the past 2 years, but in the final analysis, the two of them were still involved in interest from the beginning. In fact, I know that although Beerus is not as strong as Whis, he is definitely not weak. In particular, he also mastered the gods of destruction skill, which is a god skill not weaker than Ultra Instinct. Because in the latest Dragon Ball Ultra manga, Son Goku, who had mastered the perfect Ultra Instinct, was directly defeated by Granola, and Vegeta, who has already comprehended the form of gods of destruction, has the strength to beat Granola violently. Although there may be a reversal of the plot in the end, but it is undeniable that the gods of destruction form that has mastered the power of destruction is indeed relatively powerful. Although I don't know if my angel blood can master the form of gods of destruction, but as long as you have the chance, you can still try it yourself. After all, I will never dislike myself for mastering more abilities. Ooh, Whis glanced at Ron in surprise. You must know that Ron now knows that Master Beerus is the gods of destruction of the seventh universe, but he still has such a request. That means that he is not actually afraid of gods of destruction in his heart, or that he is determined that Lord Beerus will agree, because food may be average to others. But if I didn't tell myself and Master Beerus, there was almost no resistance. Cut. You bastard. Do you even know who you're talking to? I am the gods of destruction of this universe, and I control the life and death of all planets in this universe. You are actually talking about conditions in front of me now. Beerus' face changed slightly. His cat eyes were half closed, and he stared at Ron and said, To be honest, when I went to other planets to look for food, which planet's leader was not respectful, and respectfully offered the most delicious food on my planet. But this guy Ron has been living on his own planet for 2 years without knowing it, and now he still talks to himself. It's just a little too much. If it wasn't for the fact that the food he made was so delicious, I would have destroyed him on the spot. After all, Gods of Destruction also has the majesty of Gods of Destruction. It's natural. In addition to teaching me some special abilities, Master Beerus must agree to another request. Of course, I will also show my true craftsmanship and make exquisite delicacies for Mr. Beerus to taste. Ron nodded seriously first, and then said to Beerus with a seductive expression, "What? One more request." Beerus' expression changed again, but when he heard that he made a superb food and showed real craftsmanship, Beerus began to waver. In fact, his Gods of Destruction skill is not a secret. After thinking for a moment, Beerus nodded. Anyway, this is a win-win thing. The Ron in front of him seems to be very talented, and he can feel a lot of power from his body. Maybe I can teach him the skills of God first, and then make him a candidate for the 7th universe Gods of Destruction or something. And this kind of thing can be completely decided by oneself. Mr. Boxing Champion and Mr. Grand Priest will not interfere at all. Let's talk. You just said that there is another request. What is it? After agreeing, Beerus asked, "As long as the request is not too excessive, I will agree to it." Actually, it's not a troublesome thing. It's just that I hope to compete with Master Beerus once in a while, so that I can roughly know the gap between me and Master Beerus. Ron said seriously. After these 2 years of training, his strength and combat effectiveness have indeed been improved, which has been greatly improved. But there must still be a big gap between Gods of Destruction Beerus. Oh, so it's such a trivial matter. I agree. Beerus was very forthright this time. He waved his hand and agreed. To be honest, since I became Gods of Destruction, I have no opponent in this universe at all, and Gods of Destruction cannot fight between. But if you fight with Angel, the gap between the two is too big, and you don't have any combat experience at all. I have always longed for a hearty battle. But this kind of desire can only be a desire, because it is absolutely impossible for human beings to become the opponents of gods, even less likely to be the greatest and greatest Gods of Destruction opponent. But looking at the guy in front of him, his strength seems to be pretty good. If he cultivated him a little bit, then he would be able to move his muscles and bones freely. In fact, this is not a bad thing for me. And if he becomes a candidate for Gods of Destruction in the future, it is very likely that he will also save some face for the 7th universe. So this matter, if you think about it carefully, you won't suffer. Of course, if it's just because of this benefit, I don't have so much time to pay attention to him. The most important reason is that this guy can make the best food. And this is also a temptation that makes him completely irresistible. Okay, if that's the case, I'll thank Lord Beerus first. Although he had already guessed that Beerus would agree, Ron didn't expect Beerus to agree so simply. In Dragon Ball Super, Beerus seeks out his dream rival, Super Saiyan God. In fact, I still want to experience a hearty battle. After all, being the Gods of Destruction of a universe is almost a stance of invincibility, and that invincibility is very lonely. He can't be Angel's opponent. But ordinary humans and gods are completely incomparable with Gods of Destruction. It is estimated that this is also the reason why he tried his best to find Super Saiyan God to fight with him. Hey, what shall we have for dinner tonight? By the way, there seems to be delicious food over there. Beerus asked, then looked at another iron. There seemed to be some meat in it, like the wings of a young bird from some planet. Yes, this is also my specialty. Coke chicken wings. Mr. Beerus can taste it. Ron brought over the Coke chicken wings. This dish is already very, very simple. In my own world, I guess it can be made casually. Coke chicken wings. It's a name I've never heard of before, but it seems to smell good, and it's quite fragrant. Hey, then let me taste it. Beerus directly used his cat's paw as a fork and inserted a chicken wing into his mouth. In fact, the taste of Coca-Cola chicken wings is not as strong as the chopped pepper fish head just now, but it is definitely very good when you really eat it. After taking a bite, Beerus' face changed drastically again. The meat is very tender, and the taste of the meat is mixed with a sweet taste and an indescribable taste that is completely fusioned together. At that moment, both of Beerus' eyeballs bulged. How is it? Master Beerus, isn't it also very delicious? Looking at Beerus' expression, Whis knew that the cola chicken wings in front of him were definitely delicious. Otherwise, Master Beerus would not have shown such a retarded expression. Beerus didn't have the time to answer him at this time, so he picked up 2 more chicken wings and stuffed them into his mouth. Whis was naturally not to be outdone, and then the two began to compete to eat. Looking at the Beerus and Whis you fought for, Ron suddenly felt that these guys were actually quite pitiful. They are 2 simple dishes, but in their eyes they are the best dishes. In minutes, more than a dozen chicken wings were eaten by the 2 of them. Afterwards, Birdman still sipped the remaining sweetness on his fingers. Wow, I really didn't expect that there is such a delicious food in our 7th universe. I said, Whis, you are too incompetent to be an angel. How many times have I asked you to find a planet with delicious food? Why didn't you find Ron all these years ago? After enjoying it, Beerus asked Whis. The 7th universe has such delicacies, and this is the first time I have tasted it after living for hundreds of millions of years. Thinking about the food I ate before, it was simply not for human consumption. Master Beerus, didn't you follow me out every time? Why didn't you find it? Whis gave Beerus a big wide eye, and then asked back. Master Beerus just likes to shirk all responsibilities on himself. But after hundreds of millions of years of getting along, I've already gotten used to it. Cut. That's all you can say. Beerus obviously didn't want to argue with Whis either, because the food just now was really delicious, and the 2 dishes made me very satisfied. So at this time, he was also in a very good mood, so he didn't bother to argue with Whis. Ron, what are we having for dinner tonight? Beerus asked again. Let's have barbecue tonight. I will prepare some ingredients and drinks. But Lord Beerus better think about what he's going to teach me tomorrow. Ron said with a wicked smile. If you can learn Gods of Destruction skill with just a barbecue, it's really a very good deal. After all, too many skills don't overwhelm you. Fine, as long as the barbecue you mentioned satisfies me, I will teach you the Gods of Destruction from tomorrow. Sure enough, Beerus said very generously. After lunch, Whis continued to train Ron, and Beerus is completely no sleepy at this time, because the food just now seemed to still be lingering on the tip of my tongue, and the aroma could not dissipate for a long time. He has already begun to look forward to what he will eat tonight, and even tomorrow. Ron, today you and I will practice duel. Let me see how far you have improved in the past 2 years. After I understand your current true strength, I will also train you in other aspects according to the situation. Whis said to Ron with a serious face. Good. Ron nodded directly. In fact, he has always wanted to compete with Whis. Although I know very well that it is definitely impossible to be Whis' opponent, but in the contest with him, my strength may have a greater breakthrough and improvement. Just let me see how strong this kid is. See if he is eligible to be a candidate for Gods of Destruction in the 7th universe. Beerus was also full of curiosity, leaning directly on a recliner not far away, holding the back of his head with his hands, and watching the battle. In fact, I have been Gods of Destruction for hundreds of millions of years, and I have been looking for someone who can become a candidate for Gods of Destruction. However, the comprehensive level of human beings in the 7th universe does not seem to be high, so I have never found a human being who can make my eyes shine. So I have never considered being a candidate for Gods of Destruction. Ron, use all your strength. You also know very well that my strength far exceeds yours. Angel Whis said with a smile. After 2 years of contact and getting along, it is estimated that Ron has a clearer understanding of his own strength. Although he doesn't know exactly what height he stands at, he should be able to realize that he is much stronger than him. Well, you're right. Ron nodded, then clenched his fists together. At that moment, the breath of God, as vast as the universe, burst out from the body instantly. The entire Gods of Destruction world seemed to tremble with this breath. Nanny, is there such a huge amount of energy in this guy's body? Ron suddenly erupted with his godly aura, causing a shocked look on Beerus' face. This guy's strength is definitely not comparable to that of ordinary humans. It can even be said that he has surpassed all humans in the 7th universe. And what he erupted was not the breath of human beings, but the real breath of God. And this breath seems to be very similar to Angel. It seems that it should be the effect of Whis guidance. Oh, I haven't realized for so many days that Ron's strength has risen to such a level. Even Whis on the side was taken aback. Because in the recent period, Ron has been challenging the limits of his physical fitness. So I didn't seriously observe his strength. Many times I let him train alone, and then do some other things by myself. But this guy's current strength is much stronger than when he fought against the 6th Universe Gods of Destruction combo last time. The combat power of 621Z. The unit value has reached 8. However, with such strength, it should not be Beerus' opponent. Ron also felt his own strength. Being able to directly skip the unit in 2 years and increase his strength from 1100 Jing to 621Z. Should he be the first person in the entire universe, right? Not bad. Your current improvement speed seems to have surpassed Master Beerus back then. At this rate of improvement, it probably won't take a few years for you to reach the level of Master Beerus, or even surpass him. Whis nodded and praised. Although Beerus on the side was a little upset, he also knew that what Whis said was the truth. This guy was able to improve to such a level in a few years, and looking at Whis' surprised expression, he knew how powerful his cultivation potential was. Haha, who knows? Ron just smiled lightly, then clenched his fists tightly. Almost in the next second, he rushed directly towards Whis. At this point, Ron's speed is very, very amazing, because at this moment, he cast the perfect Ultra Instinct. If you want to compete with Whis, you can't use Ultra Instinct. Call out. Ron punched it out. The speed is astonishingly fast, and countless afterimages have already appeared on the trajectory along the way just now. The whole body looks extremely illusory. Ultra Instinct. I didn't expect to display all my strength as soon as I came up. Whis just smiled lightly, without much surprise on his face, because he already knew that Ron had mastered the perfect Ultra Instinct. But even so, the Ultra Instinct has classes. Not just the Ultra Instinct Mega, or the perfect Ultra Instinct distinction. Just like Ron has also mastered the perfect Ultra Instinct, but his Ultra Instinct is definitely not as powerful as his own. And the Ultra Instinct that he and other angels have mastered, compared with his father's Grand Priest, there is a big gap. Therefore, the comprehension of Ultra Instinct also has several levels. After finishing speaking, Whis just tilted his head slightly, and easily dodged Ron's fist. Cut. Are you kidding me? Is that boy Ron's speed so fast? Seeing Ron's sudden speed, Beerus showed a look of horror on his face. The power that this guy erupted just now surprised me enough. The speed he showed now shocked me once again. Was this guy really a human before? It's really suspicious. Are you kidding? The speed this guy displayed just now has surpassed some gods of destruction. Beerus narrowed his eyes slightly, looked at Ron, and seemed to suddenly remember something. Then there was a look of astonishment on his face again, and he said to himself, just now, this guy seems to have cast the Ultra Instinct. Did that bastard Whis actually teach him the Ultra Instinct? When he thought of this, the astonishment on Beerus' face became even greater. You must know that in all gods of destruction, only you have mastered some Ultra Instinct fur. But just now, if this guy really used Ultra Instinct, his Ultra Instinct must have reached a perfect level. Even if they are not as good as angels like Whis, they're already far beyond their own comprehension. If it takes only 2 years to master the perfect Ultra Instinct, then it has to be said that this guy's potential is really outrageous. More importantly, in addition to talent, one more important point in cultivating Ultra Instinct is that his mind must be calm. Without a peaceful and steady mind, it is impossible to truly master Ultra Instinct. And that guy, Whis, can be regarded as giving him everything. Meanwhile, on the other side, Ron kept attacking Whis. Ron felt that his speed had become very, very happy at this point. Almost every punch seems to be able to make the space start to vibrate. But even so, Whis still had a calm expression on his face, and then easily dodged all of Ron's attacks. Cut. Is this Angel's strength? It seems that the gap between us is too huge. It's really not easy to surpass him. While launching the attack, Ron thought secretly, whoosh. But even though he knew that he could never be Whis' opponent, but Ron never gave up, but continued to attack. The speed of punching is getting faster and faster, and the body skills are getting weirder. It's just that no matter how Ron improves, he still can't touch Whis' body. It took a full 3 minutes, although Ron felt that his speed was getting faster every time. But the ending is all the same, and Whis can't be touched at all. It seems that I can only use flash time skills. Since I obtained this ability, I have never used it. Today is just a good time to practice with Whis, to see if the ability of time can pose a slight threat to him. After launching almost thousands of attacks without touching Whis, Ron began to prepare to use the flash time technique. This is his ultimate move, the 6th Universe Killer. With the flash time skill I have mastered now, I can only jump the time span of 0.1 second. If you are facing an ordinary opponent, or a player who is a little stronger than yourself, 0.1 seconds of flash time is enough for yourself to win. But Whis is different, because the gap between himself and him is too great. It is estimated that the flash time of 0.1 seconds will not have any effect. However, I also have my own ideas. Flash time skill. In the next second, Ron directly used the flash time skill. The body appeared behind Whis like a ghost. After performing the flash time skill, in fact, all a person's breath will disappear during this time period. So it is estimated that even gods of destruction Beerus will not be able to capture his breath during this time period. But Angel Whis can do it, because the time position he stands in has far surpassed the 0.1 second time he jumped. Call out. After performing the flash time skill, Ron punched Whis without saying a word. Whis didn't turn his head, but a slight side of his body, which easily dodged Ron's attack this time. Only this time, there was a look of surprise on his face. Time attack. When did Mr. Ron master the ability of time? No, this ability should be the same as the ability of the 6th Universe Killer hit. Is it flash time? Isn't that the 6th Universe hit's unique skill? Mr. Ron has never been to the 6th Universe. Why can he master this ability? Although such an attack had absolutely no effect on Whis, he was very surprised, because being able to control time is no longer something that a human being can do. 6th hit. The killer of the universe lived for 1,000 years before he developed the flash time skill. But after getting along with Ron these days, he knew that Ron was only in his early 20s. That is, only 20 years. Even if he started practicing after he came out of the mother's womb, it would last more than 20 years. Over the past 20 years, not only have been able to master the perfect Ultra Instinct, but also have comprehended flash time skills. Definitely something unheard of before. Compared to Whis' surprise just now, the surprise on Beerus' face is more intense now. What are you kidding again? The moment Ron attacked just now, his aura completely disappeared. Even I can't catch his breath. Beerus' eyes were already narrowed into 2 slits, staring intently at Ron. He felt that there were too many incredible things about this guy. Not only has he mastered the Ultra Instinct that even gods of destruction can't master, but now he's so fast that he can't even feel his aura. To be precise, it should not be something that can be done quickly. But in that instant, he completely disappeared in this space. Definitely a very special and mysterious ability. A human being can actually master abilities that even the gods of destruction can't understand. Just when Whis and Beerus were surprised, Ron's body disappeared again, jumped directly for 0.1 seconds, and launched a fierce attack again. Although the jumping time is only 0.1 seconds, Ron is already very strong. In addition to the use of Ultra Instinct, the time of 0.1 seconds is already very against the sky. But even so, in front of the unfathomable Angel, he still can't show any advantage. Whoosh. Ron's body kept appearing from all directions, and his fists and feet attacked Whis again and again. But every time, Whis could easily dodge him. It seems that the gap between me and Angel is still too big. I'm afraid it's not that simple to change this result in a short period of time. After attacking dozens of times, Ron could only think helplessly. Although I feel helpless, this is also expected. After all, Angel's level of strength is definitely not what he is now, an existence that can be imagined. Even if he also obtained Angel's bloodline, even an enhanced version of Angel's bloodline. But after all, Whis, these guys are old antiques, and they have lived at least hundreds of millions of years, or even longer. Such a powerful force can only be bred in the long river of time. If I can surpass him in just a few years, then Angel is too miserable. Okay, let's call it a day. However, your performance has already surprised me. As long as you practice seriously, you may be able to reach my level after practicing for thousands of years. Whis naturally also saw that Ron didn't want to continue fighting with him at this time. Because the gap is too big, there is no fun in such a battle. Ron also stopped his attack and directly took back all the breath of God into his body. The gap with Angel is indeed too big, but in the battle with him just now, while feeling his own inadequacy, he also felt that he had improved. Although that kind of improvement is not very big. For thousands of years, Ron froze for a moment. Even though I have obtained the blood of Angel, even though I have eternal life, but it will take thousands of years to reach the level of Whis, which is too long for me. Hey, you guys are really incredible. You should have been a human before, right? How could you have such terrifying strength? And you seem to have used some kind of very mysterious ability just now. After using this ability, the speed is so fast that even I, Gods of Destruction, can't see clearly. At this moment, Gods of Destruction Beerus came over, looked at Ron, and said, although he couldn't see Ron's movements clearly, he knew that he felt a little embarrassed. But this is also true, because after that guy used that ability just now, he really made himself completely unable to see his movements clearly. Ron, if I'm not mistaken, what you just used should be an ability to jump time. This ability is also mastered in the 6th universe, and it's called Flash Time Skill. I'm also very curious, how on earth did you master this ability? And when you fought Lord Compa last time, you didn't seem to have used this ability in that dangerous situation. Whis also walked up to Ron with curiosity on his face, and then spoke. The ability to master time is not something that ordinary humans can do. Even Gods of Destruction cannot transcend time. But Ron had just done it, and Hit of the 6th universe could do it too. Perhaps this is talent. Looking at the two with curious and surprised faces, Ron shrugged and said perfunctorily, after all, I can't tell them directly that this ability is rewarded to me by the system. After hearing Whis' words, Beerus' expression changed drastically. It's because of the change in his complexion, not because of the fact that Ron has mastered the ability of time. It's because he heard Whis say that Ron actually fought Compa. Hey Whis, what did you mean by what you just said? You mean Ron fought that fat pig Compa? When did this happen? Hurry up and tell me what happened. Beerus said impatiently with a displeased face. You must know that Ron is a human from their 7th universe, and Compa, that dead fat pig, is the Gods of Destruction of the 6th universe. Logically speaking, the two of them have no intersection at all. But why is there a fight? Ho ho ho. I forgot that Lord Beerus doesn't know about this yet. Whis smiled, and then explained, 2 years ago, when Ron was first discovered, it was because he had a fight with Master Compa. At that time, on the planet in the southern Milky Way, the battle between the two of them attracted my attention. Master Compa had already wanted to kill Ron at that time, so I went to have a look. After all, Master Beerus, you also know very well that Master Compa is the Gods of Destruction of the 6th universe. If you let him mess around in our 7th universe, you will definitely be angry when you wake up. So I can only take the liberty to stop him. Nanny. After hearing Whis' explanation, Beerus' face became even uglier. Then he clenched his fist tightly, gritting his teeth, and said, that dead fat pig Compa dared to come to our 7th universe to kill the humans in the 7th universe. It seems that he didn't take me seriously at all. Could it be that he wants to get rid of Ron because he knows Ron can cook food, so that I can't win the next food competition? It must be like this. Look at the determined Beerus. Ron, whisper. Beerus was indeed thinking too much. Because of the battle between the two of them, food has nothing to do with it. Master Beerus, you are thinking too much. Master Compa didn't fight Ron because of the food. Whis reminded. Snort. Anyway, that guy came to the 7th universe for no reason. With his character, there must be some kind of conspiracy. Beerus snorted coldly, then said firmly, the so-called no profit, no early, is definitely talking about a guy like Compa. With his lazy character, if there was no conspiracy, or if the 7th universe didn't have what he wanted, he would never have traveled so far to the 7th universe. Whis, if they didn't come to the 7th universe because Ron can cook delicious food, do you know why they came to the 7th universe? Then Beerus asked, although I and Compa are brothers, sometimes this guy has to be guarded, so he won't harm himself, but that guy has a lot of little things in his heart. It is still very possible to do a few things that make yourself look ugly. I don't know much about this, Lord Beerus. Whis shook his head and said, although I have discovered that Lord Compa has come to the 7th universe several times before, but as for their purpose, I really haven't delved into it. Fine, be more careful in the future, and keep an eye on that fat pig Compa. Beerus could only speak lightly, but what he was thinking at this moment was, Ron, since he can make such delicious food, then the next time I have a food confrontation with Compa, I am 100% sure to win. The day passed quickly. The next day, Beerus had a fight with Ron as promised. The main reason is because I like to eat food, but at the same time, I haven't had a hearty battle for many years. Watching the match between Ron and Whis yesterday, he thinks this guy is really good, qualified to be your own opponent. Even if you may not be able to fight with all your strength, at least you should be able to exercise your muscles and bones. Ron, show off your full strength in a while. Use your ability to jump time, and don't disappoint me too much. Standing opposite, Beerus said to Ron with a smile on his lips. Relax, Lord Beerus. I shouldn't disappoint you. Ron shook his fist, and a look of excitement appeared on his face. At this point, he felt more excited fighting Beerus than fighting Whis. The reason is simple. That guy Whis is too powerful. It can be said that the two of them are not in the same dimension at all. Although Beerus also has very strong strength. If his unit value is 10, then his combat power has at least reached the level of a ditch. And his current strength, after yesterday's battle with Whis, has indeed improved happily. But it's only 650 Z. You must know that there is still a unit of soil between Z and ditch. Even if you use the Freedom Extremely Easy skill and Flash Time skill by yourself, it is not so easy, and you can make up for this gap. But in the next second, Ron still showed all his strength. The combat power of 650 Z exploded in an instant, and the surrounding dust and gravel dispersed in an instant. The entire Gods of Destruction world trembled. Interesting. To be honest, even if you look at the 12 universes, there are no more than 5 fingers of human beings who can reach your level. Beerus nodded to Ron approvingly, and then spoke. In other universes, there are indeed some humans who are very powerful, but Ron's strength at this time can definitely rank among the top 5 in the universe. Even with his current combat power, it is estimated that it is enough to compete with Gods of Destruction at the level of the 2nd universe Gods of Destruction Herace and the 9th universe Sidra. Even if this guy uses Ultra Instinct and the ability to jump time, it is estimated that he has a combat power not weaker than Compa. Of course, there is a premise that these Gods of Destruction do not use the power of destruction. If they use the power of destruction, Ron still can't be their opponent, because only Gods of Destruction and angels know how powerful the Gods of Destruction skills and destructive power are. Top 5. Ron smiled. Among the human beings known to him, the power of the human Jiren from the 11th universe is likely to surpass his own. There is also a relatively strong player, Scion Broly of the 7th universe. Although he may still be very weak at this time, but this guy can grow infinitely in battle. From the beginning, he couldn't even beat Vegeta in normal form, but after an hour of fighting, he was able to compete with the Super Blue Gogeta. This guy's combat power is definitely not weaker than Z's unit. And in the tournament of power, only 8 universes with a relatively low human level participated. There are also 4 universes with relatively high human level that did not participate in the competition. Maybe in these 4 universes, there are more powerful humans. Okay, you are already proud of being able to reach such a level at such a young age. If you can master the Gods of Destruction technique, then I can guarantee that there will be no human beings in the 12 universes to be your opponent. Even most of the Gods of Destruction can't do anything to you. As if seeing Ron's dissatisfaction, Beerus spoke. In fact, the stronger Ron becomes, the better it is for him. The Gods of Destruction of the 7th universe. After all, every few hundred or even thousands of years, Master Zeno and Grand Priest will conduct a human level assessment of all universes. And if the human level of universe is relatively low, it is definitely not a good thing. Maybe the appearance of Ron will improve the comprehensive human level of the 7th universe to a certain extent. In that case, I would like to thank Lord Beerus for his guidance. Ron smiled and spoke. Although he has obtained angel blood, but after all, his current strength is still very weak, especially for guys like Angel and Gods of Destruction. And I don't have the identity of an angel, so Gods of Destruction is still Gods of Destruction in front of me, especially since he is a person from the 7th universe, and Beerus is the Gods of Destruction of the 7th universe. If it was the Gods of Destruction from other universes, I wouldn't take them seriously at all. But judging from the current situation, whether Beerus is because of its own food or for other reasons, at least he was still friendly to himself. Bring it on. Beerus waved to Ron, indicated that he could display all his strength, and then attacked himself. Ron wasn't being polite either. He knew Beerus was still going strong. Although in the first part of Dragon Ball Super, especially in the final power conference, the appearance of perfect freedom G Gong and Jiren lowered the force of Gods of Destruction. But this does not mean that mastering Ultra Instinct or reaching the level of Jiren will not be weaker than Gods of Destruction. On the contrary, whether it is Jiren, the ceiling of human beings, or Son Goku, who has mastered the perfect Ultra Instinct, there is still a big gap in front of Gods of Destruction. Because in the second comic of Dragon Ball, Gods of Destruction Beerus is still a ceiling level existence. Even Son Goku, who has mastered the Ultra Instinct perfectly, or Vegeta, who has mastered the form of Gods of Destruction, is not considered by Gods of Destruction Beerus at all. So the power of Gods of Destruction is still a mystery. Except for Angel, it is estimated that no human beings are considered. So, Ron cast Ultra Instinct directly. Flash time skill. The moment the slight voice fell, Ron's body instantly appeared behind Beerus. In that 0.1 second, his body disappeared again. That's right, it completely disappeared in this space. Let alone Gods of Destruction Beerus. Even Angel Whis couldn't detect it. A skill to jump time. If it is an opponent of the same level, this ability may be very useful, but for Gods of Destruction, it will not play any role at all. Beerus poked his lips lightly, obviously not paying attention to Shan Shurgong. Then he narrowed his eyes slightly and turned to his right side. Without any hesitation, he punched out directly. Although it is said that the flash time skill is indeed very powerful. If the opponent's strength is similar to his own, or if the gap is not big, it can indeed play a winning role. But if the gap between the two is too large, or the time point where the opponent is standing far exceeds 0.1 seconds, the role of flash time skills will become negligible. Boom. In the next second, Gods of Destruction Beerus accurately judged Ron's direction. Then the fists of the two collided heavily. The moment the fists collided, Ron felt a force as vast as the universe directly passed from his arms into his body. This power is completely different from Whis. The power of Whis is a softer kind of power, like a boundless sea of Wang Yang. Even under this kind of collision, it will not hurt yourself. But the power of Beerus is like a flood that has burst its embankment, and it can burst out with amazing deterrent power in an instant. Call out. Almost at the moment when the two fists collided, Ron's body was directly sent flying. Rumble. Then, the body was directly inserted into a huge rock not far away. The rock exploded and turned directly into pieces of rubble. What a powerful force. Is this the strength of Gods of Destruction Beerus? Just by the strength of this punch, it can be judged that his strength is indeed much stronger than Gods of Destruction Kampa. Immediately after standing up, he moved his numb arm, and Ron said with a serious face. Then Ron took a look at Beerus' fighting strength. The unit value is 9, and the combat power has reached 1000 soil. And I can feel that this simply cannot be the full power of Gods of Destruction Beerus. If he used all his strength, the unit value could definitely reach 10. A unit whose combat effectiveness can reach the ditch. Master Beerus, can't you be gentler? Did you know that this punch of yours could very well kill Ron? Whis complained from the side. TCH, what do you know? That guy Ron is very strong. If I don't take it seriously, how can I let her improve her own strength? Besides, didn't you see him stand up intact? This guy's strength is much stronger than I imagined. This really makes me a little unbelievable. During the decades when I slept, such a perverted human appeared in the 7th universe. Beerus pouted at Whis, then looked at Ron excitedly, and said, if this guy couldn't even bear his own punch, he would be too disappointed. Fortunately, he was stronger than he imagined, and also successfully withstood his own attack. As for Ron, who was standing on the other side, he felt that his body was quickly repairing the attack he had just suffered, and while repairing the injury, the energy is also rapidly increasing. This feeling has not appeared for 2 full years, because in the past 2 years, I have almost no chance to play against Whis, and I have been doing physical training. I had this feeling just now, exactly the same as when I fought against Gods of Destruction Kampa last time. Go ahead. This feeling made Ron excited all of a sudden. While clenching his fists, his body shot out like lightning. In an instant, it was in front of Beerus, and directly attacked at the fastest speed. Whoosh. Ron kept attacking, but Beerus squinted his eyes and moved back and forth with only one palm, and easily caught all of Ron's attacks. It has to be said that the gap between the two is still very large. Damn, the gap is so huge. Constantly launching attacks, Ron felt that the more he fought, the more depressed he became. Because at this time, I have exerted my speed and strength to the extreme. But everything that comes next can be understated by Beerus. Swipe. However, if you are depressed, the frequency of Ron's attacks has not decreased in any way, but the speed is getting faster and stronger. It's interesting, this guy seems to be a little stronger than before. As expected of a human genius, it took only a minute to fight against me, and his strength has improved again. Although such an improvement is completely worthless in front of his comprehensive strength. But some human geniuses spend their whole lives, and it is estimated that they are not as good as his improvement in just a few seconds. While Beerus took all of Ron's attacks calmly, he thought secretly, but at this moment, he suddenly caught the opening of Ron's attack. Then he punched out directly, hitting Ron's abdomen with precision. Boom. Wow. The instant the low crash sounded, a mouthful of blood spurted out directly from Ron's mouth. Then the body flew upside down. This time, Dao flew tens of thousands of feet before stopping. It can be seen that Beerus showed no mercy in this attack. Oh, Master Beerus, did you go too far? It's just a simple contest between you two. If there are a few more rounds, Ron will have to be killed by you. Seeing Ron being kicked out by Beerus again, and Master Beerus used stronger force this time. Whis spoke indignantly this time. If Ron is killed, then they won't be able to eat delicious food in the future. Snort. You guy, live with Ron for 2 years. Haven't you discovered his characteristics? Beerus glanced sideways at Whis, and then said with a look of disgust. In fact, after hitting Ron for the first time just now, he had already discovered a characteristic of this guy. The guy's resilience seems amazing, and after recovering from the injury, his strength will improve somewhat. Although this improvement is very insignificant in my own eyes. But just like I thought before, some human beings can't catch up with Ron's promotion for a few seconds even if they spend their entire lives. Recover from injury and become stronger. And this guy's body seems to be able to recover from injuries automatically. If this is the case, then his future achievements are absolutely limitless. Oh, since when did Master Beerus start to observe and become good at discovering? Whis, on the other hand, looked at Beerus with a look of astonishment, and it seemed that there was a strong color of disdain between you. You must know that the thing that Master Beerus didn't like to do before was to use his brain. I didn't expect to take the initiative to use my brain today. Yes, this is a good improvement. Cut. Don't be so weird here. Beerus also looked at him with contempt, and then continued. Didn't you really notice that? After that guy was injured or received a powerful attack, he can quickly recover from his injuries, and while recovering from his injuries, his strength will follow. The punch I just had was very powerful. If it was someone with the same strength as him, this punch would be enough to hurt her. And Ron was indeed injured just now, but his injury healed quickly, and his strength has improved. If you don't believe me, just watch it. This time, he can also recover quickly, and his strength will also improve. After speaking, Beerus looked confident, even a little proud. How did I become so smart all of a sudden? This time Whis did not refute, because what Master Beerus said makes sense. 2 years ago, when Ron was fighting Lord Kampa, there was a huge gap between the two, and Master Kampa was determined to get rid of Ron directly. Several fatal attacks not only did not kill Ron, Instead, it made his strength soar. Even when he made the last shot, Ron didn't have any injuries on his body. And from the beginning to the end of the battle, his strength has indeed improved a lot. It seems that Master Beerus is right this time. Ron, this guy is so special. I used to think he was very similar to Angel, but now it looks completely different. Because Angel has no such function. After being injured, it is impossible to recover in such a short period of time, and it is even more impossible to improve strength while returning to the market. And as Beerus said, Ron had indeed been seriously injured in that attack just now, but his injury is recovering quickly, and the energy is constantly improving at the same time. It's awesome. That's the benefit of blood. I can feel a steady stream of energy being born in my body as the injury heals. Ron clenched his fists excitedly. This feeling of rapid strength improvement has not appeared for 2 full years. It seems that as long as he keeps fighting Beerus, his strength will improve rapidly. Maybe it won't take long before he can destroy Beerus himself. It is even possible to surpass it. In just 1 minute, Ron's injury had fully recovered. He couldn't feel any pain on his body, and at this time, his combat effectiveness had also improved the most. Originally, the combat power was only 650Z, but now the combat power has been increased to 900Z. The combat power of more than 200Z has almost increased by 1/3. See whiz. That guy's strength has been greatly improved again. Although this kind of improvement is indeed insignificant compared with ours, but this kind of recovery and improvement speed is simply impossible for you and me to achieve. Beerus looked at Wiz smugly and said, P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for evaluation tickets, ask for monthly tickets, ask for rewards. Dear readers, if you have flowers and cheap tickets, please vote for some. I know that some parts of this book may not be liked by everyone, and thus lost a lot of readers. I feel very sorry for this, but sometimes I really can't grasp the rhythm. It may be that I want to attract hatred too much, and I am too young to give the protagonist a reason to rise rapidly. So sometimes I ignore the feelings of the readers. I'm really sorry. I wonder how many people still read this book. If anyone still reads it now, please help and support it a little bit. If possible, you can also click a button in the comment area to let me know how many people still read this book. Thank you. Thanks. It seems to be true. The last time he fought Lord Compa, I didn't observe him so seriously, because at that time I felt that this guy seemed to be somewhat similar to our Angel, so I only cared about this matter, and didn't care about why he recovered so quickly. But now it seems that this guy's talent is indeed terrifying. He can actually increase his energy while returning to the market. Wiz also stared at Ron seriously and said, if there is no limit to his ability, then it is probably not that difficult to surpass himself. It doesn't take as long as 1,000 years, because as long as he is not completely killed, he will be able to improve forever and increase his combat effectiveness forever. So if this guy can become a candidate for Gods of Destruction in the 7th universe, it would be a very good thing. Beerus smiled and spoke. Ho ho ho, isn't Master Beerus afraid that Ron will surpass you in strength? Wiz asked with a smile. Cut. Do you think Gods of Destruction can be surpassed so easily? And even if his strength can really surpass me, it will be after thousands of years. Beerus said confidently. After all, he has his own reasons for saying this, because there is indeed a big gap between the current Ron and him. And Ron didn't learn Gods of Destruction skill. So if you want to kill him, it is actually not a difficult thing. Hoo-hoo. Wiz smiled, but didn't continue speaking. Just practice for a few years under your own guidance. If he wants to surpass Lord Beerus, Ron has every hope. Because his cultivation talent has completely surpassed Master Beerus. Coupled with this special physique that can be improved after recovery, it is estimated that within a few years, it will be able to completely surpass all Gods of Destruction. But the premise is that he must master the Gods of Destruction skill of Gods of Destruction. You must know that there is a big gap between the real Gods of Destruction and the Gods of Destruction skills of the candidate Gods of Destruction. Just like the Ultra Instinct mastered by ordinary humans and the Ultra Instinct mastered by Angel, there is also a very big gap. Although Ron also mastered Ultra Instinct, and it can be regarded as the perfect Ultra Instinct. But compared with my own Ultra Instinct, there is a big gap. And there is a huge gap between my own Ultra Instinct and Grand Priests. While the two were talking, Ron's body rushed over again. Then came another attack like a storm. Naturally, Beerus didn't show any politeness and unleashed a stronger force, constantly ravaging Ron. And Ron's strength is also growing rapidly. In this way, in the duel with Beerus, time passed day by day, and Beerus kept his promise. While exercising, he was also constantly teaching himself Gods of Destruction skills. A year almost flies by, and for a year, Gods of Destruction Beerus didn't sleep. Because the food Ron cooks is so delicious, he feels sleepy if he sleeps. But I have never been like this, without sleep for a whole year. Above Gods of Destruction, Ron's eyes were bright, his expression was solemn, and suddenly he raised his right hand, and a huge rock in front of him floated in midair. Then he shook his right hand lightly. Rumble. The huge rock exploded instantly. The terrifying explosion wave spread out in all directions. The entire Gods of Destruction world trembled violently following the explosion just now. The hurricane swept away the surrounding trees and gravel in an instant. And those rocks just now completely disappeared from this world, and no gravel or dust was produced at all. Instead, he completely disappeared in this world. And this is the result of Ron's practice this year. Gods of Destruction's God skills, destroying. An irresistible move. Not bad. The speed of your cultivation really surprised me. In just 1 year, the Gods of Destruction technique can produce such remarkable results while its strength continues to improve. Beerus was lying on the recliner at this time, with a straw stuck in his mouth, enjoying the iced Coke in the glass. During this year, most of the time he and Ron were practicing against each other. I have to say, Ron's growth rate is simply abnormal. In just 1 year, his strength had a huge improvement and breakthrough. Now his strength has surpassed most Gods of Destruction. It is estimated that apart from the Quatella of the 4th universe and the beautiful one of the 11th universe, the other Gods of Destruction are no longer Ron's opponents. And this guy is very capable of learning. It's only been a year, and it took time to learn the Gods of Destruction skill, yet it was able to master it to such an extent. Destroying a planet or a galaxy is no longer difficult for him now. You must know that destroying planets or other things does not just use energy to destroy them. If it is to use energy to destroy a planet or destroy a galaxy, even if a universe is destroyed, it can be restored in some other way. However, if it is destroyed with the Gods of Destruction technique, it cannot be restored at all, because things that are destroyed by destruction, they themselves will completely disappear from this world. Oh, perfect Ultra Instinct plus Gods of Destruction skills. To be honest, Ron is the first person to master these two abilities at the same time. Of course, that includes Gods of Destruction. Wiz also spoke from the side. Although Master Beerus also mastered the Ultra Instinct. But what he has mastered is not the perfect Ultra Instinct. He just stepped into the threshold of Ultra Instinct with 1 foot. And Gods of Destruction has Gods of Destruction's God skills. So under normal circumstances they will not use this kind of calm Ultra Instinct. The Gods of Destruction technique really makes people feel quite comfortable. Ron withdrew his palm, then glanced at the huge sinkhole not far away, then smiled and said, if it were destroyed with normal energy, the rock just now would not be able to cause such a great power at all. But if the rock is destroyed by destruction, the power caused is 100 times, or even higher than that destroyed by energy. If someone was standing on the edge of the explosion just now, it is estimated that they would have disappeared without a trace with the explosion wave just now. How about it? Gods of Destruction's divine skill is more comfortable to stretch, right? I really enjoy this feeling of violent destruction. Hee hee. A savage smile appeared on Beerus's mouth, and he said to Ron, in fact, each has its own advantages. Ultra Instinct is more about defense and dodging, but Gods of Destruction is about offense and infinite growth. So the combination of the two is actually the most powerful. Ron smiled and said, whether it's Gods of Destruction's Gods of Destruction skill or Angel's perfect Ultra Instinct, it is a very powerful skill of God, and now I have mastered 2 abilities at the same time. And more importantly, after this year of continuous training with Beerus, his strength has been greatly improved. Now his own numerical unit has been raised to 9, and his combat power has reached 950 soil. If it is paired with Ultra Instinct, it will not be weaker than Gods of Destruction Beerus in a serious battle. If I see Gods of Destruction Compa next time, I am absolutely sure that I can beat him to the ground. Alright, now you have fully mastered the Gods of Destruction skill, and your strength has indeed improved a lot. Now I will give you the permission of Gods of Destruction. In the past few years, follow Whis to destroy some unnecessary planets. And me, after working hard for a whole year, I want to sleep well. But after waking up, I must eat delicious food that I have never eaten before. Beerus said to Ron with a righteous face. Forehead. Lord Beerus will really find excuses for his laziness and snooze. Whis gave another look of contempt. Now this guy is getting ready to be a hands-off shopkeeper. He knows how to eat and sleep by himself, and even the basic responsibilities of Gods of Destruction have been handed over to Ron. Cut the crap, Whis. My main purpose of doing this is to let Ron get used to being Gods of Destruction in advance. Anyway, I have already decided. I have taught him to destroy, so he will become the 7th universe Gods of Destruction in the future. It's reasonable to get acquainted with the business of Gods of Destruction now, right? Beerus raised the corners of his mouth and said to Whis with a gesture that made sense. Oh, there's really nothing I can do about you. Whis didn't want to argue with this guy anymore. Anyway, I don't want to sleep every time, but I can't stop it. Now that Master Beerus is asleep, he can eat more delicious food, and no one will compete with me in the future. As for Ron on the side, he didn't speak. For the location of Gods of Destruction, he has no idea at all. But presumably the destruction is a few million years away when Beerus retires. And after millions of years, what kind of strength his own strength will reach, even he dare not imagine. But what is certain is that at that time, it was absolutely impossible for me to be satisfied with the position of Gods of Destruction. So now I don't need to think about these things at all. Okay, you two can do whatever you want. I'm going to sleep. After eloquently speaking, Gods of Destruction Beerus walked directly to his palace. When I woke up this time, I hadn't slept for a year, and I didn't even take a nap. To be honest, I'm very sleepy now. It is estimated that after this sleep, I will sleep for a long time. Whis and Ron also looked helpless. But it's good if this guy is asleep, because if he's awake, there are too many things to do. And now his Gods of Destruction skill has been imparted to Ron, so Beerus isn't much use anymore. In this way, time is still passing by day. Ron spent most of his time in God Realm and was practicing. But there is also a part of the time to go out to perform the task of Gods of Destruction. Destroyed are also some barren planets where no living things exist. Because Ron is not Gods of Destruction after all, even if he has the blood of Angel, he still maintains his humanity. If he wanted to destroy the creatures on a planet all at once, he still couldn't accept it. Time passed day by day, and after the previous 3 years, Ron was also used to staying in the God Realm. In this way, 6 years passed through the gap again. In the past 6 years, Ron's strength has also undergone a qualitative change. At this time, his unit value has reached 10. In other words, his unit value at this time is exactly the same as that of Beerus. The combat power has also reached 7,000 ditch. If you add Zazai's extremely easy skills, even if the opponent has the strength of Jian level, he is sure to fight against it. Ron, I didn't expect you to practice so fast. In the past few years, your current strength has completely surpassed Master Beerus. Even if you don't use Ultra Instinct, your strength has completely surpassed Lord Beerus. At this moment, Whis spoke while practicing with Ron. In fact, although he said so, he didn't feel surprised in his heart. Ever since he knew that Ron could improve his combat power after recovering from injury, he knew that Ron would be able to reach the level of Lord Gods of Destruction Beerus in a few years. Now it took him 6 years to surpass Lord Beerus, which seemed to be expected. Have you surpassed Lord Beerus? In other words, my current strength has surpassed all Gods of Destruction. Ron held back his attack, and then a smile rose from the corner of his mouth, and he said to himself. In fact, he didn't feel very satisfied with the speed of improvement. It took 9 full years before his strength reached the level of Gods of Destruction Beerus. The combat power of one unit is improved almost every year. For Son Goku and Vegeta, such an improvement is indeed in existence against the sky. After all, it is estimated that Son Goku and Vegeta have increased their combat effectiveness by up to 1 trillion in 9 years. And my improvement in 1 minute is faster than their improvement in 9 years. In such a comparison, it is indeed very fast. However, compared with the real strong, it is indeed far away. Not to mention Zeno and Grand Priest. Even if Angel is in front of him, he is powerless. So if you want to truly gain a foothold in this universe, you must have stronger power. Indeed. Master Beerus' strength is at the top among the 12 Gods of Destruction. And you now have more power than that Beerus man, and you also have the Ultra Instinct. After several years of training, your Ultra Instinct has become more proficient. It is estimated that even if you add up to 12 Gods of Destruction, it is impossible for you to be your opponent. Whis nodded with certainty. He didn't say that to make Ron happy. Rather it is. The Gods of Destruction of other universes, except Lord Gods of Destruction Quitella of the 4th universe, and Lord Gods of Destruction Vermut of the 11th universe are relatively strong. The strength of other Gods of Destruction is much weaker than Lord Beerus. And the current Ron, his strength has completely surpassed them. That's why I was so sure that even if the 12 of them joined forces, they would no longer be Ron's opponent. Their angel is very clear about the power of Ultra Instinct. Ron smiled, then stared at Whis and said, even if I am already stronger than Gods of Destruction, there is still an insurmountable gap between me and your angel, isn't it? I used to just speculate, but now I have a definite answer. The unit number of Angel Whis is 15, which is the unit of the monk. So the gap between myself and Angel Whis is still vast. As for Zeno and Grand Priest, their strength is even more unfathomable. Ho. You can't compare like that. Maybe I'm not satisfied with my current strength, but you have to know that our angels have lived for at least hundreds of millions of years to have this kind of strength. And in just over a dozen years, you were able to increase your strength to a level beyond Gods of Destruction. It can be said that your talent has completely surpassed those of us angels. This will give you enough time. There is no problem in overtaking Angel. Whis smiled, then spoke. Judging from Ron's performance in the past 6 years, as long as he is given hundreds of years to practice, his strength can definitely surpass himself. In fact, sometimes he also wondered if Ron could live for so long like Angel. Then what kind of situation will his strength reach? After all, he is different from Angel. Angel always stands in a neutral position, and he doesn't care that much about cultivation, because they simply can't fight with all their strength, even under any circumstances. So strength doesn't really matter much to them. Once they violate Angel's law, they will disappear completely. But Ron is a different guy. He seems to be pursuing a stronger mission and a higher realm all the time. If he has always maintained a passion, then his future achievements are absolutely immeasurable. And he doesn't have as many restraints as Angel. He can improve his strength unscrupulously. Well, you are indeed right. It seems that I am a little too impatient. After hearing Whis' comfort, Ron could only smile reluctantly. At least now I have nothing to do with Zeno and Grand Priest. And Angel would not attack him at all. So now I am very safe. But once he gets the attention of Grand Priest and Zeno, his situation will become more difficult. Those guys are the real powerhouses at the cutting edge of the universe, and have a weird personality. Even if you utter a wrong sentence, you may be completely wiped out by them together with the universe. Okay, let's stop here for today's practice. Whis withdrew the staff in his hand and said to Ron. And at this time, Beerus, the destroyer who has been sleeping in the palace for 6 years, woke up again. It's just that this time he woke up not because of the temptation of delicious food, but because he had a dream. An outrageous prophetic dream. Fine. Ron also nodded. After so many years of hard training, he is also ready to take a good rest for a while. Because as I thought before, the current self is not in any danger. Besides Angel, have you encountered any more powerful beings? At present, even the angels of the 12 universes should not do anything to hurt themselves. After all, angels in every universe are neutral existences. Whis. And at this moment, Beerus' violent voice suddenly sounded from his hall. Hey, Master Beerus seems to have woken up. But why did Master Beerus sleep less this time? After hearing Beerus shout, Whis held his chin with one hand, as if he couldn't figure it out. 447 inch, and his cry this time was so irritable. Is it because I dreamed about the delicious food made by Ron in my dream, and then I was awakened by hunger? Most likely that's it. Beerus wakes up. Did he have a precognitive dream? Ron reacted quickly. According to the calculation of time, I have been away from the Earth for 9 years. When leaving at that time is the Cell event. 7 years after the Cell incident, a new enemy, Majin Buu, will appear. In the 2 or 3 years after Majin Buu, gods of destruction Beerus appeared, and Dragon Ball began. If calculated according to the time, my guess should be right. Come on, Ron, let's go see what's going on. After was finished speaking, he walked directly towards the main hall. Ron followed suit. At this time, Beerus was already sitting on the recliner in the hall. His brows were tightly furrowed, apparently in a bad mood. Hey, what's the matter, Master Beerus? Why did you only sleep for 6 years this time, which is shorter than last time? Whis looked at Beerus and asked, and seeing that their faces are a bit ugly, it shouldn't be because they woke up from a dream about delicious food. And in the long history of the past, although Master Beerus sometimes wakes up and gets angry, he has never looked so solemn. Whis, I just had a precognitive dream. A rival of mine appeared in the dream. Beerus didn't hide anything and spoke directly. It was precisely because of this dream that I woke up so quickly. Precognitive dream. Whis was stunned for a moment, and then said, Master Beerus' prediction of the dream direction is not very accurate. Last time you dreamed that our idol would move to a planet near us. Didn't it also come true? Whis spoke lightly, obviously not believing what Beerus said. It's just a dream. There's no need to take it so seriously. Cut. This time it's different. This time it was a real prophetic dream. I met a very powerful opponent. Seeing that Whis didn't believe it, Beerus said with some displeasure. It's okay for this guy not to believe him, but now that he's talking to him so seriously, he doesn't believe it either. It's just a little too much. Seeing that Beerus seemed a little angry, Whis could only ask, then who is the rival in Master Beerus' dream? What's his name? I can check it out. But he still felt in his heart that apart from Ron in this universe, it was impossible for anyone else to be the opponent of gods of destruction. Ron, this guy is kind of outrageous, kind of special, so you can't treat him as a human being at all. Apart from him, I feel that there is no one in the 7th universe who can be the opponent of gods of destruction. Not to mention the 7th universe. Even if you look at it for 12 months, you will definitely not be able to find a second person like this. Beerus stroked his chin and said, oh my daughter-in-law. After thinking for more than 10 seconds, it seems that I still haven't remembered it. It seems to be called the god of something. Super what god? Beerus tried hard to recall, but couldn't remember the full name. Because we are like this, the scene that is extremely clear in the dream. Once the dream wakes up, it seems blurred in retrospect. Over time, it will be completely forgotten. Whis, hurry up and help me find out if there is such a person. Unable to name the name in the dream, Beerus said impatiently. This feeling made him very uncomfortable. It's like the earwax in the ear, not all taken out. And it's like the crumbs of meat caught between the teeth that can't be picked out. This feeling is really uncomfortable. I don't have such abilities, Lord Beerus. You don't even know the name of the rival in your dream. How can I find it for you? You'd better remember the name. Waisha rolled his eyes and said to Bilo, although he is an angel, he has many superpowers. But if you can't know the other party's name, there's no way to find out a huge universe by yourself. What's the name? Super what god? Beerus felt the pain of not being able to remember the name. With such a clear memory, he can't remember the name at all now. Then he said, but what kind of god is this guy called? Then he must be the god of the 7th universe. No, Master Beerus. There is no such thing as a super god in this universe. Whis shook his head resolutely. There are some other gods in the 7th universe, but these gods can't be the opponent of Master Beerus at all. This home couldn't possibly be a rival. It might not even match Master Beerus's one finger 4.0. Cut. How is it possible? Beerus still didn't want to just give up. This time the dream was very real, and it was a prophetic dream. Absolutely impossible to go wrong. And when Beerus was at a loss, Ron on the side suddenly asked lightly, Master Beerus, is the name of the rival in your dream called Super Saiyan God? Because Ron knows the Dragon Ball story all too well. The story of Dragon Ball Super begins with Super Saiyan God who appeared in the dream of gods of destruction Beerus. Super Saiyan God. Beerus froze for a moment. Then his pupils constricted suddenly. Quickly said, that's right, that's the name. Super Saiyan God. Whis, hurry up and check it out for me. Is there a deity called Super Saiyan God? After getting the accurate information, Beerus immediately said to Whis. Whis looked at the gem on his staff, then shook his head and said, I'm really sorry, Lord Beerus. There is no such a character. Nanny, how could it not be? Beerus was stunned again and finally got the guy's full name. Now Whis actually told himself that there is no such a god. But soon, Beerus turned his attention to Ron who was aside. Then he looked at Ron suspiciously. How on earth did this guy know the name of the Super Saiyan God in his prophetic dream? Could it be that he knows the existence of Super Saiyan God? Or, does he know what he dreamed about? Hey Ron, how do you know the 12 names of Super Saiyan God? Beerus stared intently at Ron. Of course I guessed. Because I've heard of Super Saiyan before, and the name you mentioned just now reminds me of Super Saiyan. Ron spread his hands and said, Super Saiyan, Saiyan. Beerus narrowed his eyes and thought about it. 39 years ago, when I started my lunch break, Frisia had already destroyed the entire Saiyan planet and exterminate all Saiyan. But why does Saiyan still exist? What's even more outrageous is that I have never heard of what Super Saiyan is. Could it be that guy Frisia dared to disobey his orders and then didn't destroy the Saiyan planet? Whis, can you help me find out what's going on? Isn't Saiyan planet destroyed? Beerus spoke immediately. If Frisia is so unfavorable, I must completely destroy it this time. Good Lord Beerus. Whis nodded. Then the staff in his hand tapped the ground lightly. Then a projection appeared in front of the three of them. The first screen projected to play is the screen of Frisia destroying the entire planet. After the end of the screen, followed by the second screen, it's the scene where Son Goku and Frisia fight in Namek. And at this time, Son Goku has become the form of Super Saiyan. What's going on? Whis. I remember Saiyan's hair was black. How did that guy have blonde hair? And he was able to kill Frisia, which is a bit too much. Looking at the picture in the projection, Beerus said in disbelief. Although Saiyan claims to be a fighting nation, he knows how much they have. Frisia can wipe out the entire planet with just one finger. And all Saiyan's hair is black, but why only that Saiyan's hair is golden? It was really hard for him to understand. Master Beerus, it seems that the blonde Saiyan just now is the Super Saiyan that Ron said. After becoming a Super Saiyan, Saiyan's strength will be greatly improved. So it is not difficult to explain why he can defeat Frisia. Whis explained from the side. Indeed, even he did not expect that the Saiyan nation had such terrifying potential. Super Saiyan can kill Frisia. It's really interesting. Looks like my precognitive dream is not fake. Now after such a long time, maybe this guy knows something about Super Saiyan God. Beerus still squinted his eyes, and there was a surging desire to fight in his eyes. Help me find out who are the surviving Saiyans, and which planets are they distributed on. Beerus spoke to Whis again. Since there are still surviving Saiyans in this world, they must know the secret about Super Saiyan God. This guy makes himself so miserable. I must be good and fight with him. See if he has what it takes to be his own rival. Although he also felt that it was impossible to have Saiyan as his opponent in this world. But things have come to this point. If I don't go and have a look, I guess I will have trouble sleeping and eating. Yes, Lord Beerus. Whis nodded, then retracted the projection, staring at the gem on his staff. After 3 or 4 seconds, he spoke. Most of the surviving Saiyans settled on a remote planet called Earth in the northern galaxy. There are 2 surviving Saiyans who live on a planet called Wampa in the blue galaxy. It is worth mentioning that Saiyans Prince Vegeta is also on the list of survivors. Whis opened his mouth and introduced in detail. Whis, this guy is really amazing. Did he even find Broly and his son? Ron thought in surprise. You know that in the Dragon Ball Super animation, Whis just said Son Goku and Vegeta, and their foothold is on the Earth. 137 is never mentioned about the Broly father and son. But now, he even revealed the whereabouts of Broly and his son, Wampa Planet. That is the barren planet where Broly was exiled. Oh, Vegeta, I have a little impression of him. I remember that he was very talented when he was a child. I don't know how far he has grown after all these years. Are you qualified to have a few tricks with me? After hearing Vegeta's name, Beerus said lightly. When he saw Vegeta for the first time, he felt that this guy was quite capable. By the way, there's that blonde Scion. Where is he? Since he can become a so-called Super Saiyan, it is very likely that he knows the secret about Super Saiyan God. Beerus asked again. Both of them are now settled on Earth in the northern galaxy. Whis answered. Earth? How long will it take to get there? Beerus asked again. It takes about 26 minutes. 26 minutes. It's a waste of time, but I have to find that Super Saiyan God. Get ready, we're heading to Earth right now. Whis simply tidied up, but there was nothing to prepare. Anyway, it's only 26 minutes away. Ron, are you going to Earth with us? Beerus looked at Ron and asked. If this guy was left alone in the Gods of Destruction world, it would probably be quite boring. Okay, then let's go together. Anyway, if I stay in the God realm alone, it's meaningless. Ron nodded and said, it has been 9 years since I left Earth. I don't know what kind of changes have taken place on the Earth in the past 9 years. Although I know Dragon Ball very well. But after all, my own appearance has changed the trajectory of some history, because my own appearance has no chance to appear in a complete cell. I don't know how they are doing on the 18th. It just happened to lie down here, so you can see them. Okay, let's go together. Beerus nodded, and then continued. Why don't you go and prepare some snacks for us on the way? Perhaps this is the real purpose of Beerus. After half an hour, everything was packed. Ron, Whis, and Beerus head to Earth together. I have to say that this guy Beerus is still pretty cheap. In the process of going to the Earth, if you see some unpleasant moods, you will be destroyed in an instant. And at this time on the planet Supreme Kai, old Supreme Kai's bent body was shaking uncontrollably. The teacup in his hand fell to the ground and was smashed into pieces. My lord ancestor, what's the matter? How do you look like you have been frightened? God Jabbatat on the side quickly discovered the changes in the old Supreme Kai and asked immediately. The ancestor has never behaved so badly before. Even when Majin Buu appeared 2 years ago, he acted very calm, without such an expression of fear. But at that moment just now, I saw incomparable horror in the eyes of the ancestors. Is there anyone in this world who can scare the ancestors so much? And right now his whole body was trembling uncontrollably. Idiot, didn't you feel anything just now? The old Supreme Kai glanced at God Jabbatat hatefully, and then asked. In just a few minutes just now, 5 or 6 planets have disappeared. When such a thing happened, the first thing I thought of was that the adult had woken up. Feeling, no, I feel like everything is normal. Jebbit shook his head in a dazed expression. He really didn't feel anything out of the ordinary. You stupid. In just a few minutes, several planets have been destroyed. Such an important matter. You, the Supreme Kai, didn't notice it at all. How can a piece of trash like you appear in Supreme Kai? The old Supreme Kai pointed at Jebbit God's nose and scolded because of his voice. Sometimes he really can't figure out whether the former Supreme Kai had their brains full of water, so they chose such an idiot to be the new gods of destruction. Forehead. After being scolded head and face by the old Supreme Kai, Jebbit God just scratched his head in embarrassment. But if you feel it carefully, several planets did disappear in just a few minutes just now. My lord ancestor, what happened just now? Do you know why those planets disappeared? Looking at the old Supreme Kai whose face was still full of fear, God Jebbit quickly asked. If the ancestor didn't know the reason, he shouldn't show such fear and fear. Don't you feel something else? The old Supreme Kai once again stared at God Jebbit and asked. Such a powerful divine aura. This guy has not felt it until now. After feeling it carefully, a look of surprise appeared on the face of Jebbit God. Then he quickly said, there are indeed 2 very strong auras, which seem to be approaching the North Milky Way. These divine auras have completely surpassed our Supreme Kai. Who are they? My lord ancestor. After feeling those 2 tyrannical breaths of God, God Jebbit immediately asked. At this time, his complexion also began to change. If the breath of human beings had reached such a tyrannical level, he would not be surprised. Because Son Goku and Vegeta, although they are all human beings, possess strength far surpassing their Supreme Kai. But now I feel the breath of God. And as Supreme Kai, the most cutting-edge gods in the universe, they are in the Supreme Kai world. But why is there such a powerful and terrifying aura? It seems that the sleeping adult has indeed awakened. From this point of view, many stars in the entire universe may suffer again. The old Supreme Kai seemed to be talking to himself. While speaking, there was still a dignified and fearful look on his face. Every time the adult wakes up, many stars will be destroyed. It is estimated that this time will be no exception. And now that he is approaching the direction of the Northern Milky Way, it is very likely that the Northern Milky Way will suffer this time. My lord ancestor, who is that lord you were talking about? Why do you look so afraid of him? God Jabbatar on the side asked again. How come I never knew such a grown-up existed? Destroy? Lord Beerus. Lao Supreme Kai replied with an unusually dignified tone. Lord gods of destruction Beerus. Yeah, the kings. Big God still looked puzzled. But before he could continue asking questions, the old Supreme Kai opened his mouth to explain. In this universe, in addition to our Supreme Kai who creates planets and life, there is a corresponding gods of destruction that destroys planets and destroys life. We, the Supreme Kai, are responsible for creating planets, and the gods of destruction are responsible for clearing them. Every time Lord gods of destruction Beerus wakes up from his deep sleep, it means that many stars will be destroyed. After hearing the old Supreme Kai's explanation, Jebbit God also asked with a serious face. Does that mean that the destruction of gods of destruction also follows certain rules of universe balance? Wrong. There are no rules at all. Lord Beerus' destruction is just a whim. The old Supreme Kai turned around and said, if the destruction of gods of destruction also follows certain universe balance rules, you don't have to worry so much. Especially Lord gods of destruction Beerus of their 7th universe. Almost all the destruction comes according to their own mood and interests. The value of this planet will not be considered at all, or the comprehensive level of this planet will not be considered. Oh, after hearing the introduction from the old Kai Osho, Jabita just nodded dully. Because at this moment, he doesn't know what he can do at all. Even the ancestors are so afraid, then it is impossible to stop Lord gods of destruction Beerus with the strength of their Supreme Kai. Could it be that his appearance will only bring disaster? My lord ancestor, don't we have nothing to do? Can't we stop Lord Beerus? Bite the bullet. Jebbit God continued to ask. Although it seems that he already knew the result, he didn't want to get any chance from the ancestors. What can be done? Lord gods of destruction Beerus holds the rules of destruction in this universe. As long as all the creatures in this universe, he can completely destroy them with just one thought. The old Supreme Kai turned his head and said, and then continued to say with his hands behind his back, for 190. Now, I hope that no one will make Lord Beerus too excited, and even say some stupid words that want to challenge this. After finishing speaking, his face became even more serious. My lord ancestor, who are you talking about? In fact, Jabbatar knew very well in his heart that what the ancestors were talking about was nothing more than the scions of Son Goku and Vegeta. You must know that each of them is the master of trouble, especially that guy Goku. He really likes to fight. If I let him know that gods of destruction, Lord Beerus is such a powerful opponent in this world, presumably he will not be able to bear the challenge at all. Cut. Don't you know who I'm talking about? I think you know better than anyone else. Who else in this universe likes fighting so much? The old Supreme Kai roared loudly. You mean Son Goku and Vegeta? Although Sion really likes fighting, Lord Beerus is a god, and Goku and Vegeta don't feel human at all. And Goku and Vegeta are far away on the earth. They have no chance to meet at all. So on this point, please rest assured, Lord Ancestor. God Jebbit spoke immediately. To know the breath of God, only God can feel it. Goku and Vegeta are indeed strong, and have fully possessed power beyond Supreme Kai. But human beings are human beings after all, and they cannot feel the breath of gods. So as long as Lord Beerus doesn't go to Earth, they won't have a chance to meet at all. I didn't expect you to finally say something that wasn't so stupid. Indeed, as long as Lord Beerus does not go to Earth, there is no possibility that they will meet. The old Supreme Kai also nodded and said, the Earth is located on a remote planet at the edge of the northern Milky Way, so Lord Beerus generally would not go to that planet at all. You must know that during these hundreds of millions of years, he has never been to the Earth. So this time, I probably won't go to Earth. And just when the two of them calmed down a little, suddenly a voice rang from the ear. Master Supreme Kai, please allow me to interrupt. Were you discussing Son Goku just now? I'm really sorry. I have some sad news to tell you. Son Goku is not on the Earth now, but on my planet. That magnetic voice sounds like King Kai's. Nanny, you mean that troublemaker Goku is on planet KO? Hey, you must not let Son Goku know about Master Beerus waking up. The old Supreme Kai spoke immediately. If Son Goku knows the existence of Master Beerus, bye. The consequences will be terrible. That guy will do everything possible to find a way to fight Lord Beerus. If Lord Beerus gets angry at that time, most of the universe will probably be destroyed by him. The power of gods of destruction is definitely not an existence that Son Goku can imagine, and no human being can surpass Lord Beerus. Well, of course I know about this. It's just that this time Master Beerus washed too quickly. King Kai lowered his voice and whispered. At this time, Ron and Beerus' bodies were still advancing rapidly. In a few more minutes, they will be able to reach the northern Milky Way. After hearing the news, the faces of the old Supreme Kai and Jebet God changed drastically again. Know that Goku is on King Kai's planet. If he and Master Beerus were allowed to meet, the consequences would be quite serious. But this matter is completely beyond what they can stop. Now they can only pray in their hearts. Lord Beerus is not going for Goku and Vegeta. As long as Goku doesn't know the identity of Lord Beerus. As long as Lord Beerus isn't targeting Goku, the ending isn't too bad. Another 4 or 5 minutes passed. Whis is the one below King Kai's planet. Beerus stuck his head out behind him, looked at a palm-sized planet below, and then asked. Yes, Beerus scales. The planet below is King Kai's. Whis nodded. Oh, his planet is really small and pitiful. Beerus sneered, then spoke. You know, this planet is smaller than your average playground. Speaking of which, King Kai has lived on this planet for such a long time. How pitiful it really is. Hehe. This is not thanks to Master Beerus. The food that King Kai made was too unpalatable, so the punishment you made his planet so small. Now that you say such things, I despise you, Lord Beerus. Whis sneered, and then gave Beerus a serious look. This guy made his planet so small, and now he actually says that his planet is pitifully small. Saying this, it is really more beast than beast. Since we're here, let's go down and have a look. It's a good time to ask King Kai about Sion. And by the way, see if his cooking skills have improved. If there is no improvement, I can consider making his planet lower. There was an evil smile on Beerus' face, and then he said to Whis. He is a majestic god of destruction, so it is normal for him to do some outrageous things. And in the eyes of other people, it is also a very normal thing. Because that's what the gods of destruction are supposed to do. And no one dared to say a word. Ooh, the food made by King Kai? I guess there is no progress. Whis showed a helpless look on his face. After eating the food made by Ron, he felt that the food made by other people was simply unpalatable. Remember thousands of years ago, the food made by King Kai was unpalatable. Now after eating the food made by Ron, my mouth becomes even more open. So the food made by King Kai, I dare not even think about it. I'll go wherever I say. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Beerus snarled directly at Whis. This guy has really been getting more and more insatiable recently. Fine, Whis can only nod. Although I am not afraid of Beerus. But after all, he is Beerus' servant. If he was away from home, he still had to give him some face. Ron, are you coming with us? Beerus looked at Ron and asked again. I won't go. You two go as long as you want. I'll go to Earth first to see the situation. Ron shook his head and refused. Because of the development of the next thing, he had already guessed it completely. On King Kai's planet just now, I already felt the breath of human beings. Then obviously, this human breath is Son Goku's. And the gap between Son Goku and Beerus, now it's a world of difference. Even if it is fighting, there is nothing to watch. So I have no interest in watching it. Alright, then you go to Earth first and wait for us. If you meet those Scions on Earth, ask them about the Super Scion God. After Beerus spoke, he and Whis went directly to the planet King Kai, and Ron's body flashed and disappeared into the universe in an instant. Just over a minute later, Ron had appeared on Earth. After 9 years, I finally returned to Earth again. Ron's body stood in the air, standing in midair, talking to himself. Originally, I thought it would only take me 3 or 4 years to go to the God Realm, but I didn't expect to stay for a full 9 years. I don't know how they are doing on the 18th. Go and see if she is still in the rental house I left before. With this in mind, Ron's body disappeared into the air again instantly. And at this time in the capsule company, and Shido, Vegeta is always practicing gravity. And at that moment just now, an electric arc suddenly flashed through his mind. There was a very familiar feeling. Vegeta stopped his training immediately. Then a look of astonishment appeared on his face. What happened just now? Suddenly, a very familiar feeling appeared. But I didn't feel any powerful aura. Vegeta's eyes instantly became heavy. The feeling just now is definitely not my own illusion. But I can't feel any breath. At this time, Bulma invited many of his relatives and friends on a piece of Wanyang north of the western capital. Have a luxurious birthday party. Call out. Almost in the blink of an eye, Ron appeared directly in the small courtyard of the rental house. At the same time, a familiar figure appeared in Ron's sight. Still has short blonde hair, wearing a pink sportswear. The figure is more proud than 9 years ago, and it looks more bumpy. Although there is no difference in height from 9 years ago, but the figure has become better and more straight than 9 years ago. And this person is naturally number 18. At this moment, with her back to Ron, she was watering several potted plants. Long time no see, number 18. Looking at the familiar figure in front of him, Ron smiled, and then spoke in a gentle tone. Unexpectedly, it has been 9 years, and she is still staying in this rental house. Bang! Hearing the voice behind him, number 18's body trembled violently. Then the watering can watering the flowers in his hand fell directly to the ground. There was an unbelievable look in those beautiful eyes. After being stunned for 7 or 8 seconds, number 18 turned around. Just saw that familiar face. Although they have been separated for 9 years, but neither man has changed much, especially the facial features, almost no change. I didn't expect you to still be here. Looking at the unbelievable number 18, Ron continued to speak with a smile. You must know that with the ability of number 18, it is a breeze to live in a big villa, and she still lives in this rented house. So obviously, she has been waiting for her to come back. Is really you, Ron? The voice of number 18 asked in a somewhat dull voice. She wondered if she was dazzled. Before Ron left, he had told himself and number 17 that he might leave after 2 or 3 years. But after waiting for 9 years, there was no news of him at all. I didn't expect it to appear in front of my eyes suddenly today. For a while, she found it difficult to accept this fact. Of course it is me. Why? Don't you welcome me? Ron shrugged, still with a handsome and warm look on his face. It's been 9 years, and for 9 years, you haven't heard anything from me. I thought you wouldn't come back. After a short period of surprise and confusion, a faint smile finally appeared on number 18's face. She seemed to be trying her best to hide her other emotions with a smile. Aren't you still waiting for me here? How could I be reluctant not to come back? Ron said something jokingly, and then said very seriously. I'm really sorry, I missed the appointment a little bit. I thought I would come back as soon as possible, but I didn't expect to make you wait so long. Cut. You're not so pretty. I didn't wait for you to come back. It's best if you don't come back. Then this house will be mine forever. Number 18 cast a cold glance at Ron, and then said stiffly. In fact, after so many years, she has already seen her own heart clearly. In fact, since Ron saved himself from Cell, he has fallen in love with him. It's just that at the time, I was too embarrassed to admit it. Work. Let's do it. After hearing what number 18 said, Ron could only give a wry smile helplessly, although he knew that this should not be the truth on the 18th. Because if she really thought so, she probably wouldn't talk so much to herself at all. I came back from a long distance today no matter what, so why don't you invite me in for a drink of water? Afterwards, Ron continued to speak cheekily. Then come in quickly. It's your house anyway. Number 18 nodded. His tone seemed not as cold as before. Perhaps it is time that can change a person's character, or it may be because the attitude of the 18th towards himself has completely changed. After walking into the room, the layout inside is much better than when I left. It is full of girlish breath. Although number 18 is a modified artificial human, after all, she was also a normal May 4/7 human being before. Therefore, she also retains her girlish heart. The changes in this room are really big. Looking at the furnishings and arrangements around, Ron smiled and said, "You should know that in the past, when I lived in this rental, at that time, I was in a very decadent period. After 3 years, there is no systematic patronage, and it is only the blood of ordinary earthlings. At that time, I was almost desperate, and almost every day I had to drink to relieve my sorrows. So many corners of the room are filled with beer cans. I couldn't live in the environment I was in before." Number 18 gave Ron a big roll of the eyes. "When I came to this rental house for the first time, I still remember the dirty and messy environment in the rental house until now." Haha. Ron could only smile awkwardly, then changed the subject and asked, "By the way, where did they go on the 17th and 16th? Also, the energy emergency device in your body has disappeared, right? I remember that when I left, both number 16 and number 17 lived here. But now I don't feel their energy fluctuations nearby. The day after you left here on the 17th. He said that he has returned to a normal human being now, so he wants to live the life he wants, get married and have children, and live an ordinary life. This should be the life he wants to live." Number 18 opened his mouth and replied, "Although I was a bit reluctant to leave with number 17 at the time. After all, I only have one relative in this world. However, number 17 has his own pursuit and the life he yearns for, and he cannot stop him." Then number 18 went on to say, "As for the goods on number 16, he left that day. As for where he went, to be honest, I don't know. Because in the past 9 years, we have never been in touch, let alone any news from him. So in fact, in the past 9 years, I have lived in this rental house alone. So this is Ron nodded. "There is also the energy emergency stop device in our body that you mentioned. It is estimated that all the Dragon Balls were found on the 17th, so the power of Shinron was used to remove this energy in our body. Because I have never done this thing before, but the energy emergency stop device in my body has disappeared, then it is obvious that this matter was done on the 17th. I see. In the past few years, I have really worked hard on you." Ron stared tenderly at number 18 and said, "Even the number 18 is indeed stronger than ordinary women, but it is not easy for a woman to live alone for 9 years. And you must know that number 18's personality is very cold, so generally he will not take the initiative to get acquainted with ordinary human beings. Because of her inner influence, he is still different from other human beings. Cut. Stop pretending here. Besides, I'm Android 19, okay? If I want to, there's nothing I can't get." Number 18 curled his lips, then raised his haughty chin and snorted coldly. Fine. Ron could only nod, because at this time, he really didn't know what to say to make himself not so embarrassed. In order to make up for the loneliness of number 18 in these 9 years, both of them were silent for a long time. Ron finally opened his mouth and said, "We finally met. Why don't we go out to have a meal? By the way, let's have fun again. I haven't been to Earth for many years, so I'm familiar with it." Number 18 looked at Ron in some surprise, but finally nodded. "In fact, I've been waiting for this day, waiting for Ron to return to Earth. Although my character may be more arrogant and colder than ordinary women, but I am definitely not that kind of hypocritical person. She is also very clear in her heart that if something is missed, it is missed. So cherish it." At this time, on the planet King Kai far away from the Earth, Beerus and Whis have arrived. "Master Beerus is here to welcome you. If you are far away, please forgive me, Lord Beerus." King Kai hurried to pack in front of Beerus with a look of fear. As a god, he knows all too well the horrors of gods of destruction. Beerus. This guy can destroy a planet, or even a galaxy, with just a snap of his fingers. The reason why my planet has become so small is thanks to Master Beerus. "No, King Kai, it seems that you haven't had a good life in these 1,000 years." Beerus glanced at King Kai's planet again, and spoke slowly. "It is indeed a little small. It seems that the punishment I received at that time was a bit too heavy. Anyway, this guy is also a minor god of the 7th universe. Thank you, Master Beerus, for your concern. Although the place is a little smaller, it's okay." King Kai immediately opened his mouth to answer. "But your cooking skills should have improved this time, right? If you haven't grown up yet, I think your planet can be a little smaller." As soon as the topic changed, Beerus said to King Kai with an evil smile on his face. Forehead, "Please don't worry, Master Beerus. Since the last incident, I have started to practice my cooking skills hard. For point 2, Master Beerus probably hasn't had lunch yet. I'll help you make it now." Seeing the evil smile on Beerus' face, King Kai hurriedly spoke. What he is worried about now is not that the food he cooks is not delicious, so that his planet becomes smaller. He is more worried about another thing now. That's the troublesome Son Goku on his own planet. Once he is allowed to meet Lord Beerus, even if this guy gets hot-headed and says some stupid words that want to challenge Lord Beerus, at that time, the consequences will be unimaginable. At this time, Son Goku was behind the wall that King Kai hadn't finished yet. Rubbing his head, he asked in confusion, "Who is that Beerus-sama? Why did the Kai-sama act so frightened after seeing him?" And before that, Lord Ghost King and Lord Supreme Kai were doing business in a sneaky way. You must know that Lord Kai, although he was very respectful when he saw Supreme Kai, he didn't have such a scared expression at all. But after seeing that purple cat at this time, he actually acted so scared. Is he even more advanced than Supreme Kai? If this is the case, I can't control the excitement in my heart, and I want to compete with him. Because since Majin Buu was eliminated, he has hardly encountered an opponent. It's so itchy now. And this time outside, Whis looked around, and then said to Beerus, "Master Beerus, I just felt that the scion who defeated Frisia is on the planet King Kai." Nanny. After hearing Whis' words, Beerus showed a look of surprise on his face. Isn't that guy on Earth? And how can a human being be on King Kai's planet? And after hearing what was said, King Kai's heart suddenly skipped a beat. The thing I fear the most will happen eventually. "King Kai, is there a scion hidden on your planet?" Beerus stared at King Kai and asked. Forehead. At this time, even if he was afraid that Son Goku would see Master Beerus, he would not dare to tell lies. Because Goku is literally on his own planet. If Master Beerus finds out that he is lying, he will definitely be angry. The wrath of gods of destruction is not something he can bear. It is even very likely that many planets will be destroyed as a result. Yes, there is indeed a scion on my planet. Bite the bullet. King Kai could only nod his head. Then, he shouted in the direction of Son Goku. "Goku, hurry up and say hello to Master Beerus." After hearing Lord Kai's call, Son Goku hurried out from inside. Then he walked directly in front of Beerus. With a silly smile on his face, he directly extended his right hand and said hello. "Hey, I'm Son Goku." It's just that as soon as Son Goku's words fell, King Kai jumped up and hit him on the head with a hammer. "Goku, how can you be so rude? Standing in front of you is the most powerful gods of destruction Beerus in this universe. Master Beerus controls the fate of the entire universe, and is an existence that no one can compare with. Hurry up and say hello to me." King Kai reminded vaguely. The purpose of his saying this is to let Goku know that the Lord Gods of Destruction Beerus in front of him is definitely not an existence that he can compare with. So I hope he can dispel the idea of challenging as soon as possible. Gods of Destruction? Son Goku froze for a moment, then immediately put on a straight posture. Introducing myself again. "Hi, my name is Son Goku. Please give me your advice." But no nonsense, Son Goku looks hilarious. "You're the guy who beat Frisia, right?" Beerus looked Son Goku up and down. It has to be said that this guy does have the strength to kill Frisia with ease. In the previous video provided by Whis, although this guy beat Frisia, it was not easy. It seems that in the past few years, his promotion has also been very fast. Now that he has the strength, even without turning into that Super Saiyan form, he can easily defeat Frisia. It seems that I didn't know enough about Saiyan before. Huh? How did Master Beerus know about this? Son Goku froze for a moment, but finally replied with a smile. Yes, I did beat Frieza. He kind of wonders what the hell Lord Beerus has to do with Frieza. Not bad. I didn't expect that a mere Scion could grow to such an extent. Beerus first gave a compliment, then cut to the point and asked, have you heard of Super Saiyan God? This is the real purpose of his coming to Northern Galaxy. Find the rival in your prophetic dream, Super Saiyan God. Super Saiyan God. Son Goku touched his chin. I do know Super Saiyan, but never heard of Super Saiyan God. Could it be that Saiyan can become a god? Then, Son Goku shook his head and replied, I only know about Super Saiyan, but I haven't heard about Super Saiyan God. Cut. You really don't know? Beerus curled his lips, seeming a little disappointed. After all, it took him more than 20 minutes to come to this Northern Galaxy. If you get nothing, isn't this trip in vain? Hey King Kai, have you heard of the name Super Saiyan God? Then, Beerus turned his gaze to King Kai and asked, I'm so sorry, Lord Beerus. I've never heard of that name either. King Kai also shook his head in a daze. He, like Son Goku, does know of Super Saiyan's existence, but never heard of Super Saiyan God. And in this universe, how could there be a demi-human god? Excuse me, Master Beerus is looking for that Super Saiyan God for something? For 73, King Kai bit the bullet and asked again. He had better ascertain the purpose of Lord Beerus's visit now. You don't need to know about this. Since you don't know, there's no point in staying here. Since the Scion in front of me doesn't know Super Saiyan God, getting Vegeta will know some news. After all, that guy is Scion's prince, he must know more. Come on, Whis, let's go to Earth and ask Vegeta. Beerus turned his head and said to Whis, Master Beerus, won't you have lunch with me? King Kai frowned and spoke. You know that guy Vegeta has a much more violent temper than Goku. If that guy doesn't have eyes and offends Lord Beerus, the Earth will definitely suffer. And although Goku said that he is a little brainless sometimes, but he can't listen to some movements more or less. But that guy Vegeta is completely different. He won't listen to the advice of people like himself at all. At this moment, Son Goku suddenly said, Master Beerus, since you are gods of destruction, you must be very powerful. Then can I compete with you a little bit? Just a little. As he spoke, Son Goku also used his 2 fingers to draw a distance of 1 millimeter. Goku, you idiot. How could you say such ignorant and stupid things to Lord Beerus? Quickly apologized to Lord Beerus. After hearing Son Goku's words, King Kai was directly frightened. Although he knew that Goku was aggressive at first, he was surprised to say such a stupid thing on this occasion. Could it be that what I just reminded him was not obvious enough? Beerus-sama, gods of destruction who can wipe out the entire galaxy and even the entire universe in an instant. He would actually propose a contest with Lord Beerus. Hey, Lord Kai, don't be so nervous. I just have a little discussion with Lord Beerus. Son Goku said indifferently, with a simple and honest smile on his face. Oh, you actually said you wanted to compete with me. Beerus also had an incredible look on his face. The person who had just turned around also turned back. Then with a sneer on his face, he said to Son Goku, I haven't heard such stupid words for a long time after living hundreds of millions of years. To be honest, this guy in front of me is really good. It's beyond my previous thoughts on Scion. Being able to defeat Frieza shows that he does have some strength. But if that's all, he doesn't have that qualification yet. Want to challenge gods of destruction? I really don't know whether to say he is ignorant or stupid, or ignorance and stupidity. Even Whis on the side had a look of surprise on his face. It seems that this Scion is a bit too self-righteous. How dare you say such a thing in front of Lord Beerus? You must know that his current strength is not much weaker than when he first met Ron. How could he be a match for Lord Beerus? Master Beerus, you must not take it seriously. Goku was hit on the head when he was a kid, so he talks nonsense sometimes. King Kai immediately stood up and quickly explained. If they made Lord Beerus unhappy, Son Goku would not be the only one who would be implicated. Most likely the entire Northern Milky Way. Humph. Avoid King Kai for me, and watch out for me to destroy you. Since this kid wants to experience the strength of gods of destruction, I'll let him experience it a little bit. Beerus glanced at King Kai indifferently, and this look directly scared King Kai enough. The body took several steps backwards. Excellent, Lord Beerus. Thank you Lord Beerus for your fulfillment. Son Goku bowed respectfully to Beerus. At this point he was very, very excited. You must know that I haven't encountered a strong opponent for a long time. If Master Beerus is really that powerful, it must be a very exciting battle. Don't be stupid, Goku. Master Beerus is completely different from the opponents you have encountered in the past. He can blow you to the end of the universe, even if he takes a breath. Looking at the eager Son Goku, King Kai reminded Son Goku again. I'm even more interested if the King of the Realm says so. After Son Goku finished speaking, his expression became serious. Although he usually looks carefree, once fighting, he is still very serious. Hey, I watched you fight Frieza before. Why don't you hurry up and become Super Saiyan? Beerus spoke to Son Goku. Although the Scion in front of me can defeat Frieza, but I can wipe him out completely with 1 finger. Maybe after becoming a so-called Super Saiyan, I can more or less let myself feel the joy of fighting. Indeed. If you fight Beerus-sama in this form, it would be a bit too rude. Son Goku also agreed and nodded. Then he clenched his fists, and golden arrogance erupted from his body instantly, then directly into the form of Super Saiyan. And Son Goku's breath, don't get crazy growth in an instant. Oh, is this the so-called Super Saiyan? His strength has indeed improved tremendously in an instant. However, such power is still too weak for gods of destruction. Although somewhat surprised, Son Goku's power is nothing to Beerus. Even in his eyes, Son Goku's fighting power is not even comparable to a mosquito. Then, please advise, Master Beerus. Son Goku looked straight, and then his body flashed out instantly. I have to say they are really fast, because at this time Son Goku's basic combat power has reached more than 3 billion, and after turning into Super Saiyan form, his combat power has directly increased to 150 billion. SHHHHH. The moment his body flashed out, Son Goku directly launched a storm-like attack. His punching speed was so fast that King Kai couldn't see any movement at all. But such punching speed and movement, for Beerus and Whis, seemed to be slowed down thousands of times. It can be said to be slower than the speed of a snail. With a slight movement of Beerus' body, he escaped all the attacks of Son Goku calmly. How did this happen? Why can't my attack touch his body at all? And even his expression hasn't changed at all. Is the strength of gods of destruction really so powerful? Son Goku looked at the calm Beerus, with a serious look on his face. In this case, then becomes Super Saiyan 2. Son Goku took a step back, and then Chuan gripped again, pulling out a stance. Afterwards, the terrifying golden gaseous flames erupted directly from the body in the form of jets. There are also blue electric arcs around the body. The eyes are more slender and resolute, and a fringe of bangs is constantly dancing in front of the eyebrows. After becoming Super Saiyan 2, Son Goku's fighting power doubled again. But even so, the result was the same as before. His attack still couldn't touch Beerus' body. At this time, Beerus already felt that this kind of contest was no fun, because compared with Ron's strength, this guy is a million miles away. Hey, if you still have stronger strength, hurry up and show it. If not, this boring and meaningless contest can be over. Beerus said to Son Goku indifferently. Compared with the previous contest with Ron, this kind of contest is completely different. There is no joy in fighting at all. Son Goku stopped what he was doing. Then he said to Beerus, Hao Zhao, Master Beerus' strength is really unfathomable. It seems that I can only become Super Saiyan 3, and this is my last strength. After Son Goku said, he began to gather his chi quickly. Immediately afterwards, a huge change took place in the appearance of the whole person. The blonde hair hangs down to the waist, the eyebrows have disappeared, and the brow bones are raised high. Judging from the facial features, it does look like a villain. Oh, it's really possible to improve again halfway. It's a little stronger than before. However, it's still disappointing. Beerus sighed and said. At this time, Son Goku, who became Super Saiyan 3, launched an attack on Beerus again. After becoming Super Saiyan 3, whether it is strength, speed, or explosive power, there has indeed been a qualitative improvement. But Super Saiyan has a very fatal weakness. That is, the energy consumption is too fast. If you can't win the battle in a short period of time, you will become a lamb waiting to be slaughtered after the energy consumption is almost the same. Son Goku clenched his fists violently, and the strength on his arms seemed to be full of strength. The blue electric arc around the body is also more turbulent. It has to be said that the power of Super Saiyan 3 has far surpassed that of Super Saiyan 2. Almost at the same time, Son Goku attacked Beerus directly. His speed has become faster, but only relatively speaking. From Beerus' point of view, there is no difference at all. Because to him, a snail is a snail. Even if the speed is slightly faster, he can't see any change. Son Goku almost used both fists and kicks, constantly attacking Beerus. But every attack he made was easily dodged by Beerus. Even if he attacked from behind, the result would be the same. It's like Beerus also has eyes behind him. Damn, even if I become Super Saiyan 3, my attack still can't touch her body. Gods of destruction, is it really that strong? It's not an existence that the previous opponents can compare with at all. Son Goku frowned, but continued to attack like a storm. The attack speed is indeed very fast. Swipe, swipe, punch after punch, right foot and right foot. But from the beginning to the end, even the hem of Beerus' clothes could not be touched. After attacking hundreds of times, Son Goku retreated backwards. Then he said, Master Beerus, if you keep dodging like this battle will never end. Alright, since you said that, then 620, I'll show you the horror of gods of destruction. Beerus nodded. It just so happens that this battle is already boring. So end it quickly and go find the Super Saiyan God. I hope that the so-called Super Saiyan God, the rival of my dreams, will not let me down so much. Call out. This time, Son Goku's body flashed out again. With all the strength in his body, he punched Beerus. Snapped. But in the next second, his hard blow was easily blocked by Beerus' index finger. Then he narrowed his eyes slightly and flicked his middle finger directly on Son Goku's heartless. At that moment, Son Goku's body flung out. Call out. But Beerus fell down in an instant, and behind Son Goku, his palm lightly pressed on Son Goku's shoulder. Even though it looks like an understatement, it doesn't take much effort at all. But Son Goku's body hit the ground directly like a falling meteorite. A huge deep pit was directly smashed into the ground, and Son Goku's eyes lost their luster in an instant, and then he exited the state of Super Saiyan. Cut. Beerus snorted coldly. Although the Saiyan in front of me is really good, if it is placed among human beings, it can be regarded as the best among human beings. However, there is still an insurmountable gap between him and the broken, by God of destruction, Goku. King Kai ran up to Son Goku with a worried face. But after seeing that Son Goku was still alive, a look of rejoicing appeared on his face. It seems that although Son Goku's actions are very reckless this time, Master Beerus does not intend to kill him. Otherwise, Lord Beerus would have killed Goku for his reckless actions just now. Whis, go to Earth. Beerus walked in front of Whis, and then said lightly, hope that Saiyan Prince Vegeta knows something. See you next time, King Kai. Beerus greeted King Kai, and then the bodies of the two turned into a brilliant streamer and disappeared on the planet King Kai. Meanwhile, Son Goku also struggled to sit up. Wow Kaka, was that the power of gods of destruction, Lord Beerus, just now? We are simply not the same level of opponents. However, Master Beerus' power is really exciting. After Son Goku did it, instead of feeling frustrated because of his defeat, he was excited. Goku, I know you Saiyans like to fight, but I advise you to control your excitement. I've already said that Lord Beerus is definitely not something you can handle. You are completely out of the same dimension. He is completely different from the opponents you have encountered before. You should have thanked Master Beerus for your mercy just now. Otherwise, you would have completely disappeared by now. Looking at Son Goku, who was full of excitement, the North Ghost King yelled loudly. Goku likes fighting, and he doesn't reject it, because Saiyan itself is such a character. But while you like fighting, you should also have some brains. You should also understand the gap between yourself and your opponent. If one sees a strong opponent, even an opponent that he can't surpass at all, he is so excited. This is not keen to be aggressive, it is pure fool. I see, Lord Kai. Son Goku nodded quickly. He understood everything King Kai said, and the gap between himself and Lord Gods of Destruction Beerus. He also knows better than anyone else. It is estimated that even if I break through again on the basis of Super Saiyan 3, I may not be the opponent of Master Beerus. Master Beerus just said he was going to Earth. That person called Super Saiyan God seems to be very important to Master Beerus. His purpose of going to Earth this time is very likely to find Vegeta. So I'd better inform Vegeta immediately, and hope he won't act more recklessly. If Master Beerus is really angered, then the Earth will be completely lost. King Kai said to himself. And just on Earth, Ron and number 18 have already eaten. The relationship between the two seems to have become very delicate. It's the kind of people who like each other, but don't know how to speak. I'll take you to a good show. After eating, Ron spoke to number 18. Beerus will definitely come to Earth today, when Super Saiyan God will have a fight. To be honest, this is also the song of the famous scene of Dragon Ball. Although Beerus may not even use 1% of his power, it is still very interesting. After all, Super Saiyan God himself has seen it in comics and anime before, and has never seen the birth of Super Saiyan God with his own eyes. This time I want to have a look. Well, you can go wherever you say. Number 18 nodded, but did not refuse. Anyway, she has nothing to do at home by herself, and being able to be with Ron, no matter what she is doing, she feels good. Because I don't know when, he will leave the Earth again. So cherish the time we have together. Walk. Ron took number 18's hand and disappeared in place in an instant. When it reappeared, it was already on the giant cruise ship where Bulma was hosting a birthday party. And the moment Ron and number 18 appeared, they directly attracted everyone's surprised eyes. Nanny, that guy is Ron. When everyone's eyes came together, Piccolo recognized Ron immediately. Then, Kellen and Tien Shinhan also recognized Ron, because they are more familiar with Ron than others. Search, it's that bastard. I just said, why did I have that familiar feeling before? It turns out that this bastard is back. Just a few minutes ago, Vegeta couldn't bear the pressure of Bulma, and also came to this birthday party. But unexpectedly, the bastard Ron suddenly appeared here. He disappeared for 9 full years, but he didn't expect to appear suddenly now. The so-called friends are extremely jealous when they meet. When Vegeta saw Ron, he clenched his fist tightly. You must know that 9 years ago, this guy beat himself twice until he lost consciousness. Ron disappeared for 9 years. How did he suddenly appear? I don't know what purpose he has for appearing this time. Kellen and Tien Shinhan both showed serious expressions on their faces. Although he killed the monster cell 9 years ago, he can be regarded as the savior who saved the Earth. But this guy is different from them. No one can see what he is thinking. But what is certain is that his character is completely different from these warriors on Earth. Therefore, the purpose of his appearance at this moment is not very clear to everyone. And he still has Android 18 by his side. Don't worry. Although that guy's personality is different from yours. But I can feel he's not a bad guy. Piccolo was very determined, said to the two of them. Duh. At this moment, Vegeta stepped forward directly. Appeared directly 3 meters away from Ron. Hey, what are you doing here, you bastard? Do you want to be beaten down by me? Although at this time Vegeta's eyebrows no longer had that kind of violence. But I have to say, this guy's tone of voice is still so annoying. Vegeta, I think your scars are healed, and you forget the pain. Slap me down? Do you think you're qualified for that? Glancing at Vegeta with disdain, Ron said flatly, I have to say that Vegeta's strength is not bad at this time. The basic combat power has almost reached 4 billion. If it becomes Super Saiyan 2, it will reach hundreds of billions of combat power. But in his own opinion, this kind of combat power is really too weak. After all, even Zhao has not reached. He said without hesitation that even if he breathed out casually, he could blow him away like booger. Hey, what do you want to do? Today is my birthday party, and all the guests who come today are guests. Vegeta, did you know each other before? At this moment, Bulma hurried up to smooth things over. From Vegeta's expression, it can be seen that this mysterious guy who suddenly appeared in front of him must be very powerful. Otherwise, Vegeta would not have shown such an expression. If there was a fight, maybe Vegeta would suffer. As a wife, he naturally didn't want her husband to suffer at his birthday party. Cut. Move away, Bulma. Mind your own business. I must teach this bastard a lesson today, Vegeta said to Bulma indifferently. Today I have to fight Ron no matter what. For one thing, this guy defeated him twice, causing him to accumulate a lot of resentment in his heart. And this guy disappeared for 5 years after defeating himself. This made him even have no chance to seek revenge from him. However, with the passage of time and the change of my personality, the resentment in my heart has almost dissipated. But when he saw this guy again, he couldn't help but want to fight him again. Even if he doesn't ask about revenge, he still wants to prove himself. In the past 9 years, I have been cultivating desperately day and night. The current strength has reached the peak state of Super Saiyan 2. Even in the form of Kakaroto's Super Saiyan 3, it is not much stronger than himself. So he is confident that this time he will definitely not be as embarrassed as the previous 2 times. Hey Vegeta, I advise you to give up this idea. Ron's strength is still beyond your imagination. At this moment, Piccolo hurried forward and spoke to Vegeta. I am not trying to stop this fight. It wasn't about hitting Vegeta either. But the moment Ron first appeared, he could feel an overwhelming pressure. And there is a very powerful divine power that makes me feel irresistible. Ever since I fully integrated with the old god, I can feel the breath of God. The breath of God released by Ron at this time was something he had never felt before. In Ron's eyes, Supreme Kai and the others are no exaggeration to say that they can't even compare to a small bug. So almost certainly, let alone Vegeta, it is estimated that even Vegeta and Son can't be Ron's opponent. Stop kidding me, Piccolo. You don't even know the humiliation I suffered 9 years ago. My proud self-esteem was trampled on the ground by this guy. So no matter what I do today, I will teach him a good lesson. Vegeta clenched his fists tightly, then yelled at Piccolo. They are not themselves, so how can they experience the shame they felt at that time? Cut. Self-righteous guy. Since you don't listen to advice, then do as you please. Piccolo wasn't the kind of wordy character either. After hearing that Vegeta didn't listen to persuasion, he just turned around and returned to his position. Since he is so persistent, let him learn a little lesson. Uncle Piccolo, is that Mr. Ron who killed Cell? But why can't I feel any breath from his body? 0. At this time, Son Gohan asked curiously. Although Ron's name is often heard by himself, but did not see him, because Ron showed up a few times and he wasn't there. When the monster Cell was killed, he happened to be training with his father in the spiritual time room. So from beginning to end, I have never seen Ron's true face. But from what everyone said, Ron's strength is outrageous. It can kill the monster Cell in an instant, and can easily defeat Uncle Vegeta in the second form of Super Saiyan. So it shows that his strength is very strong. But why can't I feel his anger now? Not even a tiny bit. Even if a person can hide his aura, he will definitely not be able to do so. Not even a trace of breath is released. Gohan, this guy Ron is very likely to be a god, because he has the breath of a god in his body, so ordinary people can't feel it. I'm also in fusion with the old god, so I can feel his divine breath. Piccolo explained from the side. I see. Like gods like Supreme Kai and the others. Son Gohan nodded suddenly. You can say that, but his strength is countless times that of Supreme Kai and the others. Piccolo said again with a serious face. After all, Supreme Kai's strength is too weak. But Ron's aura of God was ridiculously strong. If you say that, isn't Uncle Vegeta going to suffer soon? Son Gohan frowned, then asked. Since Uncle Piccolo said that Ron is so strong, then Uncle Vegeta must have no chance of winning. But his proud and self-righteous personality, probably no one can make him change, right? Snort. Piccolo snorted coldly, and then said, didn't you hear what that guy said just now? I've already dissuaded him, but he didn't listen. Even if he is taught a lesson, it is his own fault. After speaking, he folded his arms directly to his chest. And Son Gohan has nothing to say at this time. After all, with Uncle Vegeta's character, it is estimated that no one can persuade him. Ron, it cannot be denied that you were really strong 9 years ago. But in the past 9 years, you have no idea what kind of 380 battles we have experienced, and what kind of opponents we have fought. So it is even more impossible for you to know to what extent our strength has increased. Of course, I'll let you know soon. It's not that simple to surpass our Scion. Vegeta was rather egotistical when he said that. You must know that after Ron left the Earth, they have experienced the universe pirate Bojack and the most difficult Majin Buu. Although the appearance of these guys made them feel very troublesome, they were even killed. But the characteristic of Scion is that he can constantly improve himself in battle. And every time there is a serious injury or death, there will be a great improvement after recovery. After these few battles, his strength has become very strong. So the current Ron doesn't even know how strong he is. Oh, isn't it possible to become Super Saiyan 2? I haven't even reached the form of Super Saiyan 3, so I dare to talk big here. You're not afraid to flash your tongue. Ron sneered, then looked at Vegeta disdainfully. Even Son Goku, who has become Super Saiyan 3, his combat power at this time has reached the mega level. And Vegeta, after becoming the second peak state of Super Saiyan, a little more is just a few hundred billion. But now his combat power has reached the level of the ditch. So there is no comparison between them at all. Cut. What a smug bastard. Since you're so confident, I'll show you the power of Super Saiyan 2. Seeing Ron's disdainful gaze, Vegeta was instantly furious. This guy doesn't take Super Saiyan seriously either. The self now is completely different from 9 years ago. Even if he does not become a Super Saiyan, his strength is countless times greater than that of the Super Saiyan at that time. Ha! Then, Vegeta suddenly roared. With a shake of his arms, he directly opened his stance. Immediately afterwards, golden flames erupted from his body instantly. The terrifying golden gas flames were in the form of jets, and blue electric arcs appeared around the body. It does look a little aggressive. Under Vegeta's terrifying atmosphere, the entire huge cruise ship is about to move. Some snack stalls around were even blown out. This guy Vegeta, his strength has improved so much in the past 2 years. Even if his current strength is weaker than Goku's, he probably won't be much weaker. Piccolo and the others looked at Vegeta in surprise, and said, feeling Vegeta's breath. I have to say that Scion is really perverted. The speed of improvement is simply unmatched by them. Amazing. Has Vegeta actually improved to such a level? Even number 18 next to Ron had a look of surprise on his face. Then he looked at Ron and asked, Vegeta has become so powerful now. Are you sure you can defeat him? Speaking of which, he did feel a little worried for Ron. Because 9 years ago, Ron had humiliated Vegeta. If Ron loses to Vegeta at this time, Vegeta will definitely teach Ron a good lesson. Don't worry. I didn't take him seriously at all. Ron smiled, then said lightly. Seeing the smile on Ron's face, Vegeta felt that the anger in his body was about to spurt out. Search, self-righteous bastard, get down on the ground for me. Vegeta roared, and then his body shot out like an arrow from Li Xian. With a bang, the air was torn apart, and he punched Lao indirectly. He almost exhausted all his strength in this punch. So he is very confident in his own strength. Even if this punch can't knock Ron down, he can't hold back a few punches of his own. Overreaching. Seeing Vegeta rushing towards him, Ron just said calmly. There was no shot at all. When Vegeta's body was 1 meter away from Ron, he suddenly stopped in midair. The whole person came to a complete stop, as if an acupuncture point had been tapped. Nanny, what's going on? Why can't I move my body? Damn, what the hell is this bastard doing? The moment his body froze, Vegeta felt fear instantly. A look of incomparable horror appeared on his face. Just now that bastard Ron didn't make a move at all, just stood there motionless. And his body couldn't move at all. Uncle Piccolo, what the hell is going on here? Uncle Vegeta's body can't seem to move. Son Gohan and Kellen also looked at Vegeta, who was stagnant in midair with serious faces. Even if Ron defeated Vegeta in a devastating manner, they wouldn't feel too surprised. But right now, Ron didn't make a move at all. Even without changing his complexion, Vegeta stopped directly. This is simply not something that power can do. It's definitely a superpower. Perhaps this is the power of God. Piccolo also said with serious eyes. Ron's strength at this time completely exceeded his imagination at 4.3. Can make Vegeta's body unable to move. This kind of strength is indeed beyond their imagination. Then, Ron's eyes narrowed suddenly, and a sharp light shot out. In the next second, Vegeta's body flew upside down, rumble, then directly pierced the right side of the giant wheel. The body has been retreating tens of thousands of feet, smashing more than a dozen mountain peaks before stopping. Although Vegeta didn't pass out at this time, the consciousness is still there, but it is obvious that it has completely lost its fighting power. Lying on the ground, obviously unable to move. Sure enough, it was still the original Speed Party Vegeta. Hey you. Seeing her husband being bullied, Bulma just wanted to go up to argue, but was held back by Piccolo. If you don't want everyone to be killed, you'd better not talk. Ron didn't kill Vegeta directly, so he was showing mercy. Casually, he said to Bulma coldly. Both the husband and wife seem to be born with no clear understanding of the form. Now that Vegeta has been easily defeated by others, he goes up and argues that if he angers others, will they still have a chance to survive? Sure enough, stupid people will be with stupid people. Uncle Piccolo is right. Aunt Bulma, you should stop messing with Mr. Ron. Son Gohan on the side also dissuaded him. From the situation just now, they can also clearly realize that the power of Ron in front of them is beyond what they can imagine. Even if he wants to kill everyone in an instant, it is probably a breeze. And since he didn't kill Uncle Vegeta just now, that means he didn't want to kill anyone. But if you continue to provoke, it may not be necessarily the case. Although Bulma sometimes has a domineering personality and 12 big breasts and no brains, she also immediately realized the problem. Then he hurried to Vegeta. I'll go to Immortal Karen and bring back some fairy beans first. After Son Gohan finished speaking, his body flashed and flew directly towards Kalinta. And at this time in the Supreme Kai world, Master Ancestor, who is that Ron? Why have I never seen him before? But his body also contains the breath of God. And it's very, very powerful. Even I can feel the huge pressure. God Jebbet looked at Ron in the crystal ball, and then said solemnly, in this universe, there are not many people who can defeat Vegeta. But he had never encountered anyone who could defeat Vegeta so easily. Stupid, how many years have you survived? Even the guys on Earth know that guy named Ron. Why don't you? The ghost who created life and planets, not know. And I've been sealed for thousands of years. Even you don't know? How would I know? The old Supreme Kai scolded Jabbatat again. However, he continued after venting his breath. Looking at it now, among the two breaths I felt just now, one of them belongs to Master Beerus, and the other is this Ron's. It seems that he is very likely to be Lord Beerus' bodyguard, or the candidate gods of destruction of our 7th universe. This is his guess, but this kind of guessing is almost inseparable, because gods of destruction will not bring anyone besides Angel at all. Now the Turin appeared beside gods of destruction, and he has such a powerful breath of God. Then there are only two situations. Candidate gods of destruction? Jebbet froze, but he was still a little confused. Is the candidate gods of destruction just like Jebbet? No wonder it still has such a strong fighting power. TCH, it's all the fault of Son Goku and Vegeta. These two idiots, they are both troublemakers. Now one has messed with Lord Gods of Destruction Beerus, and the other has messed with those around Lord Beerus. If the Earth is really destroyed in a while, they can't blame others. The old Supreme Kai said loudly. The words clearly blamed Son Goku and Vegeta for being troublesome. Then I'd better remind King Kai quickly, and ask him to remind Vegeta again. Don't mess with Ron and Lord Beerus again. I hope this time the Earth can get through it safely. God Jebbet spoke immediately. After all, I and the Earth can be regarded as having some experiences of suffering together. If it is destroyed by gods of destruction like this, I will feel bad in my heart. After Vegeta on Earth ate the fairy beans, he recovered quickly from his injuries. But at this moment, he pulled his face away and found a corner alone to stay, not daring to face Ron at all. He really didn't expect that after 9 years, the gap between them hadn't changed at all. Even the gap between the two is even bigger. That guy can actually beat himself calmly. What's more, he used to shoot himself, but he didn't shoot at all just now. Vegeta. Just when Vegeta looked embarrassed and didn't know what to do next, King Kai's voice suddenly rang out from his mind. King Kai, you bastard, what do you want from me? Vegeta was in a very bad mood at this time, so his words were extremely indifferent. Vegeta, what I want to tell you is, don't mess with Ron anymore, because he is very likely to be the bodyguard of Lord Gods of Destruction Beerus, or the heir of the Destruction Beerus celestial being. And let me remind you that regret is that Master Beerus is about to arrive on Earth. When they get here, you must find a way, and don't let anyone provoke him. Because once you anger Lord Beerus, the consequences will be more serious than angering Ron. It is very likely that the entire Earth will be destroyed. By the way, I want to tell you that Master Beerus has come to my planet just now. That guy Goku didn't listen to the advice and played a match with Master Beerus, but he became Super Saiyan 3763, but was easily used by Master Beerus a complete defeat with one move. King Kai's voice is very serious. After finishing speaking, Vegeta was not allowed to continue talking, so he cut off the call directly. Nanny, Lord Gods of Destruction Beerus. It's such a familiar name. Where does it feel like I've heard it before? Vegeta's expression became more serious, because she thinks she has definitely heard the name of Gods of Destruction Beerus. But for a while, I can't remember where I heard it, or where I saw it. And this Ron in front of him is actually Gods of Destruction's bodyguard, or his candidate. How can it be? Wasn't this guy from Earth before? What happened in just a few short years? And just when Vegeta was thinking about it, and couldn't figure it out, an indifferent mocking voice suddenly sounded from behind. Yo, son of King Vegeta, long time no see. The voice was indifferent, full of ridicule and banter. After hearing the voice, Vegeta's expression changed, and he turned around immediately. But no one was found. Didn't find any traces either? Could it be? Was it because I was so fascinated by what I thought just now that I had auditory hallucinations? Just when Vegeta wondered if he had an auditory hallucination, the bodies of Beerus and Whis suddenly appeared behind him. Then Beerus stretched out his sharp cat's claws, directly on the back of Vegeta's head. When his fingertips were almost touching Vegeta's skin, Vegeta suddenly reacted. Then the body slammed forward. Then he turned his head quickly and saw Beerus and Whis. Not bad. The perception is still very sharp, cat. Beerus withdrew his finger and said with a playful face, You, who the hell are you? Vegeta asked immediately, but after asking, he felt that his question was stupid. This guy is definitely what King Kai called Gods of Destruction Beerus, and his face is very, very familiar. I always feel like I've seen it somewhere, but I can't remember it for a while. Oh, did you forget me so quickly? But it doesn't matter, I can deepen your memory for you. The corner of Beerus's mouth showed a sinister arc, and then he stretched out his right palm and pressed down. Vegeta's body fell directly on the deck uncontrollably. At that moment, he felt the same as before, his body was out of control again. He couldn't use any strength, so he could only lie on the ground and endure the humiliation. Only when he looked up at Beerus again. This time he was really impressed. A picture instantly appeared clearly in my mind. This guy once went to Planet Vegeta when he was very young. Because of a pillow, he directly stepped on his father, King Vegeta, under his feet. At that time, he also glanced at himself, and his body was lying on the ground, unable to move. That scene was almost exactly the same as today's scene. You are Lord Gods of Destruction Beerus. Vegeta immediately changed his address. His fear of the Gods of Destruction Beerus is simply deep in his bones. The moment I recognized Beerus, I was sweating profusely. In fact, everyone is like this. The fearful things experienced when they were young will not be forgotten when they grow up. Even whenever I really think of those things, I feel even more frightened than when I was a child. Of course, Vegeta was so terrified, because at this time, he has more fears, and also has more things he wants to protect. Looks like you finally figured it out. But you've really disappointed me, Vegeta. I thought that when you grow up, you should be able to let me practice my hands more or less, but your current strength seems to be inferior to that of Scion from the planet King Kai. After finishing speaking, Beerus still had a look of disdain on his face. I used to feel that Vegeta had a good talent. He possessed great fighting power at a young age. Of course, the term combat power is Frieza and Vegeta's favorite term. Hey, I want to ask you something. If your answer satisfies me, I can let you go. Beerus said to Vegeta indifferently. Master Beerus, if you have any questions, just ask. Vegeta immediately said respectfully. In fact, he really didn't want to abandon his dignity and arrogance. But I am not the same now as I was 10 years ago. I now have my own family with my favorite Bulma and Trunks. He could die, but he didn't want to see Trunks and Bulma get hurt. Have you ever heard of the name Super Saiyan God? Or let me ask you another way. Do you know a guy named Super Saiyan God? After asking, Beerus also had a look of expectation on his face. After all, this guy Vegeta is the Prince of Saiyan. He may know things that other Saiyans don't. After Beerus finished asking, a puzzled look appeared on the faces of the Vegetas. Obviously, he didn't know. Never heard of Super Saiyan God either. It seems you don't know, Vegeta. If this is the case, it seems that there is no need for this planet to survive. At the same time as the extremely cold voice fell, Beerus' eyes suddenly showed murderous intent. If none of these surviving Saiyans know about Super Saiyan God, then there is no need for them to exist. It doesn't make a difference to gods of destruction whether these guys exist or not. But, damn it, are you going to die? Vegeta wanted to clench his fists tightly to resist, but his body seemed to be completely imprisoned, unable to exert any strength. Now he can only wait to die. There is no other way. Master Beerus, aren't you going to ask the others again? Isn't it a bit too random to just destroy a living planet like this? Whis on the side spoke. Although there are indeed many planets in the 7th universe, but there are not many planets with living creatures, and even fewer people with intelligence. Although the planet Earth is not considered an advanced civilization, at least it looks good. It would be a pity if it was destroyed like this. That snort. I came to this place for nothing, but I haven't found the Super Saiyan God in my dream. If I don't destroy this planet and vent my anger, I won't be able to sleep well. Beerus said indifferently. Then, a purple destructive energy suddenly popped out from the fingertips. Although it is only the size of a pea, it is more than enough to destroy a planet. It's over. It's over. I can't stop him no matter what, and no one can stop gods of destruction. Earth is really doomed this time. Vegeta lay on the ground, almost desperate. Even Kakarot was defeated by one move, and I had no power to resist in front of him. Then on Earth, no one can compete with Beerus. Call out. And just when Beerus condensed the energy ball, Vegeta was completely desperate. Suddenly, there was a piercing sound, and then Ron's body appeared in front of Beerus. Master Beerus, well done. Whis, you are here. Ron let out a laugh, because just now he felt Beerus use the energy of destruction. I can't let him destroy this Earth. After all, I will still live here in the future. Hey, have you found any news about Super Saiyan God? If not, the planet could just disappear. Beerus glanced at Ron, then said noon. And Vegeta on the side looked even more like a dead witch. It turns out that Ron really was with gods of destruction. I had offended him so stupidly before. It seems that this time, the Earth is completely hopeless. Not only did I find news about Super Saiyan God, but I also found you, the superb food that is never late. I think we'd better enjoy the food of the Earth for a little bit, and then talk about the Super Saiyan thing. Ron smiled and said to Beerus. In fact, how to create a Super Saiyan God. It is estimated that no one knows better than Ron. In fact, it is relatively simple. Only 6 Saiyans with a heart of justice can complete it. Gourmet food. Really? It's hard to believe that there are delicacies on this planet. Beerus gave Ron a suspicious look and said, you must know that in the past billions of years, I've been to countless planets. There are many more high-end and advanced planets than this planet. But the food produced is really hard to swallow. What kind of delicacies would such a planet on the edge of the universe, which is not trash, have food? Trust me, after a while, there will be so many delicious foods that will make your jaw drop, and you will find something delicious to bite your tongue. Looking at the doubtful Beerus, Ron smiled and said, know that you are not a professional chef, whether in this life or in the past. The food produced can only be regarded as mediocre. Compared with those real chefs, they are not on the same level at all. And the food made by themselves is regarded as the best food by Whis and Beerus. Then when they know the real Earth food, maybe they will really bite their tongues. The reason why 153 themselves do not tell them the delicacies of the Earth, it is because I want to practice with them. Now his strength is not weaker than Beerus, so there is nothing to worry about. After all, I have always been with Whis for the past 9 years, even though they are angels. But they are also sentient beings after all. I believe he will not break his previous promise just because he discovered other delicacies. Really? Beerus still asked suspiciously. But Ron's serious words obviously have a little more credibility. Master Beerus, why don't we go and have a look? Anyway, there is nothing to lose. If the food on Earth is really good, that's a good thing. Even if the delicacies on Earth don't meet our taste, it's only a few steps away. Whis helped out from the side. Of course, he wasn't trying to help the planet or anyone else, but to not miss the opportunity to eat delicious food. What if what Ron said was true? It would be a pity if there is really a superb delicacy on this planet, if it is destroyed. Okay, since even you say that, I'll go and have a look. Beerus nodded and followed Ron. After the 3 of them had left, Vegeta felt relieved and his body could move freely. Call. I saved my life because of that guy Ron. Vegeta frowned tightly. Although I don't like Ron, I even hate him a little bit. But I have to admit that today he really saved himself, and even saved the whole Earth. This is also a great favor. After being able to move freely, Vegeta immediately followed Beerus behind them. I have to make sure that I can't make Beerus angry today. No one can offend him. Otherwise, there is a glimmer of life for Earth High. It may be discarded. After coming to the meeting place, there are food stalls all around, exuding a tempting aroma. Wow, a lot of exquisite food, and it smells so good. Master Beerus, look, that kind of food looks delicious, and that and that. Whis at this time is like Grandma Lu entering a big manor, or like a typical old man rushing into the city. He kept pointing at the delicious food around him, and sucked his saliva vigorously. I have to say, his appearance is really too contemptuous. Beerus wasn't looking much better either. A pair of eyeballs were widened, looking at the dazzling array of delicacies. In addition to the delicious taste of each food, it also exudes a variety of attractive aromas. It seems that you really didn't lie to me. It looks like Ka is going to eat well. If this is the case, then we will not be polite. Beerus wiped his drool and walked straight to a food stand. Lord Beerus, wait for me. Whis is also close behind. And this sudden scene, as well as Beerus and Whis' unseen appearance, as long as everyone is dumbfounded. Vegeta, who the hell are these two? It looks like I've never seen it before, and it doesn't look like a person from Earth. After experiencing Ron's incident, Bulma became more cautious. Asked in a low voice, the one who looks like a cat is the gods of destruction of this universe. He controls the life and death of all planets in this universe. As for the other one, it looks like it should be his servant. Vegeta frowned and answered. In fact, if such a question was put on a normal day, he would not even bother to answer it. But today is different. He had to let Bulma understand the form. If Bulma accidentally angered Beerus, the consequences would be disastrous. Is it so powerful? He actually controls the entire universe, the life and death of all planets. After hearing this, Bulma also showed an unbelievable look on his face. Looking at Vegeta's terrified eyes, he knew that those two guys should be very powerful existences. Because she knows Vegeta too well, she is proud and has a very strong self-esteem. If he wasn't a real strong man, he wouldn't have such a fearful look. Gods of destruction? What's that? It's the first time I've heard of it. Piccolo, with his keen hearing, quickly picked up Vegeta's words. Then a serious look appeared on his face. From Vegeta's expression just now, it can be seen that the so-called gods of destruction Beerus should be more difficult to deal with than Ron. After all, although Ron is very powerful, Vegeta is not too afraid of him. But the one called gods of destruction Beerus made Vegeta look so terrified. It seems that today's birthday party may not be passed so peacefully. Bulma, Please remind others not to provoke gods of destruction Beerus. If you get angry with that guy, then the whole earth will be finished. Then, Vegeta exhorted Bulma. Bulma also nodded seriously. The end of the earth. This is a big event, and it must not be sloppy. Beerus and Whis are devouring all kinds of food. Vegeta and Piccolo were on the sidelines thrilling. Although they are extremely cautious, things like accidents are not so easy to control. No, they were just a few seconds away and didn't keep an eye on them. There has been a conflict on Beerus' side. Because of Beerus, they wanted to taste the dessert called pudding, but Majin Buu refused to change his life. A bloodbath caused by a pudding. Damn it, why didn't you stare at me for a few seconds? And this happened. Vegeta's complexion became even uglier at this time. Because he knows better than anyone else how terrifying the anger of gods of destruction Beerus is. If he is really angry, maybe it is not just the earth that is implicated. Vegeta can only let go of all his arrogance and self-esteem, and then apologize to be Ruth. But Beerus, who was in a fit of anger, didn't pay any attention to Vegeta at all. Because these guys are nothing more than a group of ants in his eyes. Gods of destruction, how can it be possible to reason calmly with a group of ants? In just 1 minute, Vegeta, Piccolo and others were all defeated by Beerus. And at this time, he seems to really want to completely destroy the earth. Just then, Son Goku appeared. In fact, he had been hiding in the dark and observing just now. Been trying to find a way to find the so-called Super Saiyan God. But after thinking about it, I don't know the so-called Super Saiyan God at all. Master Beerus, please give us another chance. We will definitely find a way to find Super Saiyan God. Son Goku immediately stepped forward and said to Beerus, Ron, what the hell is that cat about? Why is he so arrogant? And Vegeta's son Goku seems to be afraid of him. Number 18 also asked curiously. He obviously has a cat face, so I can't feel that he is so powerful, but it can make both Son Goku and Vegeta so scared. Although I have not met Son Goku and Vegeta in the past few years, but they still know that they beat Majin Buu. It can be said that the two of them can be regarded as the strongest on Earth. At this time, in front of that cat man, he was so scared. He is the gods of destruction of our universe. With the power of the rules of this universe, the entire universe can be completely disappeared in an instant. It is because Vegeta and Son Goku know his identity that they are so afraid. Ron looked at number 18 and began to explain. Hearing this answer, number 18 also showed a look of surprise on his face. Unexpectedly, the fate of a universe is actually in the hands of a cat person. And at this moment, Ron also took a step forward. Then he said to Beerus, Master Beerus, you should wait for a while to fight Super Saiyan God before deciding whether to destroy the earth or not. You must know that the main purpose of coming to join in the fun this time is to see Super Saiyan God. If you can't see it, you will feel a little bit regretful. You are Ron, right? It seems that you are much stronger than I imagined, and you can defeat Vegeta so quickly. At this moment, Son Goku also looked at Ron and then spoke. Although I have never met Ron, but his reputation is loud, especially these fighters on their Earth. Almost everyone knows the existence of Ron. Single-handedly killed the second form of Cell. This alone is enough for them to remember. And just now, he was able to defeat Vegeta in an instant. It also gave me a new definition of his strength. It can be said without hesitation that even if I become the strongest form of Super Saiyan 3, I am definitely not Ron's opponent. I didn't expect so many strong people to appear all of a sudden today. I really don't know whether I should feel excited or worried. Long time no see, Son Goku. Ron smiled faintly, looked at Son Goku, and said. The reason why he said long time no see is because he had met Son Goku 9 years ago. It's just that he was fighting Android 19 at the time, so he didn't see himself. Haven't seen you for a long time. Son Goku was taken aback because he had never met Ron, but he still asked, do you really know Super Saiyan God? Same problem with Beerus. Because I came to Earth this time, originally to find Super Saiyan God. Of course I know. Actually, Super Saiyan God is not alone, but requires all of you Saiyans to work together to create a Super Saiyan God. Ron nodded, then said without hesitation. Anyway, even if they don't say it, they will definitely summon Shinron, and then ask about the secret of Super Saiyan God. Does Super Saiyan God need all of us working together to make it? Both Son Goku and Vegeta were surprised. When Beerus first mentioned Super Saiyan God, they thought Super Saiyan God was a person, but I didn't expect that it would take all of them to work together to create it. It's actually very simple to say. It only takes 5 Saiyans with a heart of justice to transmit their heart power to the body of another Saiyan with a heart of justice. Then this Saiyan can become the legendary Super Saiyan God. After nodding, Ron directly said the method of creating Super Saiyan God. In other words, 6 Super Saiyans are needed. Kakarot, me, Son Gohan, Trunks, and Son Goten. There are only 5 subhumans in total. To create Super Saiyan God, there is still 1 person short. After careful calculation, Vegeta's face revealed a serious look again. They simply couldn't gather 6 Saiyans because of the looks. Could it be that he is going to another planet to bring his younger brother Tabor over? But I haven't seen him a few times. That guy didn't know which planet he was sent to, so if he went to find it by himself now, it would be like looking for a needle in a haystack. 0. Besides, even if he finds him by himself, he doesn't necessarily have a heart of justice. After all, every previous Saiyan was violent and aggressive. There's still 1 more thing to go. How is this? What a headache. Son Goku also muttered. There is no way to become a Super Saiyan God without the last Saiyan person. Knowing the method but not being able to achieve it makes them feel even more uncomfortable. Everyone's face became heavy. And at this moment, Son Gohan's wife Videl suddenly took a step forward. Then he said to everyone, maybe, I can help. Hearing Videl's words, Son Goku and others quickly looked over. It's just that although Videl has some combat power, she is just an ordinary human after all. Not Saiyan, not helpful at all. Videl, I know you want to help, but you may really not be able to help with this matter. Son Gohan smiled wryly, then said to Videl. Others thought the same way. If ordinary people can help, none of them will not. But unfortunately, they can't. Gohan, originally, I didn't want to tell you so early. I wanted to surprise you. But what I have to say about the current situation, I am pregnant. Videl said shyly. In fact, I have known about this for a month. But she has always wanted to give Gohan a surprise, so she didn't say it. But today's situation is related to the safety of the Earth, so let alone say it. What? You said, you're pregnant, is that true? Videl. After hearing Videl's words, Son Gohan almost jumped up excitedly. This was indeed a big surprise for him. I never thought I would be a father soon. This was something he had never thought of before. At least before today, he never thought that he would become a father so soon. After hearing this sentence, Chi-Chi and Satan also ran over quickly, with the same year of excitement on their faces. After all, this can be regarded as the birth of a small life of their family. It seems that only Son Goku is not very concerned about this matter. What he cares more about now is the matter of Super Saiyan God. After it was confirmed that Videl was pregnant, Son Goku and others also seriously prepared. Although Vegeta was upset, he agreed to let Son Goku become Super Saiyan God 147. Because that guy is indeed stronger than himself. Perhaps only after becoming a Super Saiyan can he have the power to fight gods of destruction Beerus. Then everyone, I will trouble you. Son Goku spoke to Vegeta and Son Gohan's people. Then he stood directly at the front, and Son Goku and Vegeta put their hands on Son Goku's back, and then several others held hands. At that moment, golden halos appeared around the bodies of several people. Soon, this golden halo enveloped everyone. In an instant, the whole world was shrouded in darkness. Only Son Goku and the 6 of them were surrounded by golden light. Immediately afterwards, a golden beam of light rose into the sky. It directly wrapped the bodies of the 6 people. Oh, it's interesting. Maybe such a method can really give birth to Super Saiyan God. Beerus' body floated in midair and looked at Son Goku and the others with interest. Then he glanced at Ron again. How did this guy know how Super Saiyan God was born? Moreover, the name of Super Saiyan God was also brought up by him when he forgot. It seems that Ron is not an easy guy. He seems to know a lot of things. It seems to be possible. It seems that Goku has a high chance of becoming a super subhuman god. I'm really looking forward to it. What will Goku look like when he becomes Super Saiyan God? Kellen and Tien Shinhan both clench their fists excitedly. Piccolo is also full of expectations. To be honest, he also really wants to know what Sun will look like when he becomes Super Saiyan. Could it be a match for gods of destruction Beerus? But at this moment, the moment the golden beam of light soared into the sky, the clouds in the sky were all rendered golden. Immediately afterwards, the already extremely dim sky was shrouded in golden light. Magnificent. Everyone looked up, looking forward to the birth of Super Saiyan God. Time passed by every minute and every second. A full 3 minutes passed. The golden halo also began to dissipate little by little, and the sky also began to return to its normal color. Son Gohan and Vegeta seemed to be exhausted, with bean-sized drops of sweat appearing on their faces. Then he directly pulled his palm away, but Son Goku's body slowly floated into the air. This is his body enveloped by a golden light. But all can see one very striking feature. That is Son Goku's hair at this time has changed from black to purple, and his body looks slimmer than before. Great, he made it. Son has successfully transformed into Super Saiyan God. I didn't expect this method to really work. Piccolo was the first to shout out excitedly. Piccolo, how are you sure that Goku really became Super Saiyan God? Kellen on the side asked curiously. Although Goku's form did change, but it seems that there is not much change. Only the color of the hair has changed a little, and the body has become a little thinner. Could it be that this is Super Saiyan God? Why does it look like this change is unremarkable? Snort. The corner of Piccolo's mouth raised, and then he said confidently, because I feel the breath of God from his body. You should not feel his breath anymore, right? This is the best proof. I have to say that Piccolo is really smart. Kellen and the others didn't pay attention to so many things, but even for such a detail, Piccolo was able to grasp it at the first time. Really, we really can't feel Goku's breath anymore. It looks like he has really turned into Super Saiyan God. It's great. I'm really looking forward to his next performance. Tien Shinhan also said excitedly. In retrospect, Goku was a bit too much of a guy too. You must remember that when you first met, your strength was stronger than him. Unexpectedly, with the passage of time and decades, his growth has far surpassed people like himself. Even now they can't comprehend what Goku has achieved. While envious, I also feel happy for Goku from the bottom of my heart. After all, he is a person who pursues a higher realm and likes to enjoy fighting. Oh, it's really a success. Is this Super Saiyan God? Not bad. Looks like I didn't come in vain. Beerus naturally also felt Son Goku's divine breath. Although at this time he is still very weak in his own eyes. But it is undeniable that this guy has indeed become a god. Transformed into a true Super Saiyan God. Under everyone's attention, the golden light around Son Goku's body disappeared. Immediately afterwards, his god form was completely presented in front of everyone. Son Goku's hair turned purple, and his pupils completely turned purple. The body is leaner than before. Other than that, there is not much change. Is this Super Saiyan God? It seems that it is not as shocking as I imagined, and this strength is a bit too weak, right? In the DragonBall Super animation, Beerus seems to have said that Son Goku has hit 60% of his strength. Now it seems that he is lying. Son Goku's strength at this time, for 0.7, is estimated to be less than 1/10, 000 of his strength. Ron looked at Son Goku, who had become a Super Saiyan God, and thought secretly in his heart. Because at this time Son Goku, the unit value has only reached 6. The combat power has reached a level of 5,000 Beijing. For Son Goku, this is indeed a qualitative improvement and a huge change. After all, even if he becomes Super Saiyan 3, his combat power is only a few megabytes. Now it has reached 5,000 Jing all of a sudden. It is indeed an unimaginable improvement. Is this the power of Super Saiyan God? What a shocking power. Master Beerus. Son Goku clenched his fist and said to Beerus excitedly. He really didn't expect that after becoming Super Saiyan, his power could reach this level. Clap clap. Beerus clapped his hands, and his body slowly fell in front of Son Goku. Yeah, you have suddenly acquired such a huge strength. I guess you were already eager to try it. To tell you the truth, me too. Then let's get started. Beerus grinned and said to Son Goku. Son Goku nodded, and his body began to slowly float in midair. On the other hand, Vegeta had a look of envy and jealousy. Clenching his fists tightly, he said unhappily, Kakarot, bastard, why does he always come first when good things happen? It's really infuriating. You must know that you are the Prince Scion, the Scion with the strongest potential. But Kakarot, that bastard, walks in front of him every time. Forget it, and let him come first for every good thing. This must have upset Vegeta. At this time, the bodies of Son Goku and Beerus were already floating in midair. Ron, who will win between the two of them? Son Goku seems to be getting really good too. At this time, number 18 asked. Beerus, of course. Although Son Goku did become Super Saiyan God at this time, there is a difference between God and God. Even Son Goku, who has become a god, is still as weak as an ant in front of Beerus. It's no exaggeration to say that if Beerus wants to, he can crush Son Goku to death in an instant. Ron replied without thinking at all. Because of the gap between the two, 10,000 times is not enough to describe. So how could Son Goku be a match for Beerus? Not to mention Son Goku, who has become a god. Even if he has mastered the perfect Ultra Instinct, he still has no chance of winning in front of Beerus. That cat is so powerful. Number 18 was surprised. He didn't expect the guy to look so ugly but possess such great strength. The conversation between Ron and number 18 was naturally overheard by Piccolo. After hearing that, Piccolo's face became very heavy. At this time, Son Goku is already extremely powerful in his opinion. Compared with Super Saiyan 3, his strength has definitely improved countless times. But even so, isn't he still the opponent of gods of destruction Beerus? Ron didn't have to lie at all. So is Son Goku really hopeless? At this time, the old Supreme Kai and Jebic God in the Supreme Kai world are spinning around in a hurry. It's over. It's really over now. Goku, that bastard. It's okay to be reckless at ordinary times, but he actually did such a stupid thing at this critical moment. The old Supreme Kai said angrily. It is because of the reckless actions of these guys that it may very likely cause the destruction of the Earth. It may even involve other planets around the northern Milky Way. Master Ancestor, hasn't Goku become a Super Saiyan God? His aura at this time is so strong that I feel scared. Maybe Goku can defeat Master Beerus. If Goku defeated Master Beerus, wouldn't he have a chance to destroy the Earth? God Jebbit said innocently from the side. Because after Goku became a god just now, he really felt that Goku's strength had improved 10,000 times. You indistinguishable fool. You can't even imagine how powerful Master Beerus is. Although Son Goku has improved a lot after becoming the god of Scion, I can tell you very clearly that there is still a world of insurmountable difference between him and Master Beerus. Even if his strength is increased by 1,000 times, it is absolutely impossible for Beerus to fight against the people. What's more, Lord Beerus already has the power to rule a universe. Even if Son Goku's strength surpasses Master Beerus can make Son Goku and the entire Earth disappear in an instant. The old Supreme Kai immediately said seriously to God Jebbit. You must know that besides his own strength, Lord Beerus also possesses the power of the rules of the universe. In this way, Beerus has the right to clear the things themselves that exist in this universe rule. Nanny, is there such a big gap between Goku and Beerus after becoming the god of Scion? Jebic God is a bit unbelievable. This is really beyond his imagination. And the kings of the world and other places were all terrified. Because once Lord Beerus is angered, he may not only destroy the planets in the northern galaxy, quite possibly destroying planets anywhere in the universe. At that time, their other 3 galaxies may also be implicated. At the same time, I was secretly scolding Son Goku for being a troublemaker. MZ. Son Goku and Beerus stood in the air, looking at each other. It can be seen that Son Goku is extremely excited at this time. Let me see. What is the power of Super Saiyan God? The corner of Beerus' mouth raised, and then he said to Son Goku, although I knew from the moment this guy became Super Saiyan God, he was absolutely impossible to be my opponent. But after looking for such a long time, I still need to compete with him a little bit. Oh, Son Goku nodded, then made an attacking motion. Coming. The moment the sound fell, Son Goku's body rushed directly to Beerus. The speed is very, very astonishing, passing directly beside Beerus in the blink of an eye. On the other hand, Son Goku had a look of incomparable horror on his face. Wow, Kaka, isn't this speed and power amazing? Much stronger than I imagined. Son Goku looked at his body in disbelief. At that moment just now, you were unable to fully grasp the power of this god. Snort. It's not enough to make a fuss. You should be able to exert more powerful power. Come on, Son Goku. Beerus squinted his eyes and said calmly, okay, then I'll try the Kamehameha after becoming Super Saiyan God. Son Goku nodded his head, and then made a classic signature move. Kamehameha waves. With Son Goku's voice falling to 890, the blue energy instantly condensed in the palms of both hands. Golden arcs flickered around the energy ball. In that moment Son Goku's Kamehameha wave was truly terrifying. Huh. With a roar, Son Goku's Kamehameha wave instantly pushed towards Beerus. Just looking at the imposing Kamehameha wave, Beerus was unmoved. There was still a relaxed look on his face. Straight out a finger. It easily blocked Kamehameha's wave, and then raised his finger. The Kamehameha wave flew straight into the universe. Obviously, even the Kamehameha wave that Son Goku was proud of has no effect at all in front of Beerus. Blocked so easily, Son Goku had a look of surprise on his face, but he was even more excited. Just now I just tried casually, and didn't show my real strength. But at the same time, he also knew that Beerus was more powerful than he imagined. Even if I become a Super Saiyan God, it is not so easy to defeat him. It looks like you've more or less mastered some Super Saiyan God powers, Son Goku. With a flash, Beerus appeared directly in front of Son Goku, and then said calmly, oh. Son Goku nodded, his eyes sparkled with excitement, and then he said to Beerus, let's fight. Master Beerus. Also, Lord Beerus, if I win this game, please be merciful and don't destroy the earth. Son Goku continued speaking. This time, I am not only fighting for myself, but also for the earth. No matter what, you must protect the earth. Because I have lived on the earth for decades, I don't want to see the earth destroyed by anyone. Even if the opponent is gods of destruction, absolutely not. Okay, then I promise you. However, I want to remind you that gods of destruction is the strongest existence in this universe. There is absolutely no way that anything can defeat gods of destruction. Beerus said confidently, but then he glanced at Ron again. That guy's talent is even inferior to himself. If you give him some more time, he will definitely be able to surpass himself. But so far, he feels that Ron's strength should not be comparable to his own. After all, it has only been 6 years since the last fight, so he will not believe that this guy can equal himself in 6 years. Huh. After the words fell, Son Goku rushed towards Beerus directly. At this time it seems that he has not fully grasped the power of Super Saiyan God, so all the attacks are open and closed. Perhaps in their view, this speed is very slow. Especially in the eyes of Ron and Whis, Son Goku's speed is ridiculously slow. But at this speed, Son Gohan and Piccolo couldn't see clearly at all. Clap clap. Son Goku kept attacking, punching and kicking at an increasing speed. Obviously, he was familiar with the sudden increase in his body's powerful strength while attacking. And Beerus just used one hand and lightly blocked all of Son Goku's attacks. Is this the strength of gods of destruction? It's just ridiculously strong. Even if my strength has been greatly improved, there still seems to be a big gap in front of him. Son Goku was also secretly frightened while attacking. The power of Beerus is indeed stronger than I imagined. It seems that even if it is Super Saiyan God, he is really not his opponent. SHHHHH. As the battle continued, the battle between the two became more intense. One after another sonic boom circles appeared continuously in the sky. Every physical contact and collision will make the whole earth tremble. What a horrible fight. If it wasn't for the two of them deliberately controlling their power, it is estimated that just one attack would wipe out the entire earth. Piccolo frowned and commented. At this time, the faces of other people are even more ugly. It looks like today is a stalemate and protracted battle. Even if he became a Super Saiyan God, it would not be easy for Goku to defeat gods of destruction Beerus. The battle continued, and Son Goku's strength grew stronger and stronger. Well, in fact, he has almost completely mastered Super Saiyan God's power zone. Every attack can directly cut the air. It's interesting, you seem to be gradually mastering the power of Super Saiyan God. But there seems to be a big gap between you and the rival in my dream. Beerus spoke while receiving Son Goku's attack easily. Although Son Goku's improvement in the past few minutes surprised him, but it was just an accident. As I said before, there is nothing stronger than gods of destruction in this universe. Except, of course, Angel Whis. Because he doesn't belong to this universe at all. It's true that there's a big gap, but I don't think I'm going to throw in the towel like that. Son Goku gritted his teeth, and then directly cast instant transmission, appearing behind Beerus. Without any hesitation, he swept out with one leg. Such a raid poses no threat to Beerus. Simply raising his right arm, he easily received Son Goku's attack. Then he grabbed his wrist directly, and with a flick, Son Goku's body was thrown flying. Call out. Then, like a falling meteorite, it smashed directly into Wang Yang's sea in a straight line. Boom. Thousands of layers of huge waves were directly stirred up on the sea surface. Seeing Son Goku at a disadvantage, everyone's expressions became even uglier. Son Goku, who has transformed into Super Saiyan God, is their only hope. If even he can't defeat gods of destruction Beerus, then the fate of the earth can be imagined. Everyone can only die. Boom boom. In the next second, the entire ground began to shake, and the sea surface seemed to be boiling. Then, a flame-like aura suddenly rose from the sea. Call out. With the sound of breaking through the air, Son Goku's body jumped up. At this time, the arrogance around his body was booming. A flaming aura enveloped his whole body, and his aura became stronger. Interesting. Beerus sneered, but still didn't take Son Goku seriously. Then try this next. After speaking, Beerus directly extended his middle finger. The purple energy ball instantly condensed from the fingertips. Although it looks a bit like destroying energy, it is not. Because he didn't want to kill Son Goku at this time, but to defeat him openly. SHHHHH. Afterwards, energy balls shot out from the fingertips one after another, and shot directly towards Son Goku. Seeing this, Son Goku could only quickly raise his double row block. Boom boom boom. The energy balls continued to explode around Son Goku's body, and Son Goku also let out a miserable cry. Every time he could explode the ball, he felt like his body would be exploded. The heart-piercing pain stimulated every nerve in him. Cut. Too weak. It seems that a dream is just a dream. How could there be my rival in this world? Looking at the embarrassed Son Goku, Beerus shook his head in disappointment. It seemed that what I was dreaming was just an ordinary dream. As far as Son Goku's current strength is concerned, if he wants to surpass himself, he will probably have to practice for 100 years. If that's the case, let's end it quickly. I'm already feeling a little drowsy. Beerus narrowed his eyes slightly, and then said to himself, this kind of boring battle is really easy to arouse people's drowsiness. The moment the voice fell, Beerus' body appeared directly beside Son Goku. Without any hesitation, he directly punched Son Goku's arms heavily. Call out. Rumble. Son Goku's body was punched flying again, and the moment it hit the ground, the whole ground collapsed immediately. There are even cracks around it like spider webs. And Son Goku's body is in the middle. Oops. Kakarot. Get out. You're going to lose. No-nos. Vegeta and Piccolo had incomparably solemn expressions. From the beginning to the end, Beerus did not show his real strength in the fight. More like playing Son Goku. And now, the game seems to have lost its fun. So Beerus is ready to decide the winner. Beerus' body swooped down, directly onto Son Goku's body. Then both fists left and right bowed. Super Saiyan God, I am really disappointed. There is no fun in daily battles. This kind of boring battle made me start to feel drowsy. While beating Son Goku violently, Beerus said with disgust in his mouth, "If I hadn't fought Ron in the past few years, maybe I would have played more with Son Goku. After all, I have not fought for thousands of years. But since the last time he fought Ron, he felt that fighting Son Goku wasn't any fun anymore. Compared with Ron's strength, this guy's strength is also worlds apart. Although no fun at all. After a violent beating, Son Goku directly exited the form of Super Saiyan God. Although Super Saiyan God is stronger than he imagined, the gap with gods of destruction is really too big. After taking hundreds of punches from Beerus, Son Goku was completely injured. Cut. What a boring battle. It seems that predicting dreams or something is really not reliable at all. Beerus stood up, then walked to Whis' side, and said with a look of disdain, "In my precognitive dream, that Super Saiyan is very powerful. It can almost be said to be on par with myself. But the Son Goku in front of him probably didn't even reach 1/10,000th of his own strength. Are you kidding? That bastard Kakarot absorbed the strength of the five of us, and he was beaten so badly. If I knew this, I would have become a Super Saiyan God." Vegeta clenched his fist tightly and cursed secretly. But the most important question now is that once Kakarot loses, it means that the Earth will not be guaranteed. Here, no one can stop Beerus at all. Piccolo and Son Gohan clenched their fists tightly, although they are well aware that there is an insurmountable gap between them and the Beerus of destruction. However, if this guy insists on destroying the Earth, they will stop it even if they try their best. At this time, Son Gohan hurried to Son Goku, and then gave Son Goku a celestial bean. After eating the fairy beans, Son Goku quickly recovered from his injuries. "Son Goku, you have lost the battle. According to our previous agreement, I will completely destroy this planet." Beerus looked at Son Goku and spoke. "Master Beerus, please raise your hand high. Give me some more time, and I will definitely be your opponent." Son Goku frowned and said to Beerus again, "Although according to the previous agreement, Beerus can indeed destroy the Earth, but he is not reconciled. He does not allow the Earth to be destroyed so easily. Don't be so self-righteous, Scion. Even if you are given another 10,000 years of cultivation time, you will never be my opponent. I told you long ago that the gods of destruction cannot be defeated. Nothing in this world, BCCH, can defeat the gods of destruction." Beerus said indifferently. Now he doesn't want to give Earth any chance. After all, I have said this before. If he didn't say it, he didn't want to destroy the Earth. But if I let the Earth go now, where will I put my face of gods of destruction in the future? After all, a huge ball of energy condensed directly from the palm of Beerus. The energy ball contains the power to destroy the world. Ron could clearly feel that Beerus was condensing destructive energy at this moment. That is to say, this guy really intends to completely destroy the Earth. What about Ron? That guy is really going to destroy the planet, and all of us will be killed, including 17 and 16. The boy number 18, who has always been relatively calm, also showed a look of anxiety. Although they are artificial humans, it does not mean that they are not afraid of death. What's more, this way of dying is really too embarrassing. He watched himself being killed by others, but there was nothing he could do. "Do not worry. As long as I'm here, no one can kill you." Ron patted number 18's hand lightly and said. And at this moment, Vegeta and Son Gohan have all stood by Son Goku. Apparently, they have a final battle with Beerus. Although they are very clear in their hearts, there is no chance of winning this battle. But as long as there is still a breath, there will be no compromise. "Oh, do you want to die together? If this is the case, then I will fulfill you." Beerus' tone was indifferent, and his eyes became even colder. Almost at the same time as the sound fell, the energy ball in the palm blasted out directly. It seems that Son Goku and others in front of him at this time are like ants that can be crushed to death. After feeling the terror of the destructive energy, Vegeta and the others showed expressions of fear on their faces. Under this kind of energy ball, they have no chance of survival at all, only waiting to die. And just in the nick of time, Ron's body disappeared in a flash. It was time for Son Goku and Vegeta to appear again. Then he slapped casually, and the destructive energy was directly sent flying out. "Nanny, what are you going to do, Ron? Are you trying to disobey my orders? Still trying to stop me from destroying this planet? If you have such an idea, I can only say that you are too stupid." Seeing Ron appearing suddenly and blocking his own attack directly for Son Goku and the others, Beerus' expression changed suddenly. This guy has been in the gods of destruction world for so long, and the strength has also been greatly improved. Now he dares to stop himself openly. It seems that this guy is a little too complacent, forgetful, and takes himself too seriously. "Lord Beerus, I don't want to stop you. You're going to kill Son Goku and Vegeta. It doesn't matter to me at all. But there are some friends of mine on Earth, so please, Lord Beerus, don't destroy the whole Earth." Ron looked at Beerus, then spoke. "Although in the previous life, I really liked Son Goku and Vegeta, the protagonists of the Dragon Ball world. But since I came to this world for 3 years, I no longer like them like I used to. And the world is already cruel. Whether they are dead or alive has nothing to do with me. However, the 18th and 17th can be regarded as their friends. I don't want them to be killed, and I don't want the Earth to be destroyed even more. In any case, I have been on this Earth for a few years, and this is also the planet I am most familiar with. What the gods of destruction said will never be taken back. So don't have such extravagant thoughts. If you insist on stopping me, I don't mind destroying you together. Don't think that you can stop me from destroying just because you have lived in the world of gods of destruction for a few years." Beerus squinted his eyes, and a murderous intent shot out from his eyes. "Although I still prefer Ron this guy, but if he is arrogant and wants to prevent himself from destroying it, then I will never let him go. No one can stop the gods of destruction from wreaking havoc. How about this, Lord Beerus? Didn't you make a bet with Son Goku just now? As long as Son Goku wins, the Earth will not be destroyed. Then let's make another bet. Let's play a game. If I win this game, you can't destroy the Earth. If I lose, the Earth is at your disposal. Of course, the life and death of Son Goku and others has nothing to do with me. Even if I win in the end, you can deal with them as you like." Ron looked at the angry gods of destruction Beerus and said, "The current self is not afraid of Beerus at all. But in any case, I have lived in the gods of destruction world for several years. And in the past few years, gods of destruction Beerus has actually taken care of himself. Moreover, he taught himself his ultimate gods of destruction skill. Although he may have made such a decision because he wanted to eat delicious food, no matter what his purpose is, he has indeed learned the gods of destruction skill. It is obviously not appropriate to turn against him now, and it doesn't fit my personality either. Nanny, you mean you want to fight me? Or do you think you have the strength to defeat me? Stop joking, Ron. Although you have practiced for 6 years, if you want to defeat me, you are probably daydreaming." A look of surprise appeared on Beerus' face, and then he said confidently, "I have to say that Ron is really strong. Although Son Goku has become Super Saiyan God, but compared with Ron, there is no comparison at all. This guy is probably the only one in the 7th universe who needs to show some real strength to fight. Don't jump to conclusions, Beerus scales. And I know you must have not enjoyed the battle just now. So let me play with you. Anyway, no matter whether you win or lose, you are not too bad. Earth is a kingdom of gourmet food. You should already know this. If it is destroyed like this, I guess you will feel it as a pity, right?" Ron smiled and spoke. "Now I have absolute certainty to defeat Beerus. Because his fighting power is about the same as his own, and at the same time they both mastered the gods of destruction skill. What's more important? I have mastered one more divine skill than him. That is the perfect ultra instinct. If you match it with flash skills, Beerus has no chance of winning in front of him." After hearing Ron's words, Beerus was slightly taken aback. Because Ron was telling the truth. In the battle between myself and Son Goku just now, I really didn't enjoy myself at all. I didn't even feel the joy of fighting. It just aroused my desire to fight. If you don't have a hearty battle, you will indeed feel uncomfortable for a long time. Furthermore, it is undeniable that the Earth is indeed the food kingdom of the 7th universe. In the previous hundreds of millions of years, I have never found a planet with so many delicacies like the Earth. It would be a pity if it was destroyed like this. The reason why he is so determined to destroy the Earth. The The main reason is that I have already said this before. If I repent now, my face as gods of destruction will be lost. What Ron said at this time can be regarded as a step down for himself. Son Goku and Vegeta waited nervously for Beerus' results. In fact, they were very surprised at first. Unexpectedly, at the most critical moment, it was Ron who stood up. And will Beerus agree? Even if Beerus agrees, is Ron sure of defeating Beerus? That guy is a gods of destruction of the universe, after all. The real strength lies there. Son Goku understands the horrors of gods of destruction better than anyone else. Although she always felt that Ron might be strong. But compared to gods of destruction Beerus, that's an unknown. Master Beerus, why don't you have a competition? If the earth is destroyed, there will be no way to eat so many delicacies in the future. It's a pity to think about it. Whis on the side also spoke at this time. For a foodie, the temptation of food is simply irresistible. The delicacies produced on the earth seem to be more diverse than the delicacies produced by Ron. And the taste is not inferior to the food made by Ron. He has also lived for hundreds of millions of years, and has never seen a planet with so many delicacies. It's a pity if I finally come across one, and it gets destroyed. Cut. Beerus curled his lips. After thinking about it for a long time, he said to Ron with a haughty face, if that's the case, then I agree to your challenge. But I still say that gods of destruction is an invincible existence in this universe. There is absolutely no way that anything can surpass gods of destruction, and you are the same. I said, that's not necessarily true. Master Beerus, don't forget that I also learned the gods of destruction skill, and at the same time I also mastered the perfect ultra instinct. After hearing Beerus agree, Ron smiled and said, overreaching. If that's the case, then come on. It just so happens that I can see what kind of improvement you have made in the past 6 years, and actually challenge me. Beerus smiled contemptuously, then waved to Ron. Be careful. Number 18 reminded in a low voice. Although I also feel that this cat person makes me very disliked, but it is undeniable that he is indeed ridiculously strong, terrifyingly strong. Don't worry, he can't hurt me, and he probably won't hurt me either. Ron smiled confidently. Then he walked directly in front of Beerus. But at this time, Bulma and Chi-Chi couldn't see the situation at all. What the hell is going on here? Aren't they two in the same gang? Why are the two of them fighting again now? Bulma asked with a puzzled look. Judging by the way Ron beat Vegeta earlier, he wasn't everyone's friend. But why now he wants to protect the Earth and fight against gods of destruction? Mr. Ron probably wants to protect the Earth. I think Mr. Ron seems to have an unusual relationship with Android 18. Maybe that's why he wants to protect the Earth. After hearing Bulma's doubts, Dend, the god beside him, explained. Perhaps this is the only explanation. Otherwise, Ron doesn't need to protect this Earth. Whis, do me a favor. Please create an energy barrier. Before the battle between me and Master Beerus is over, please ensure that the Earth will not be destroyed. Ron turned his head and said to Whis, know that you and Beerus are equal in strength now. If two people really fight with all their strength, let alone a mere Earth, even the entire 7th universe may collapse in the battle between the two of them. And this should never happen. Beerus also nodded towards Whis, signaling that he could do the same. Whis nodded, and nodded lightly with the staff he held casually. A huge energy shield appeared in midair. Whoosh. Then the bodies of the two flashed at the same time, and they directly got into the energy protection cover. Come on, Master Beerus. I've been looking forward to this battle for a long time. Ron smiled excitedly, and said to Beerus, okay, just let me accept the results of your cultivation in the past 6 years. After Beerus finished speaking, he also became serious, because he knew that Ron was completely different from the Scion just now. His strength far surpasses the so-called Super Saiyan God, and it can be said that he is not of the same level at all. So I have to deal with it seriously. This guy has mastered the ultra instinct that he didn't even learn, and that ability to jump through time. Although it is said that this ability did not have much effect on him 6 years ago, that's because the gap in strength between him and himself is too great. But after 6 years of training, this guy must have become stronger, and the ability to control time is estimated to have improved. If you don't take it seriously, you will lose face if you capsize in the gutter. At this time, in the group watching the 870 on the side, Dad, which one do you think will win, Ron or Lord Beerus? Son Gohan asked from the side. In fact, he really wanted to know the answer to this question, because if Ron wins, then the Earth is saved. I just learned that Videl is pregnant. If the Earth disappears like this, he will definitely not accept it. So in his psychology, he is very much looking forward to Ron's victory. I can't give a definite answer either, Gohan. I haven't played against Ron, so I don't know how strong he is. But Master Beerus, I can say very seriously that he is ridiculously strong, completely beyond my imagination. So it's really hard to say who will win this game. Son Goku answered seriously from the side. At this time, he is also very serious, because everyone knows very well that an earth-shattering battle will definitely take place next. In this level of battle, they have never seen it before. Although Son Goku did not give a definite answer, but Son Gohan and others frowned even deeper. You must know that Son Goku is a very unyielding person, but at this moment, he said that Beerus is so powerful. That means gods of destruction Beerus is really ridiculously strong. In contrast, Ron doesn't seem to have much of an advantage. After all, defeating Uncle Vegeta, such a thing, Master Beerus probably can easily do it. Son, what will we do if Ron loses the battle? Do you have any other options? Piccolo on the side also asked. In fact, I'm not afraid of death, but I care about Gohan very much. Now Gohan is going to be a father soon, and I feel happy for Gohan. So he doesn't want the Earth to be destroyed even more. I'm so sorry, Piccolo, there's really nothing I can do about it. If Ron is defeated, no one will be able to stop Master Beerus. Son Goku frowned and said to Piccolo seriously. Although she didn't want to say such discouraging words, it was the truth. He must let everyone know this fact. If Ron is really defeated in the end, then they can only resist desperately. But the final result must be a dead end. There is no doubt about it. At this time, it is inside the energy protection cover. Purple flames burned directly around Beerus' body. At this time, his divine aura was countless times stronger than when he was fighting Son Goku just now. Silver flames burned around Ron's body. This time, he didn't hold back at all, and the combat power of the 7,000 ditch broke out in an instant. At this time, Ron can clearly see that Beerus' combat power has reached 8,500 ditch. Although the combat power of the two people is in the same unit value, but Ron's fighting power is still not as strong as Beerus. It looks like my fighting power is still not enough. Although she has the same unit value as Master Beerus, her combat power is 1,500 times higher than mine. And more importantly, maybe he hasn't shown his full strength yet. Ron muttered to himself with a heavy face. Originally thought that after his strength reached 7,000, he should at least be able to reach the level of Beerus. But now it seems that Beerus' strength has reached the extreme of 10 units. Ron was very surprised, but the look of surprise on Beerus' face was stronger than Ron's. The moment he felt Ron's burst of energy, Beerus' face suddenly changed, and there was an incredible look in his eyes. Are you kidding me? In just 6 years, has this guy's strength improved to such a level? Do you feel that his strength is not much weaker than mine? 6 years of strength has actually surpassed several levels. It is simply a perverted existence. Beerus also commented in his heart. Originally thought that although there would be some delay in this battle, Ron is absolutely impossible to be his match. The end result is definitely his own victory. But now he feels that this battle seems to be full of some unknowns. If he relied on energy alone, he was still stronger than Ron. But you must know that this guy has mastered two abilities that he has not mastered. One of these is Angel's Ultra Instinct, and the other is the time jumping ability. You must know that these two abilities play a huge role in the duel between masters. Even if it is a time difference of 0.01 second in this level of battle, it is possible to tell the winner in an instant. It seems that in the next battle with this guy, I must not take it lightly. After thinking of this, Beerus directly stretched out his right hand, the most accurate Ron. A huge destructive energy ball condenses from the palm. At the moment when the energy ball condensed, Son Goku and Vegeta felt the breath of death. and this breath of death is stronger than before. This shows that Beerus is more serious this time than before. Beerus roared angrily and shot the destructive energy directly at Ron. Ron's expression didn't change at all. 5.4 is extremely calm, and the destructive energy is also condensed on the fingertips. Then it shoots out like a bullet. When the two energies came into contact, they disappeared without a trace. Although Gods of Destruction's destructive energy is capable of destroying anything in the universe. But Ron, who has already mastered the destructive energy, did not say that the destructive energy of Gods of Destruction is not a threat at all. Go. Just kidding. That guy Ron has mastered that horrible power too. It's really unimaginable. How could these guys be so strong? Son Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo were all shocked beyond measure. While shocked, they also seemed to see some hope. The stronger Ron was, the better their chances of surviving. Cut. That bastard, Ron, actually used the destructive energy I taught him against me. If I knew this, even if he made any delicacies at that time, I would not agree to him. Seeing that his own destructive energy had no effect, Beerus felt somewhat regretful. But the matter has come to this point. Even if it is regrettable, it is useless. Since he wants to compete with himself in destroying energy, let him know that Gods of Destruction will never lose to him. With this in mind, countless energy balls suddenly appeared around Beerus' body. Every energy ball contains destructive power that can destroy the world. Then with a tap of his fingertips, countless energy balls shot towards Ron. Ron didn't change either. Because although there is a large amount of destructive energy, for myself who has mastered destructive energy, it can be said that these things are not a problem at all. Ron stretched out his 5 fingers, and the destructive energy instantly condensed on his fingertips. Then it shot out like an arrow. The moment the energy ball collided with the energy beam, it disappeared without a trace again. At this moment, Beerus' face turned a little green with anger. If I hadn't taught Ron Gods of Destruction skills in early 12th, I wouldn't have the trouble I'm in now. But it's no use regretting now. The destructive energy and destructive force had no effect on Ron. It seemed that he could only defeat him with pure strength. After gritting his teeth, Beerus' body rushed directly towards Ron. At this time, his speed is very astonishing, almost disappearing in a flash. Except for Ron and Whis, no one present could see Beerus' movements clearly. Without any mercy, he directly kicked Ron with a sweep. Although Beerus was fast, it was not so fast that Ron couldn't react. With a retreat, Ron easily dodged Beerus' attack. After all, Ron has mastered the perfect Ultra Instinct, and this Ultra Instinct has completely become the norm. So dodging Beerus' attack is almost a subconscious behavior. Cut. Damn it. An attack missed, and Beerus' face became even uglier. This guy's Ultra Instinct is indeed very difficult for him. And more importantly, his strength improvement in the past 6 years is much stronger than he imagined. In the case of using Ultra Instinct, it is really not easy for him to defeat him. Even if he can win in the end, it will definitely be a protracted battle. Rush. SHHHHH. However, after one attack failed, Beerus launched another storm-like attack. Every punch, every kick can directly cut the space and make a swishing sound. And Ron just kept dodging. Beerus missed a hit in all estimates. As time went on, Beerus' face became more and more ugly, and his attacks became more and more violent. You know, since being Gods of Destruction, there's nothing but angel Whis. I have never tried my best to fight a person. Unexpectedly, today, with all his strength, he couldn't touch Ron's body. This made him feel that his self-esteem had been greatly frustrated. Hey, if you keep using Ultra Instinct to dodge, this game will be unbeatable. And I can tell you exactly that. As Gods of Destruction, I will infinitely improve my combat experience in battle. So even if you make this game a protracted one, you will definitely lose in the end. Hundreds of attacks failed to hit Ron, and Beerus also became irritable at this time. Immediately stopped attacking, then said to Ron. He didn't talk big either. After casting the form of Gods of Destruction, he can indeed do anything without restriction. And the energy is definitely not exhausted. Therefore, even if Ron drags on in this battle, he will never have a chance of winning. And the longer the delay, the more unfavorable the situation will be for him. Makes sense. In that case, let's decide the winner quickly. Ron nodded and spoke. In fact, I'm not afraid of a stalemate in protracted battle with Beerus. Because I have the enhanced version of Angel's Blood, I also have unlimited physical strength. And the speed at which he improves in battle is definitely much faster than Beerus. So even if this battle becomes a protracted war, I will never say it. And as the battle continues, one's own strength will become stronger and stronger. But now I don't want to keep procrastinating like this. You wanted to have a good fight with Beerus. Feel the true power of the strongest Gods of Destruction Beerus. Call out. Almost as soon as the sound fell, Ron's body suddenly disappeared in place. That's right. This time it completely disappeared in place and disappeared directly from this space. Because his breath has been completely unable to be captured. Even Whis couldn't catch Ron's breath in a very short time. Cut. Is it this annoying flash skill again? I told you 6 years ago that this ability has no effect on Gods of Destruction. Beerus said contemptuously. Perhaps the flash skill is fatal to ordinary people, but for Gods of Destruction, it is not worth mentioning at all. Because of this ability, I have seen it 6 years ago. Yeah. Master Beerus, you are so self-righteous. I'm completely different now than I was 6 years ago. Ron's voice suddenly came from behind him. Without any hesitation, Beerus turned around and punched him behind him. The fist pierced Ron's body instantly, but there was no resistance at all. In that 957 seconds, Beerus' face changed wildly. Then he cried out in surprise. Afterimage? That's right. What he just hit was just an afterimage of Ron. Rush. Snapped. And almost at the moment Beerus was surprised, Ron's body suddenly appeared on his right side. Without any warning, he directly kicked Beerus on the cheek. Beerus' body was directly swept away by this kick. The body retreated a distance of hundreds of megabytes before barely stopping. Nanny? Looking at the scene in front of them, Son Goku and Vegeta all had expressions of disbelief on their faces. All of them opened their mouths wide in shock. Unexpectedly, Gods of Destruction Beerus was kicked and flew out. And what makes Son Goku and Piccolo feel extremely horrified is that, at the moment when Ron attacked just now, his divine aura completely disappeared. That's right, it completely disappeared in this space. Although Ron's speed makes it impossible for them to catch it all, because there is a world of difference in strength between them. But no matter how fast they are, as long as they're still on the earth, the two of them can catch Ron's breath. But at the moment Ron attacked, within about 0.1 second, Ron's aura completely disappeared. It's like it never existed. Piccolo, at that moment just now, did Ron's aura completely disappear? After Son Goku was shocked, he quickly looked at Piccolo and asked, because he knows very well that among all people, only Piccolo can feel the breath of God. And after I experienced becoming a Super Saiyan God just now, I can vaguely feel the breath of God. But at that moment just now, Ron's aura did completely disappear. You must know that no matter how fast a person is, it is absolutely impossible for him to completely disappear in an instant. Because when exerting strength or speed, a more powerful chi will actually erupt at that moment. The breath should become stronger, not disappear. Yes, Ron's aura did disappear just now. It's as if for a moment you don't exist in this space. Piccolo also nodded dully. To be honest, he also felt incredible and unbelievable. What kind of strength does it have that can make people unable to feel his aura in an instant? As for Vegeta on the side, his face became even uglier. This level of fighting is completely beyond his comprehension. Whether it is the speed displayed by Ron or Beerus-sama, it is beyond what I can see through. As for the aura of the two people, it is the aura of God. I am just a human being, so I can't feel their anger at all. So I don't know what Kakarot and Piccolo mean by what they said. Watch Piccolo and Son Goku in total astonishment. Whis on the side explained calmly. Ron did disappear just now, because he jumped in time to attack, so the two of you couldn't feel his breath at all. Not to mention the two of you. Even Master Beerus couldn't feel Ron's anger just now. Whis' words shocked the two of them even more. What kind of method is it to be able to jump in time to attack? They never thought that they still have such abilities. If you can jump time to attack, wouldn't it be an invincible existence? There is no way to crack it at all. No wonder even gods of destruction Beerus suffered just now. But at this time in the energy barrier, Beerus' face became even uglier. Although he has long known that Ron has the ability to jump time, but he never paid attention to it. Because as long as his speed exceeds the time Ron jumped, then his jumping time probably won't have any effect on him. But as this guy's strength has improved in the past 6 years, it can be said that his dimension has reached my own level. Now if this guy uses his flash time skills on this basis, it really makes him feel a little tricky. Damn, you bastard. Unexpectedly, he was actually hit by Ron, and there was a burning tingling sensation on his face. Beerus gritted his teeth tightly and clenched his fists. Obviously, he was really a little angry at this time. In the hundreds of millions of years since he became gods of destruction, he has never had a human being let himself feel pain. Ron is definitely number one. And what's even more damning is that this guy has found this level, and he has a certain amount of credit. When he thought of this, he became even more angry. Accompanied by Beerus' anger, the purple arrogance around his body increased even more. At this time, Beerus' combat power was also soaring crazily. The combat effectiveness of the original 8,500 ditch was quickly increased to more than 9,700 ditch. Breaking through to the next unit is already within reach. Call out. The next moment after raising his breath, Beerus' body suddenly disappeared in place. This time his speed became faster. When it reappeared, it was already in front of Ron, and without any warning, it returned the same punch. Seeing this, Ron immediately took a few steps back to avoid Beerus' attack. But he didn't expect that the attack just now was just the afterimage of Beerus. Beerus' body appeared directly behind this Ron, and he kicked heavily on Ron's back. Boom. Accompanied by a low crashing sound, Ron's body threw himself forward. It flew a full distance of 100 feet before stopping. There was even a hot feeling coming from the back of the stage. Is it going all the way? It seems that Lord Beerus is a quick learner. With the same corners of his mouth, Ron smiled and said, he wasn't annoyed by an attack. On the contrary, he just felt more and more excited. This kind of evenly matched battle is what makes people feel the most exciting. Don't get too carried away, Ron. It is undeniable that your current strength is indeed very strong, and you are already in the same dimension as me. But what I have to tell you is that you absolutely cannot defeat me, and no human being can defeat me. Beerus said to Ron with a straight face. It is undeniable that Ron's strength is indeed very strong, but the final victory is definitely his own. Yeah. If that's the case, let's try again. After hearing Beerus' confident words, Ron still said with a smile. After several previous bouts, he already knew the strength of Beerus completely. Although the combat power is 2,000 more than his own, logically speaking, his strength is more than 20% higher than his own. This should be a battle without benefits. Because once the difference in combat power between the two exceeds 20%, there will be no suspense in this battle. And it definitely won't be a long game. But things are different now. Not only has he mastered the flash time skill that can jump time, but he has also mastered the ultra instinct that can dodge freely. In this level of battle, these two abilities can completely reduce the gap of 20%. The reason why I let Beerus hit me just now was because I made him feel a little better. But in the future, such a thing will never happen again. Cut. This bastard is too self-righteous. Today I must teach you a good lesson. Seeing Ron's confident smile, Beerus became more and more angry. With a flash of his body, he rushed towards Ron like lightning. The speed is indeed very, very amazing. But Ron's face didn't change in any way. Instead, the smile of Zhao's just now disappeared, and he became extremely calm. It's like a calm trickle in the mountains, without any waves. Rush. Beerus kicked out. Ron passed it several times with ease. Swipe, swipe. Then came another attack after another. No matter the attack was from the front, side, or back, Ron could perfectly dodge it. OMG, how the hell did that guy Ron do it? Does it mean that he also has eyes behind him? You don't need to look at the attacks behind you. You can easily dodge all the attacks of Lord Beerus. The jaws of Son Goku and others were already shocked on the ground. Although the speed of Beerus makes them happy and visible, but Ron just stood there motionless. Just moving the parts of the body in a small range means avoiding all of Beerus' attacks. Whis smiled faintly. This time he didn't open his mouth to tell Son Goku about their Ultra Instinct. By this time, Beerus had performed thousands of attacks, but all of them were easily dodged by Ron. Damn it, bastard. Ultra Instinct is disgusting. At this moment, Beerus had 10,000 muddy horses galloping in his heart. Fighting this guy by myself. Now it's like all the power is hitting the cotton, and it doesn't have any effect at all. Moreover, Ron who cast Ultra Instinct is like a slippery loach, unable to touch his body at all. If this continues, there is no chance of winning this battle. Thinking of such a result, Beerus felt his heart sink. Since becoming gods of destruction, when has he suffered such humiliation? SHHHHHH. But although he was very angry, Beerus' attack speed did not slow down at all. On the contrary, the strength is getting stronger and stronger, and the speed is getting faster and faster. Master Beerus, although my basic strength is indeed not as good as yours, but 070 is this game, you will definitely not be able to beat my peak Ultra Instinct. Then let's end this battle soon. Ron said to Beerus with a serious face. Exercising free and extreme intentions by yourself will not consume physical energy at all. Because Ultra Instinct has now become its normal state, there will be no energy and physical consumption at all when it is used. But the battle is always over. So let's end it as soon as possible. I told you a long time ago, don't get too carried away. Although Ultra Instinct makes people feel difficult, it is absolutely impossible for you to defeat me. Beerus is still talking hard at this moment. In other words, he is still so confident. Although Ron, who cast Ultra Instinct, couldn't defeat it himself. But Ultra Instinct is just an ability to avoid attacks freely. It is absolutely impossible for Ron to defeat himself. Try it, Ron said, and his body disappeared in an instant. At the moment when the body flashed out, countless afterimages were left on the spot. When it reappeared, it was behind Beerus' body. This time Ron directly used Ultra Instinct and Flash Time. Even with any one of these abilities, it would be quite difficult for Beerus to deal with it, not to mention the combined effect of the two abilities. Boom, boom. Without any accident, Ron directly kicked Beerus' waist heavily. Beerus' body was thrown into the air immediately, and Ron's body disappeared again, appearing above Beerus' head, and while clenching his fists, he directly smashed heavily on Beerus' chest. Boom, boom. The body smashed heavily on the energy wall of the energy protection barrier, and there was a piercing humming sound. Even with the protection of the energy barrier, the entire earth was shaken violently a few times. Amazing. Ron has the upper hand in front of Lord Beerus. If this continues, Ron can definitely win this game. Son Goku no longer knew what words to use to describe the horror in his heart. Because I know how powerful Beerus-sama is. After becoming Super Saiyan before, his strength is ridiculously strong. Compared with himself in Super Saiyan 3, he has only improved 10,000 times. But even so, in front of Master Beerus, he is still vulnerable. It is no exaggeration to say that he can easily defeat himself with just one finger. But now in the battle between Ron and Master Beerus, BCG, Master Beerus was almost crushed. Because since just now, he has launched hundreds of attacks, but none of them hit Ron. Instead, Ron seized the opportunity and launched a fierce counterattack directly. Although I don't know how Ron did it, but the guy's behavior just now is too mysterious. It was as if the whole body was covered with eyes, and every attack of Master Beerus was clearly seen by him. When the attack is about to touch the body, it can be easily dodged in an instant. According to my previous fighting experience, Master Beerus has no responsibility this time. This point, Vegeta is also very clear. At this time, he was both surprised and uncomfortable. This must be a joke, right? The opponent is Gods of Destruction Beerus. That guy Ron didn't lose the slightest bit, but completely suppressed Beerus. I was actually provoking this pervert before. Vegeta clenched her fists tightly and whispered to herself. Speaking of which, he was really lucky. If Ron wanted to kill himself, he would probably be able to do it with his fingers. Thinking of my arrogant attitude before, I am really lucky to be able to survive till now. Although he is very excited that Ron has such a powerful ability, but seeing that even Gods of Destruction Beerus was suppressed by Ron, he felt more or less comfortable in his heart. After all, if this guy can even defeat Gods of Destruction Beerus, then there's nothing wrong with beating yourself. But in the future, I am determined not to do such a stupid thing. Because if this guy is really angered, maybe he will wipe himself out easily by then. And at this time in the Supreme Kai world, how is this possible? Isn't that guy Lord Beerus' bodyguard or candidate? Why is he stronger than Lord Beerus? And he stopped Lord Beerus from destroying the earth, which is beyond amazing. At this time, the shock on the old Supreme Kai's face is also a little unbelievable. From the current picture, it can be seen that the guy named Ron doesn't seem to be afraid of Lord Beerus, and he seems to have more power than Lord Beerus. But this is definitely a joke. In the entire universe, how could there be someone more powerful than Lord Beerus? That Mr. Ron is really amazing. I originally thought that Goku and Vegeta should be considered the strongest in the entire universe, but now it seems that there is no comparison between them and Mr. Ron at all. 17. God Jebbet also said in shock. It seems that my previous self was indeed short-sighted and shallow-sighted. Are you kidding? Son Goku and Vegeta are just Scion. As for that Ron, he surpassed the existence of Gods of Destruction. It is no exaggeration to say that he also has the strength to easily destroy the entire universe. And haven't you noticed before that Ron is the same as Master Beerus? He also has the power of Gods of Destruction. In other words, although he is not Gods of Destruction yet, he has the same ability as Gods of Destruction. You're an idiot for comparing Son Goku to Vegeta with him. The old Supreme Kai turned around and said to God Jebbet. This time, he even missed himself. I didn't expect that Ron to be so powerful. It is estimated that in the entire universe, no one can compete with him. Son Goku and Vegeta are also powerful on the earth, and they can be regarded as the best among human beings. There is no comparison with Ron at all. Yes, what the ancestor said is true. There really isn't any comparison. Jebbet, God, nodded quickly. Firstly, he didn't want to refute the Lord Ancestor, and secondly, what the Lord Ancestor said was indeed correct. Judging from the current situation, even if Goku becomes Super Saiyan God, there is a world of difference between him and Ron. Master Ancestor, do you think the earth will be destroyed by Lord Beerus this time? Could it be that even if Master Beerus loses the battle, he will still destroy the earth? Jebbet asked again. Because the ancestors said before, the form of Gods of Destruction can do things according to one's own preferences. So I don't believe that this kind of guy will abide by the rules and keep his promise. Maybe even if he loses the battle, he will do the same and want to destroy the earth. After all, Beerus who lost the game will definitely be furious. Feeling humiliated, then do something crazy. After hearing the words of God Jebbet, the old Supreme Kai buried his head and suddenly drummed. Something like this is absolutely possible. If it's someone else, it's likely to keep the promise. But promises don't limit Gods of Destruction Beerus at all. Because even if he doesn't keep his promise, no one can do anything to win him. Hopefully, Ron can handle it. After seeing Lord Ancestor's expression, God Jebbet also knew the answer. I prayed in my heart. Ron was so powerful. Maybe he had other ways to contain Lord Beerus. Then let him do things that won't harm the planet. And this time on Earth, Beerus wiped the corner of his mouth lightly. The eyes have been narrowed into a slit, the gaze is cold, and the surrounding air suddenly drops. Clearly, this time Beerus was downright serious. Master Beerus, the current situation is very clear. With me mastering Ultra Instinct, it is absolutely impossible for you to defeat me. Although I don't expect you to take the initiative to admit defeat, let's just let it go. Ron looked at Beerus, then spoke calmly. If the fight continues, Beerus has absolutely no chance of winning. Admit defeat. It seems that not only your strength has improved, but your ability to make jokes has also improved. How could you say such a stupid thing? Beerus sneered, feeling the sneer outright. Although this guy said he didn't expect to admit defeat on his own initiative, but what he meant was very clear, that is to say that he lost the competition. As the most powerful Gods of Destruction, how could he admit such a thing? Fine. Then what do you think of this? I take the initiative to admit defeat, but you can no longer destroy the earth. Seeing Beerus' stubborn look, Ron could only say so. Defeating Gods of Destruction Beerus. Defeating him in public is not a big deal. It doesn't do me any good, but it will make the conflict between me and Beerus stalemate. From now on, at least Beerus treats himself well. Even if he has some purpose, this is normal. To know how serious ordinary people are in Gods of Destruction Beerus, they are like ants. Just like when Kompa saw himself. Giggle, you bastard. How dare you say such a thing? Do I need you to let me win? I will, definitely beat you to the ground. After hearing Ron's words, Beerus' anger seemed to grow even higher. If what Ron said earlier made him feel angry, then what this guy said just now made me feel hugely humiliated. Didn't he say that to let himself admit that he is stronger than himself? It seems that if you don't teach him a good lesson today, this matter cannot be stopped. Beerus, whose anger had almost reached max, flashed and rushed towards Ron in an instant, then launched a stormy attack. It seems that anger can indeed increase strength, whether it is a human being or a god. In the case of this kind of anger, the strength can be skyrocketed. This is Ron's speed at this time, and it has reached a level that Beerus can't touch, so he can't be his opponent at all. No matter how tricky and weird the attack is, it can be easily caught by Ron. Hateful. Obviously, I've also cast Ultra Instinct, but I can't touch this guy at all. It's only been 6 years. Why did he grow so amazingly? At this moment, Beerus became more and more frightened. You must know that you have also mastered the very easy skill of freedom. 0. Although there is no such thing as Whis and Ron, master the perfect Ultra Instinct. But I have also reached the point of getting started. Coupled with his own strength, the effect displayed is also very terrifying. But now he still can't touch Ron. Over time, Beerus' active estimation has turned into passive defense. Ron launched a counterattack, and the speed was getting faster and faster. At this moment, Beerus can only parry and has no power to fight back. And it has been attacked dozens of times before and after. Although he didn't want to admit it, Ron's strength has indeed surpassed himself. Even if this battle continues, he will not be able to win the final victory in the end. Boom. Call out. Just then, Ron kicked Beerus in the chest again. Beerus' body burst out a distance of several hundred feet. But Ron didn't stop because of this, but with a flash of his body, he was in front of Beerus again. This time, with all the strength in his body, he punched Beerus in the head. There is always a silver flame in the air. If this punch was hit, even Gods of Destruction Beerus would probably have to shed a layer of skin. But at this time, and under such circumstances, Beerus had no chance to evade at all. He could only watch Ron's fist grow bigger and bigger in sight. Call out. Boom boom. The fists whizzed past, and the barrier behind the fist shocking Beerus buzzed. This time, Beerus has no chance. Ron's fist stopped 5 centimeters from Beerus' brow, because if this punch is really on Beerus' forehead, it is estimated that even if he is not dead, he will be injured. It's not a good thing to tear yourself apart from Beerus, and I definitely don't want to do it. Although I am not afraid of him at all now, but anyway, he can be regarded as my half-master. And my purpose today is to keep him from destroying the earth, not to hurt Beerus. Master Beerus, the outcome has been decided, it's over. Ron withdrew his fist and breath at the same time, looked at Beerus with somewhat complicated eyes and said, in fact, I had already given him a chance just now. Things have developed to this point, and they are out of their control. Beerus looked at Ron, then lowered his hands, his breath calmed down. Indeed, this battle has ended 6-5-7. I lost. Although this is the result that I am very unwilling to admit. But the truth is in front of your eyes, and it is seen by everyone. And Whis shook his head helplessly when he saw the battle was over. Then the staff in his hand tapped lightly, and the energy barrier in midair disappeared instantly. In fact, such a result also made me feel very embarrassed. After all, Lord Beerus is the Gods of Destruction, and part of Ron's strength is also guided by himself. Phew, you won. Earth saved. Beerus took a long breath, then looked up at Ron and said, However, it could be seen that he was still a little frustrated. After all, Beerus never thought that he would lose to anyone other than Angel. Thanks. Ron said seriously. It seems that after today, there will be some grievances between myself and Beerus. Beerus didn't speak anymore, but with a flash of his body, he appeared directly in front of this Whis. Simply said 4 words. Let's go Whis. In this scene, Ron actually felt that Beerus was a bit lonely, but he is gods of destruction with a relatively big nerve, so he should be able to forget about this matter soon. Whis looked at Ron, but didn't say much, because it is really not suitable to say anything else on this occasion. He knew Lord Beerus better than anyone. Although it seemed that he was very calm at this time, the calmer he was, the more uncomfortable Master Beerus felt. Then the staff in his hand lightly tapped the ground, and a brilliant ray of light directly enveloped the two of them. Then it turned into a stream of light and disappeared on the earth in an instant. It seems that in the next long period of time, the world of gods of destruction will not welcome me very much. With the same long sigh of relief, Ron murmured to himself with a wry smile. Great, Mr. Ron won. Now that the earth is saved, we all don't have to die. After seeing this result, Son Gohan and others were full of excitement. You must know that when Son Goku was defeated, they all thought that the earth was going to be destroyed. Unexpectedly, Ron stepped forward at that time, and he actually defeated gods of destruction Beerus. That guy Ron is too strong, isn't he? Unbelievable. Son Goku stared at Ron bewilderedly. Ron really made him feel too shocked today. Even stronger than gods of destruction Beerus. It has become so powerful that they are no longer in the same dimension as them. Vegeta, it seems our strength is still too weak. We must work harder to improve our strength and find a way to catch up with Ron and Master Beerus. Hey, today's battle really made my blood boil. One day, I will definitely have such a hearty battle with them. Son Goku turned his head and glanced at Vegeta, and then said excitedly, Stop daydreaming, Kakarot. I know it's cute that you think you're stupid, but what you just said was so idiotic. How big is the gap between us and the two of them? I guess you know better than anyone else. Do you think the two of them will stand still and wait for us to overtake? Cut. Vegeta looked at the excited Son Goku and poured cold water on him. Although I am the prince of the fighting nation, I have my own arrogance and self-esteem. But Kakarot's words are a little too self-deceiving. Trying to overtake Ron and Beerus is just a dream. Although I really want to do that. But that's almost impossible to do, because the gap between them can no longer be made up by combat power. It's just a dimensional gap. Forehead. The embarrassment on Son Goku's face. Unexpectedly, Vegeta, who has always been aggressive and unwilling to admit defeat, would say such discouraged words. But Vegeta was right. It is indeed not an easy thing to surpass Ron and Beerus. After all, they have practiced for more than 40 years, and now their strength has only reached Super Saiyan 3, and Ron and Beerus are a million times stronger than them. Unless properly directed otherwise, it is absolutely impossible to surpass these two guys. Thinking of this, Son Goku looked at Ron. Although if you practice by yourself, you may never be able to reach the state of Beerus and Ron, but with their guidance, maybe I really have a chance to reach their level. And at this moment, Son Gohan walked in front of Ron, and then said respectfully and gratefully, Thank you, Mr. Ron. You once again saved the earth and all of us. On behalf of everyone on the planet, thank you for coming to the rescue. It can be seen that Son Gohan's words are very sincere. You don't have to thank me. I am saving the earth, not trying to save you. Ron glanced at Son Gohan, then said in a flat tone. At this time, Son Gohan looked sluggish, emaciated, and wearing a gray shirt. The whole person looks so weak that it feels like any wind can blow him down. This is completely different from the divine food in my previous memory. There is no comparison with Son Gohan in Dragon Ball's Future Time and Space, 5.9, without that kind of fighting spirit and blood. Seeing Son Gohan like this, Ron is more or less a pity. Such a good talent was wasted by him. More importantly, although he won the battle with Beerus just now, he was not happy at all. So naturally there is no good tone when speaking. After speaking, Ron walked up to number 18. Then he said, Let's go back first. Because in a short time, I definitely won't be able to go to the gods of destruction world. Even if Beerus didn't blame himself, he felt that what he did today did hurt Beerus a bit. After a while, go to the gods of destruction world yourself. Number 18 nodded, and then the bodies of the two disappeared on the cruise ship in an instant. And Ron, Son Goku, and Vegeta seemed thoughtful as they watched away. Kakarot, what are you thinking as you look in the direction Ron left? Vegeta glanced back at Son Goku and asked in a cold voice. Hey, we all think the same thing, don't we? Vegeta. Son Goku smiled cheaply and said to Vegeta. In fact, the two of them had the same idea at this moment. Cut. You bastard. Everything is for you to come first, but this time I will definitely not let you. Seeing Son Goku's mean smile, Vegeta's anger is not in one place. This guy turned him into a Super Saiyan God just now, and he was already extremely upset. More importantly, after becoming Super Saiyan God, although he was easily defeated by gods of destruction Beerus. So in this matter right now, I will definitely not let him succeed first. And this time in the universe, the figures of Whis and Beerus are galloping at extreme speed. Master Beerus, did 12 take a big hit today? I never imagined that you would be defeated by Ron, did you? Whis turned his head and asked with a slight smile. To be honest, since Master Beerus became gods of destruction, I have been by his side. In all the battles Lord Beerus has fought, none of them have been lost. The only time he lost was because of wrestling with gods of destruction Quitella from the 4th universe. He actually lost to Ron today, so his mood must be extremely bad. After all, Ron is considered Master Beerus' apprentice. His gods of destruction ability was given to him by Beerus himself. And the reason why Ron's strength has improved so quickly is that it is inseparable from the opposite of Lord Beerus during that time, and the various ravages that Lord Beerus had done to Ron. Cut. Beerus snorted coldly. Then the corners of his mouth twitched slightly. Then he said to Whis lightly. In fact, such a result has long been in my expectation. With Ron's cultivation speed, I already knew that he would surpass me one day. I just didn't expect him to be ahead of me in only 6 years. And what makes me most angry is not that he defeated me, but that this guy actually fought me because of a small planet and defeated me in front of so many people. Where will I put my face of gods of destruction? When it came to the end, Beerus' tone was somewhat angry. After all, I am the gods of destruction, so I have to save face. Today he actually defeated himself in front of so many people on the earth. Wouldn't it be better if this matter didn't get out? If it reaches the ears of other gods of destruction, they will definitely laugh at them. Those guys are not friendly to me one by one. Actually 6 years ago, I trained with Ron for a year, and at that time I felt that Ron's talent was outrageous. It can simply be called a monster. At that time, his strength had surpassed a part of gods of destruction. So it will be a matter of time before his strength surpasses his own. I was defeated by that guy today, although it made me feel a little unbelievable, but it was also expected. At that time, I was more or less frustrated and a little angry. But if you think about it, it's actually nothing. It's a good thing for the 7th universe that this guy has become so strong. At least with his own strength, he can slightly improve the comprehensive human level of the 7th universe. Who? Master Beerus is not angry. It's beyond my expectation. I thought you would be so angry that you wouldn't be able to eat for a few days. After hearing what Beerus said, Whis had a look of surprise on his face. This time Master Beerus' attitude was indeed completely beyond his expectations. He thought Lord Beerus would be furious after losing to Ron. I didn't expect to be so calm now, and it seems that this kind of thing has long been expected by him. Cut. Don't talk to me in a strange way. Did you know that guy's strength has actually surpassed mine? Beerus pouted, then stared at Whis and said, This guy must know that Ron has surpassed himself. He didn't stop the fight at the time, and this guy was also responsible. Hoo. Whis didn't answer directly, but just covered his mouth and smiled. But his smile actually gave the answer. Before the two of them fought, he had actually foreseen the outcome of the battle. Although in terms of basic strength, Master Beerus is indeed a little stronger than Ron. But Ron mastered the Ultra Instinct perfectly. Although most people may think that Ultra Instinct can only increase defense and automatic dodge. If you think so, you are wrong. The The perfect Ultra Instinct can increase a person's strength, speed, physical strength, and various functions of the body, plus 0.1 seconds of flash power. Beerus-sama is no match at all. Although the flash time of 0.1 seconds sounds like the 850 is very short for the jumping time. But if the strength reaches their level, let alone 0.1 second, even 0.001 second can determine the outcome of a battle. Sure enough, you two bastards. Beerus cursed coldly. There's always a feeling of being cheated. Lord Beerus, it's actually a good thing that the Earth hasn't been destroyed. I guess Ron will feel guilty now too. And the Earth can be regarded as the gourmet kingdom of our 7th universe. When we want to eat delicious food in the future, we can go directly to the Earth. Besides, losing to Ron is much better than losing to Lord Compa, right? Now that the Earth has not been destroyed, the next time we have a food competition with Mr. Compa, as long as we take out any food on the Earth, we can easily win. So it should be the best of both worlds. More precisely, this should kill 3 birds with 1 stone. Whis explained to Beerus. What you said seems to make a lot of sense. After thinking about it, Beerus nodded. Losing to Ron is a disgraceful thing though, but it was better than losing to that Compa guy. At least Ron shouldn't be madly mocking himself because of this matter. Snort. But you fellow, don't think that I can forgive you in this way. You and Ron teamed up to deceive me. I will definitely settle the score with you two in the future. Beerus still said unforgivingly. When I think of Whis, who actually followed Ron to trick me, I feel very upset. You must know that I have been with Whis for hundreds of millions of years, and Ron had only known him for a few years. Unexpectedly, this guy started eating inside and out. Hey, Master Beerus, have you forgotten that you are not my opponent at all? And now you can't even beat Ron, so stop thinking about it. Otherwise, you will be the one who will be injured. After hearing Beerus' uncomfortable threat, Whis said with a smile. And his words, and that kind of smile made Beerus very upset, but hard to refute. Angel strength is already far stronger than gods of destruction, so I never thought about defeating Whis. And now, Ron's strength is stronger than himself. More importantly, this guy's cultivation speed is very fast. It can be called abnormal. Asterisk greater than or equal to m, less than or equal to asterisk. If you give him a few more years, it is estimated that it is impossible for him to be his opponent. Looking at Beerus, who was gnashing his teeth angrily, Whis smiled. Then suddenly a lunchbox appeared in his hand. Said, I know Master Beerus is also working hard today, and he must be in a bad mood. So I packed a lot of delicacies, including the pudding that we didn't eat, so that Beerus can continue to enjoy it after returning to God Realm. It is estimated that after eating delicious food, the mood will be much better. Nanny, looking at the lunchbox in Whis' hand, Beerus showed a look of surprise on his face. Then I was a little moved. Unexpectedly, this guy Whis still cares about himself. Knowing that I must have worked hard after fighting for such a long time, I packed some delicacies for myself. In this way, his mood improved a lot in an instant. I didn't expect you to be quite caring. For the sake of delicious food, I won't give birth to you for the time being. But that guy Ron wants to get my forgiveness. He must also come up with better food. Otherwise, I will never forgive him. Beerus' tone was still arrogant, but that greedy gaze never left the lunchbox. I don't even know what pudding tastes like. That guy called Majin View is just too much. Speaking of which, he was the one who provoked all these incidents. If he had given himself a pudding then, such a thing would not have happened today. Maybe there is no need to fight at all, and everything is over. In retrospect, it was really a bloody crime caused by pudding. Oh, don't worry, Master Beerus. Ron will definitely bring some delicious food to the door to apologize. 17. But speaking of it, Ron is still very kind-hearted. I can see that the reason why he fought you was to protect the Earth, and he stopped in the end, and he didn't deliberately embarrass you. Whis explained seriously, because after he defeated Master Beerus, he could clearly see the guilt in his eyes. He probably felt that he had practiced with Lord Beerus for a while after all, but now I want to defeat him, so I am very entangled in my heart. Beerus didn't speak, but his face obviously improved a lot. The bodies of the two disappeared in a flash, and disappeared into the universe in an instant. Time passed by every minute and every second, and the day passed quickly. Although there were some twists and turns in Bulma's birthday party today, fortunately, it was successfully completed in the end. Son Goku and others also returned to their homes one after another. This time, Vegeta, who returned to the capsule company, did not directly return to the gravity room to practice. Instead, he took the initiative to find Bulma. Vegeta, I didn't expect you to be so active tonight. I didn't go to call you, you came. Seeing Vegeta walk into the bedroom on his own initiative, Bulma said shyly. You know, all along, I have to call Vegeta from the gravity room before going to bed. Cut. Childish. Looking at the shy Bulma Vegeta, she blushed instantly. Bulma, although I like her tough character very much, but sometimes it's just too straightforward. Even I can't bear it. I haven't seen you blushing that often, Vegeta. Okay, come up quickly. You worked hard today. Let me give you a good massage. Bulma beckoned to Vegeta. In fact, as a wife, she still understands Vegeta very well. Vegeta's character is very proud, and his self-esteem is stronger than anyone else. Today, he was easily defeated by Ron first. Immediately after Sun Jun became Super Saiyan God, a more powerful gods of destruction appeared. A series of events all happened on the same day. This naturally dealt a very big blow to Vegeta. After all, he used to think that this was the most powerful existence in the universe besides Sun Jun. But in just half a day, his ranking dropped directly from 2nd to 4th. This change is a very heavy blow to Vegeta, who has a strong self-esteem. As a wife, she is naturally obliged to comfort Vegeta at this time. Cut. Vulgar. I don't need your massage. Vegeta pouted arrogantly, then folded her hands on her chest. Although it has been more than 10 years since he was married, this kind of thing still made him feel ashamed. And most of the time it is Bulma who takes the initiative. You are really strange. You are an old couple, and you are still so hypocritical. Okay. Bulma gave Vegeta a big roll of the eyes. Hey, I'm looking for you today because I have something very important to do. Tomorrow you will prepare me the largest villa in the Western City, and I will use it. Even if you eat soft rice, your tone must be tough. This is the characteristic of Vegeta, a typical representative of soft food but hard food. What do you want the villa for? There are so many houses in the family, and I have furnished the training room for you. Do you want to move out? Bulma asked suspiciously. Why does Vegeta suddenly want a villa at this moment? Are you splitting up? Just kidding, impossible. Don't worry about it so much. Just get ready tomorrow. I'm going to practice hard tonight. Go to bed early. After Vegeta finished speaking, she walked out of the bedroom arrogantly. I have to say, compared with Son Goku, Vegeta is really a winner in life. Cut. It's really inexplicable. You Scions are all wood. Watching Vegeta push the door straight out, Bulma rolled his eyes heavily and muttered. Although I don't require Vegeta to understand romance, take me shopping, or watch movies. But you at least care about your wife, don't you? But this guy has never said a single word of concern since he got married. It's just too much. On the other hand, Ron doesn't have Vegeta's treatment. He was directly assigned to a room next door by number 18. Although she admits that she likes Ron, number 18 usually looks aloof. But what girl doesn't like heroes? Number 18 is also a normal girl, and naturally, she is the same as other girls. And Ron is now the superhero with the strongest strength. Even gods of destruction can defeat. Such a man is in high demand in any corner of the earth. And Ron's performance today is also very good. But it's only one day. Cohabitation is absolutely not allowed. The next morning, Ron woke up early, stretched, with a look of enjoyment. Been in the gods of destruction world for 9 years. To be honest, I haven't had a good night's sleep in the past few years. Because there is no day and night in the world of gods of destruction, and the teacher often urges himself to train 643. Sleeping is such a luxury. So last night, I slept very, very comfortably. It hasn't been this easy in a long time. At this time, the 18th has also woken up. After a simple wash, the 18th made a delicious breakfast. During these 9 years, she cooked her own breakfast. So I also practiced a good cooking skill. It's not bad. I didn't expect you to cook such delicious food. After eating an egg roll, Ron looked at number 18 in surprise and said, Cut, that's natural. How can such a simple thing as cooking be difficult for me? Number 18 pouted and said arrogantly. Apparently, she was very pleased with Ron's compliment. Look what you can do. Looking at number 18's arrogant expression, Ron was actually very happy. Number 18 being able to joke like this to himself shows that the gap between him and himself has become closer. By the way, where are we going to play today? All joking aside, Ron asked seriously. This time back to the Earth. Let's enjoy the Earth for a while. After all, during this time in the world of gods of destruction, I was really, BCDH, too hard. After hearing Ron's words, number 18 put down the tableware in his hand. Then he raised his head and said, Number 17 and I have been separated for 9 years, and we haven't seen each other in these 9 years. To be honest, I still miss him a lot. I don't know how he is doing now. Do you have the ability to find out where number 17 is? After speaking, number 18 looked at Ron expectantly. In fact, I have looked for number 17 before, but I didn't find it. After searching twice, I gave up. Now that Ron's ability is so strong, maybe he can help him find number 17. Looking for number 17? This is very simple. I'll take you there after breakfast later. Ron nodded and said, although most people can't feel the breath of number 18, but I am completely able to lock the energy of number 17. Even the whole Earth is under their own monitoring. It is too easy to find a person, and number 17 is not. There is a powerful energy in his body, so very easy to find. Then thank you. Number 18 hurriedly spoke. I'm such a real brother. I haven't seen each other for 9 years, but she still can't figure it out. Why didn't the 17th come to find her? Is it because he has his own family, so he forgot his sister? After breakfast, it was already 9 o'clock in the morning. At this time, Ron has found the position of number 17. Hold my hand, and I'll take you there. Ron held out his hand and said to number 18. And number 18 grabbed Ron's hand without any hesitation. The bodies of the two disappeared in the next second. When it appeared again, it was already on an island. In front of them are a few relatively simple houses. A familiar figure appeared in front of the two at the same time. He was wearing a light green and white sweater on his upper body, and a pair of light blue pants on his lower body. The appearance of number 17 has not changed much, but the whole person has obviously become much calmer. Number 17. Looking at the familiar figure in front of him, number 18 cried out excitedly. It's been 9 years, and I haven't seen number 17 for 9 years. And when number 17 saw number 18 and Ron, there was a look of surprise on his face. But after a moment of surprise, he smiled. Number 18, brother-in-law. How did you find it here? Number 17 barked very smoothly, and then asked in surprise. The place I found is very hidden. Of course, this is not because I deliberately want to hide here. It was because of the needs of my work that I brought my whole family here to live. What brother-in-law are you calling? When did he become your brother-in-law? Number 18 gave number 17 a blank look, but he didn't blame number 17 for his appearance. You must know that when number 17 called Ron's brother-in-law, number 18 wanted to tear his mouth apart. This shows that number 18 has completely changed now. Number 17 just smiled. Even if the relationship between the two of them has not yet been determined, it will be a matter of time. Ron, this guy, he didn't expect to become his sister-in-law after all. Ron found you. If it weren't for him, I don't think I would have found you in a few years. After finishing speaking, number 18 blamed me again. I said, what's the matter with you? You haven't come to see me for 9 years since you left, and you can send a message. Thinking of this incident makes me angry. My fault. Because I was so busy with work and family, I neglected it. And I thought my brother-in-law was back early, so I didn't bother. Number 17 smiled and apologized. He just came back yesterday. Number 18 glanced at Ron, and there was clearly some complaint in his eyes. I said brother-in-law, you are too unkind, aren't you? I remember that when you left, you said you would go out for 2 or 3 years, and it took you 9 years to go out. Isn't it too outrageous? Number 17 pretended to blame and said, Ron just smiled. Many things are beyond his control. If he only practiced in the gods of destruction world for a year or 2, although he could leave. But how could he have the strength to defeat Beerus? In this world where strength is the most important thing, strength can represent almost everything. If there is no strength, it is the existence of cannon fodder. Maybe whenever a key blast comes over, they will be blasted to pieces. There are some things I can't help myself. Ron could only continue to laugh. Even the current self has power beyond gods of destruction Beerus. But I know very well that in this world, my strength is definitely not strong. People like Zeno and Grand Priest can still wipe themselves out easily. Maybe you only need to move your fingers, and you will disappear in smoke. Understand? Number 17 nodded in understanding. Indeed, in this world there are many involuntary. Just like the current self, as a cyborg with powerful strength, he still has to work hard for his life running around. I have to commute to get off work on time every day, and then support my family. And at this moment, 2 children suddenly ran out of the room. Behind him was a woman with exquisite facial features who looked about 26 or 17 years old. Papa, who are they two? Why did you come to our house? There are 2 children, a boy and a girl. The boy looks older, probably about 4 years old. The girl was younger, probably under 3 years old, and she still staggered when she walked. There are guests at home. How can you let them stand outside? Hurry up and let the guests in. The woman said very gently. Obviously, he is number 17's wife. Let me introduce to you. This is my sister Lazary, and this is my brother-in-law Ron. Number 17 introduced to the woman and 2 children. But the 2 children were at a loss. Because it was the first time they saw these 2 people in front of them, they looked very strange. So it's my sister and brother-in-law. Please hurry up. After hearing number 17's introduction, the woman became more polite. Then several people walked into the room. The layout of the room is relatively simple, but very tidy. It can be seen that number 17's wife is a very virtuous woman. Sister, I often hear him mention you, but I have never had a chance to see you. I finally got the chance to meet you today. My sister is really more beautiful than what he described. The wife of number 17 held the hand of number 18, and the two began to chat. But what she said was not to please number 18. But I sincerely say that number 18 is indeed very beautiful. I have seen many women, but I have almost never seen one who can reach the level of 18. Whether it's her temperament, appearance, or figure, they are all so perfect. After sitting for 2 hours, number 17's wife also cooked some meals for entertainment. The current number 17 has become more enthusiastic, which is completely different from 9 years ago. After all, he was still an arrogant teenager 9 years ago, and Ron still remembers the scene when he thought he was number 1 in the universe. But the current number 17 has become a wife and father. So the character is also more stable and introverted. After dinner and a few simple greetings, Ron and number 18 were ready to leave. Sister and brother-in-law, are you leaving so soon? Although our place is poor, the environment is very good. Would you like to stay for a few more days? Number 17's wife was very hospitable and asked to stay. We won't bother you today. I am very happy to see you today. There are also 2 such cute little nephews. Number 18 gently stroked the heads of the 2 children and said with a smile. It could be seen that she was happy from the bottom of her heart. Aunt and uncle, when will you come to play with us again? The little boy was also a little reluctant to ask. In fact, children of this age are the easiest to establish relationships with others. So in just a short time, this little kid has already made a very good relationship with number 18. Anyway, the same blood runs between them. Don't worry, my aunt will come to see you in a few days. I will definitely buy you a lot of fun toys by then. Number 18 touched the little boy's small brain and said with a gentle smile. To be honest, after knowing number 18 for such a long time, Ron saw such a gentle smile on number 18 for the first time. Although a little reluctant, the 2 finally left. Now we know the exact location of their home on the 17th. When do you think about it? It will be over soon. After returning home, Ron did not practice. Instead, he continued to go shopping with number 18, watching movies and so on. After all, girls need to be coaxed, and they also want to relax. In a blink of an eye, 3 days passed. And this day was early in the morning, just after breakfast. An uninvited guest came, and this uninvited guest made Ron feel a little surprised. It was Vegeta, who had been humiliated 3 times by himself. Hey, I said, what can you do if you run away? Could it be that you are still unconvinced and want to compete with Russia? Ron looked at Vegeta and asked indifferently. To be honest, I have never had a good impression of Vegeta, especially the arrogant and self-righteous Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z. But I don't really like Vegeta in Dragon Ball Super, but I don't really hate it either. After all, Vegeta in Dragon Ball is more full of emotions than Son Goku, and more like a human with flesh and blood and feelings. Zero. Please don't get me wrong, Mr. Ron. I didn't come here this time to compete with you, because I know that no matter how I practice, I will never be your opponent. Vegeta immediately opened his mouth to explain. Although this answer is considered flattery, it is also true. Where Ron was standing now, he was no longer in the same dimension as him. No matter how much I practice with my own efforts, it is absolutely impossible to surpass Ron. Absolutely. Of course, this is also the main reason why I came to Ron this time. Oh, looks like you finally have a little self-knowledge. After hearing Vegeta's answer, Ron smiled, and then continued to ask, you didn't come to compete with me, so why are you here? Actually, Vegeta had a bit of embarrassment on his face, but after gritted his teeth tightly, he replied sonorously, the purpose of my coming this time is to let Mr. Ron guide me in cultivation, please. Obviously, Vegeta himself was not used to saying such words, but that bastard Kakarot actually followed that whiz to the planet of gods of destruction to train without telling him yesterday. After hearing the news, I almost exploded with anger. Because in this way, if Kakarot gets the guidance of gods of destruction, then in a short while, his strength will definitely surpass himself. So if you want to catch up with his footsteps, or even surpass him, you must also get the guidance of gods of destruction or Mr. Ron, who is stronger than gods of destruction. Look for me to practice. I think there is something wrong with your brain. Vegeta, why did you suddenly come to me to guide you in cultivation? Don't you think that in itself is a very ridiculous thing? I remember that a few days ago, you still hated me so much. Looking at the sincere Vegeta, Ron smiled and said jokingly, he never thought that Vegeta would come to him to guide him in cultivation. You must know how proud he was before and how strong his self-esteem was. His performance today is completely inconsistent with his Vegeta character. If it was Son Goku who came to find him, then he wouldn't be surprised at all. But if the person who came here was replaced by Vegeta, I was a little confused. Mr. Ron, I was really wrong about the previous things. It's because I'm a bit blind. 6'8", 3-inch. So please don't take offense. I came this time to sincerely want to find you to practice. Vegeta straightened her body, bowed, and said to Ron sincerely, the reason why I hated Ron so much in the past was indeed because of my self-esteem and arrogance. Because he felt that a human being was actually stronger than himself, a majestic Scion Prince. Of course he couldn't bear this kind of thing, especially when I just became Super Saiyan, I was easily defeated. That kind of humiliation really hit him very hard. But just a few days ago, Ron defeated gods of destruction Beerus with an absolute advantage. And at the same time, I also got the news that Ron is not a human being, but a god through and through. A god beyond the gods of destruction. I can bow my knees in front of gods of destruction Beerus, without any regard for dignity and face. Then why didn't I give up my arrogance and self-esteem in front of Ron, who was stronger than gods of destruction? Then get stronger? You go back, Vegeta. To be honest, I have no interest in guiding you in cultivation, and I don't have the time either. Ron said flatly to Vegeta, although I don't hate Vegeta in this period, but it doesn't mean that I can guide him to practice. Mr. Ron, this is what I have prepared for you. It's a villa next to Shidu Food Street. I know these extraneous things are a bit too tacky for Mr. Ron not to say, but I really don't know what Mr. Ron likes. A key to a villa on the ground, Vegeta said with a sincere expression. Ron looked at the key to the villa in Vegeta's hand. It seems that this guy is indeed well prepared and fully prepared. Although a villa is really not attractive to itself, but it can also be seen that Vegeta sincerely wants to practice with him, and this guy is also very good at life. Number 18 looked at the key to the villa in Vegeta's hand and was a little surprised. Is this the means of the richest man in the Western capital? It's so easy to give a villa to someone else. Like it. Number 18. Ron looked at number 18, then asked, this rental house of mine does seem a bit shabby. It would be nice to have a bigger villa instead, but I don't have money in my hand now, although with my own strength, it is appropriate to rob the bank. But such a thing, I really don't like doing it that much. It doesn't quite fit my personality either. If you can have a big villa, it would be nice to think about it. Speaking of which, I've grown up so much, I haven't lived in a villa yet. Number 18 nodded, then looked up at Ron and said, a large villa is attractive to anyone, especially next to Shidu Food Street. In that case, Ron glanced at Vegeta and then said, then put the key down. As for me to guide you in cultivation, I'll think about it a little bit. Okay, Mr. Ron. Hearing that Ron actually accepted the key, Vegeta nodded excitedly. Then he handed the key to Ron respectfully. This is indeed a bit out of Vegeta's character, but it also depends on the person. If Ron is just a human from Earth, no matter how powerful he is, he will definitely not be like this. But Ron is now a god, and a god beyond the gods of destruction. So in this case, even if I let go of my self-esteem a little bit, what's the problem? And the more important question now is that the guy from Kakarot country has gone to the gods of destruction world to practice. If he is still self-cultivating on the Earth, Kakarot will definitely surpass himself in a short time. Even the gap between the two will become bigger and bigger. This is something that I can hardly accept anyway. By the way, Vegeta, why didn't that Son Goku guy come with you? According to my understanding, he seems to be more enthusiastic about fighting than you. Ron asked curiously. Son Goku in Dragon Ball Super, that is simply a fighting maniac. More like a qualified Scion than Vegeta. So today he didn't have anyone to ask him to train him, which really surprised him. Kakarot. When talking about Son Goku, Vegeta clenched his fist tightly. Then he said unwillingly, the guy named Whis came to Earth yesterday, and I don't know what Kakarot did. And let that guy bring him to the gods of destruction world. Now it's time to practice in the gods of destruction world. After finishing speaking, Vegeta's face was full of unhappiness and jealousy. Son Goku went to God Realm. Fine. Ron was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect Son Goku to be brought to God Realm by Whis. So obviously, Beerus and Whis have started training Son Goku. Under the training of the two of them, it is estimated that Son Goku's 0.4 strength will surpass Vegeta soon. No wonder Vegeta was so anxious at this time. Even the self-esteem and arrogance that I value most can be discarded. Vegeta clenched his fists and nodded. In that case, then you can bring me a large cruise ship tomorrow. Your family should not lack such things. At that time, I will start to guide you in cultivation. Ron nodded thoughtfully. Now that Beerus and Whis have decided to train Son Goku, let's train Vegeta himself. After a while, let's see who is stronger, Son Goku or Vegeta. Really? Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Ron. Hearing that Ron suddenly agreed, this sudden sense of happiness instantly made Vegeta extremely excited. Of course it's true. Is it any good for me if I lie to you? Also, I didn't train you from the bottom of my heart. It's just that Whis and Beerus are training Son Goku, so I hope to train you out. When the time comes, I must defeat Son Goku. Don't embarrass me. Ron spoke in a calm tone. Don't worry, Mr. Ron. I will definitely defeat Kakarot. Vegeta was very firm in his promise. As long as you get the training from Mr. Ron, defeating Kakarot will definitely not be a difficult task. Have absolute confidence in yourself. Bring the yacht over tomorrow, and then you can start training. After Ron finished speaking to Vegeta, Vegeta couldn't wait to go home. If you have a villa and a cruise ship and you can let Mr. Ron guide your training, it is really a bargain. Their family lacks everything, not just money. I'm so sorry, Ron, but you can say no to Vegeta if you don't want to. We can earn our own money to buy villas. As for the yacht, it's just a random talk on the 17th, and you don't need to pay attention to the 12th at all. It's just that she still feels a little guilty. Because before Ron agreed to Vegeta, he asked his opinion first. And he asked Vegeta for a yacht, probably because he heard what number 17 said yesterday. He wants to sail the yacht firsthand, and then travel with his family. It's nothing. Anyway, I can get a villa and a yacht by simply guiding him. This is a very good deal. Why refuse? Ron shrugged and smiled. In fact, my main idea is not villas and yachts. These things are actually not very attractive to me anymore. I just want to see, if I train Vegeta by myself, will Vegeta or Son Goku be stronger after a few months? Oh well, no matter when it is, I still hope you don't feel embarrassed because of me. Number 18 nodded, and then spoke. But he was more or less guilty, because she always felt that Ron promised Vegeta had something to do with her. Don't think too much. Anyway, just deal with it casually. Ron looked at number 18, who was a little bit lost and guilty, and comforted him. Early the next morning, Vegeta came back with a capsule. Mr. Ron, this is a luxury yacht ready. If you are not satisfied with anything, you can tell me directly, and I will improve it. Vegeta became more polite now. After all, whether he can catch up with Kakaroto's footsteps, whether he can become the strongest Saiyan, now depends on Ron. Okay, that's it. Since you are so caring, I will train hard from today on. After I finish my breakfast, we will go to the spiritual time room for training. Ron nodded and said. After a simple breakfast, Ron and Vegeta went to the spiritual time room of the Tenjin Temple. The spiritual time house is definitely the best place to practice. 1 year here is equivalent to 1 day outside. As long as he cultivates in it for 2 days, Vegeta's strength will definitely be greatly improved. And taking this opportunity, I can also consolidate my own strength. Vegeta, Son Goku has become Super Saiyan God. His strength has far surpassed yours. It is no exaggeration to say that he can easily defeat you with just 1 finger. But you don't have to worry, because as long as I guide you, you can catch up with or even surpass Son Goku in a few days. Ron said confidently. He is confident because he knows Scion's method of ascension. It is clearer which path Vegeta is suitable for. Really? Can I really overtake Kakaroto in a few days? That's up to Mr. Ron. After hearing Ron's words, Vegeta was naturally extremely excited and excited. You must know that he is eager to defeat Kakaroto every day, even every minute and every second, and become the first subhuman in the universe. Now is the chance, and Mr. Ron can make himself surpass Kakaroto in a few days. This is something I never dared to imagine before. When Kakaroto defeated Majin Buu before, he did admit that Kakaroto was the #1 Saiyan in universe. But in the past few years, my transcendent heart has begun to move. I am still unwilling to be suppressed by Kakaroto all the time. Do you think I have to lie to you? Ron squinted at Vegeta. Then he said, actually, if you want to surpass Son Goku, there are 2 paths you can choose. And as Saiyan, there are 2 ways to improve. What way? Vegeta asked impatiently. First of all, the first one is to become Super Saiyan God like Son Goku, continuing the line of God. Of course, there are many forms and realms in Super Saiyan. Next is the second type, which is relatively more stable, and I think it is more suitable for you. The second is the evolution of the Saiyan bloodline. I can turn you into Super Saiyan 4 in a very short period of time. By then your strength will definitely surpass Super Saiyan God Son Goku. Of course, this transformation is called Great Ape Saiyan, and it can also be called Super Saiyan 4. Looking at Vegeta, who couldn't wait, Ron said. You must know that although Vegeta is often suppressed by Son Goku in strength, he is the Prince of Saiyan after all, and he has shown a strong cultivation talent since he was a child. The reason why he has been suppressed by Son Goku is entirely a matter of mentality. Son Goku and Vegeta's training methods are completely different. Vegeta is in a state of mental tension all the time, so no matter what kind of battle it is, he cannot exert his full strength. But Son Goku's personality is completely opposite to Vegeta's. Great Ape Saiyan, Super Saiyan 4. Upon hearing this name, Vegeta's eyes flashed an elite light. He has seen what Super Saiyan God looks like before. Although it is undeniable that the strength has indeed become very strong, but the appearance is indeed difficult to describe. It's like dyeing Super Saiyan's blonde hair red. And to be honest, I am a widow. Naturally, I prefer to take the route of Saiyan bloodline evolution. Now that I have this opportunity to choose, I would of course prefer to choose Saiyan's bloodline evolution route. More importantly, Mr. Ron said just now, as long as he becomes Super Saiyan 4, you will be able to have power beyond Kakaroto. And this is what I dream of now. Mr. Ron, I choose Saiyan's bloodline evolution route. Please guide me to become Super Saiyan 4. Almost without much thought or hesitation, Vegeta said directly to Ron. I choose Super Saiyan 4, the route of bloodline evolution, partly because I feel that I am more suitable for the route of bloodline evolution. Because he is a pure blood Saiyan prince. If I become a god in the future, I always feel a bit awkward about being useful. Of course, this is only part of the reason. Another big reason is that since the guy Kakaroto has chosen the route of God, then if I have other choices, I will definitely not follow in his footsteps. So I must become Super Saiyan 4, and then defeat Kakaroto's Super Saiyan God. Have you decided yet? Actually, there are many transformation forms beyond Super Saiyan God. Ron looked at Vegeta and asked in confirmation. Yes, I've made up my mind. Super Saiyan God strengthening route. I leave it to Kakaroto. I must go through the bloodline evolution route and defeat Kakaroto, who became Super Saiyan God. Vegeta clenched his fists tightly and said firmly, as long as there is Mr. Ron's guidance, he will soon be able to defeat Kakaroto, then become the strongest Saiyan in the universe. Okay, since you are so determined, then I will teach you to become Super Saiyan 4. Ron also nodded seriously. In fact, he really wants to know whether Super Saiyan 4 is stronger or Super Saiyan God is stronger. In the past, this issue has always been debated by many people. Now in real life, I can finally draw a real result. After a while, Super Saiyan God Son Goku and Super Saiyan 4's Vegeta will fight. That would be absolutely brilliant. Although their strength is far from that of themselves and Beerus, but this will definitely not affect the intensity of this game. And according to my own observations, Son Goku and Vegeta's current basic combat power is almost the same. And Vegeta's basic combat power is a bit stronger than Son Goku. Mr. Ron, if I want to become Super Saiyan 4, what do I need to prepare? Vegeta asked. It is absolutely impossible to obtain superpowers without paying anything. Actually, there are no special requirements, as long as your strength reaches Super Saiyan. There is another very important requirement. That is, you must have Scion's tail, but I've already figured out a way for this. As long as you endure a little pain, it can be done. Ron said lightly. Actually, Scion's tail is the source of Scion's power. And if you want to become Super Saiyan 4, it is absolutely impossible without a tail. Even if it is barely possible to use Super Boolean Light to become Super Saiyan 4, but that is only temporary. With the tail to become Super Saiyan 4, that is the power you really get. Tail. Vegeta froze for a moment. Didn't expect my tail to have such a function, but when he came to Earth for the first time, his tail was chopped off by that fat man Gaifeng Jianhao, Yaki Luo Bei. In the past, I thought the tail was useless, so I never thought of a way to regrow the tail. But I didn't expect to use the tail when I wanted to become Super Saiyan 4 today. And at this time in the Gods of Destruction world of the 7th universe, Beerus was eating instant noodles, and Whis was teaching Son Goku to practice. Hey Son Goku, I've almost eaten the food you brought over. If you don't have other food to bring, don't practice in the God realm in the future. After Beerus finished eating a bucket of instant noodles, he said to Son Goku in a sarcastic manner. Although I let Son Goku practice food here is part of the reason, but the more important reason is, Son Goku can become Super Saiyan God, which shows that his talent is also very strong. Give him a little guidance, and maybe he can become a strong man in the 7th universe in the future. Even if it can't catch up to Ron's level, at least it should be considered difficult to find a match in other universes. Okay, Master Beerus, I'll bring more food next time. Son Goku immediately agreed. After seeing the battle between Ron and Master Beerus last time, he became more determined to become stronger. So as long as he can practice with Whis and Beerus, it doesn't matter if he prepares the most delicacies. At this time Whis also stopped training. Then, he said to Son Goku and Beerus, I heard that Vegeta has been practicing with Ron. It seems that Ron wants to continue to compete with Lord Beerus. Cut. That bastard actually started to guide Vegeta, but it doesn't matter, we all know the strength of Vegeta. How could he be Son Goku's opponent? Even if you know Ron's teachings, it is absolutely impossible to surpass Son Goku in a short period of time. After all, this guy already possesses the power of God. Beerus curled his lips and said nonchalantly, If Son Goku hadn't turned into a Super Saiyan God, Vegeta might still have some chances against Son Goku. But Son Goku, after becoming Super Saiyan God, will never put Vegeta in his eyes, because the gap between the two of them is too great. That fellow Vegeta actually practiced with Ron. It looks like I have to train harder. Son Goku also spoke at this time. Get Zhao. Maybe other people don't know about Vegeta's cultivation talent, but he knows it very well. In fact, Vegeta's cultivation talent is no worse than his own. If Ron guides him now, his strength will definitely be improved the most. So are you serious about training, Mr. Goku? Otherwise, if you lose to Vegeta at that time, you will lose not only your people, but Master Beerus will also lose face very much. Whis said to Son Goku with a smile. Judging from the current situation, Son Goku and Vegeta will definitely have a fight. And this battle is actually another contest between Ron and Lord Beerus. I will definitely work hard. Son Goku nodded very seriously. He was even more curious at this time, wondering what level Vegeta could reach when they met next time. Will he become a Super Saiyan God like himself? Thinking about it really makes people feel excited and looking forward to it. Whis, you should hurry up and guide me in cultivation. Under Ron's guidance, Vegeta will definitely become very strong. I don't want to lose to Vegeta. Son Goku turned his head and said to Whis immediately. Expectations belong to expectations, but I still have to work hard to practice now. Never lose to Vegeta. This is not because I am competitive, but because I want to be the strongest. Fine, if that's the case, let's move on. But before we start, I want to tell you one thing. Do you know why Ron and Lord Beerus were able to accurately avoid every attack of Lord Beerus in the previous battle? Whis looked at Son Goku, and then asked seriously. Forehead. Son Goku was stunned for a moment, then shook his head after thinking about it. He replied, maybe, it's because Ron is much stronger than Master Beerus? Even if this is the case, Master Beerus may not like to hear it, but this is indeed the idea in my heart. If it wasn't for the fact that Ron was much stronger than Lord Beerus, why would he be able to avoid the attacks of others, Lord Ruth, very accurately, every time? And the body didn't move much from beginning to end. Asterisk 173 cut. What the hell are you bastard talking about? How could that guy Ron be stronger than me? Beerus immediately cursed. Although I lost to Ron, but didn't he lose in basic strength? Instead, they lost to Ultra Instinct and Flash Time. If he didn't have the blessings of these two abilities, he could defeat him in minutes. Look at the angry Beerus and the innocent Son Goku. Whis smiled and explained. Actually, Ron's strength is indeed not as strong as Master Beerus. The reason why he was able to defeat Master Beerus, and every time he was able to dodge Master Beerus attacks accurately, this is because Ron has mastered an ability called Ultra Instinct. To be more precise, justice is a realm, but it may be easier for you to call it an ability for you to understand. Beerus explained as carefully as possible. Nanny, Ultra Instinct, I've never heard of this ability. Son Goku shook his head. The look of surprise on his face was even worse. Has he never heard of Ultra Instinct? And what Whis and Beerus said just now also surprised him. Lord Beerus' basic strength is stronger than Ron's, but Ron showed the strength to easily defeat Lord Beerus during the battle. Is it all because of what they call Ultra Instinct? If this is the case, then this ability called Ultra Instinct, or the realm, is too powerful, right? Generally speaking, this is a realm that can only be mastered by gods. It's normal if you don't know, because there are 12 universes in this world, and correspondingly, there are 12 gods of destruction. Among all the gods of destruction, only Beerus' discounted free and easy work has reached the entry stage. Whis went on to explain. Just kidding. Even Lord Beerus can't master it perfectly, but Ron has mastered it. Ron's guy, isn't it too scary? Son Goku was even more surprised. I was even more horrified. Compared with Master Beerus, Ron seems ridiculously strong. And Beerus gritted his teeth in anger. Facing Whis, he said, you guys can teach as much as you want. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Besides, it's not that I can't learn Ultra Instinct. I'm just too lazy to learn the divine skills of your angel. What he said was not angry words, but facts. Because gods of destruction also has its own god skills, the power is not weaker than Ultra Instinct at all. And this kind of god skill called freedom doesn't fit the character of gods of destruction, see, at all. Mr. Whis, then you must also be Ultra Instinct, right? Can you teach me Ultra Instinct? Son Goku immediately asked with longing. If Ultra Instinct is so powerful, if you learn it by yourself, your strength will definitely increase a lot. I can teach you Ultra Instinct. However, I have to tell you that Ultra Instinct is definitely not so easy to master. It requires a very high level of mind. If you can't do it in your heart, you can't understand Ultra Instinct at all if you are absolutely calm and calm. Whis continued to speak seriously. This is also why many gods of destruction are unable to master the Ultra Instinct. Because of their gods of destruction, each character is more irritable. It simply does not meet the Shinshin requirements for cultivating Ultra Instinct. But Son Goku is a careless guy. Maybe he's easier to learn than gods of destruction. And at this time in the spiritual time room of the earth, after several hours of painful experience, Vegeta's tail finally grew out. At this moment, Vegeta was sweating profusely. The experience just now was too painful. Mr. Ron, now that my tail has grown back, what should we do? Suppressing the sharp pain from the base of his tail, Vegeta asked. Although it hurts, as long as he can improve his strength, it won't have any effect on him at all. The rest is easy. As long as you become Super Saiyan, and then on the basis of Super Saiyan, you become a great ape. Finally change back to the normal Super Saiyan form, and you can still reach Super Saiyan 4. Ron replied flatly. In fact, it is easier for Vegeta, who is a Saiyan prince, to become a Super Saiyan than Son Goku. Because Saiyan is just an ordinary Saiyan bloodline. After becoming a great ape, he will lose his reason. It is very difficult to change back to Super Saiyan's transformation again. In Dragon Ball GT, Son Goku still remembers the past because of the tears of his granddaughter Xiaofeng. It eventually became Super Saiyan 4. Otherwise, he'll just be a rampaging gorilla who knows nothing but destruction. But Vegeta is different. He is the Prince of Saiyan, belonging to the new nobility of Vegeta. He has pure royal blood. So after turning into a gorilla, I don't know medical science at all. So if you want to become like a Super Saiyan, it will be easier. Should I become Super Saiyan first? A serious look appeared on Vegeta's face. Obviously, he was trying his best to suppress his excitement. But when he thinks that he will soon become Super Saiyan 4, and his strength can surpass Kakarot, he will feel inexplicably excited. And it's very, very exciting. Then his fists were suddenly clenched. Golden flames erupted from his body in an instant. Then directly into the form of Super Saiyan 2. A blue electric arc swirls around the body. Vegeta in this period is indeed very strong. If it is also Super Saiyan 2, Son Goku and Son Gohan are really not Vegeta's opponents. Very good. Now I will change into the form of a great ape based on this. Remember, keep your Super Saiyan transformation while changing into great ape form. Ron nodded at Vegeta, then spoke. Vegeta nodded very seriously. Now is the most critical time. He was both excited and extremely nervous at the same time. Then, Vegeta suddenly stretched his arms and pulled away a posture. The terrifying golden flames instantly spread towards the surroundings. And at that moment, it was obvious that the entire spiritual time room was shaking. With roars, Vegeta directly turned into a golden giant ape. The height is about the size of a small mountain. Standing in front of him, Ron looked a little insignificant. To be honest, it was the first time for Ron to see this kind of golden giant ape, and he was really curious. After observing for a while, Ron continued. Okay, now change back to Super Saiyan form again. After turning into the giant ape form, Vegeta can completely maintain his sanity. After hearing Ron's words, golden arrogance lingered around his body again, then directly wrapped Vegeta's body. The golden light instantly covered the entire spiritual time room. The space that was originally white has now completely turned into gold. The entire spiritual time room, and even the entire temple of heaven began to shake violently. Time passed by every minute and every second. The golden light also began to disappear little by little. Vegeta's body appeared in front of Ron again. At this time, Vegeta has undergone tremendous changes. Whether it is his appearance or his aura, there's been a huge change. I didn't expect it to be really successful. Congratulations, Vegeta. Looking at Vegeta, who has become Super Saiyan 4 in front of him, Ron said with a smile. The black spire stands tall, but unlike before carrying the guitar, his shoulders and back are also covered with strands of black hair. At this time, the pupils turned into light blue, with red eye sockets. The most obvious is that his upper body is covered with red hair. Behind him is a red tail, swinging flexibly. Is this Super Saiyan 4? This power is really unbelievable, and it feels too strong. Vegeta spread out his palms and looked in shock. An incomparable terrifying force was constantly flowing away from his body. At this moment, he felt that his strength had reached its peak state. The form of Kakarot's Super Saiyan God is absolutely impossible to be his opponent. At this point, he has been very sure. Continue to feel the power in your body. The shock on Vegeta's face had turned into excitement and ecstasy. I actually became Super Saiyan 4 and possessed such a powerful force. This was something he had never thought about before, and he didn't even dare to think that he could have such a powerful power. And all this is all with the help of Mr. Ron. After being shocked and excited, Vegeta quickly looked at Ron. Then he said gratefully, "Thank you so much, Mr. Ron. If it wasn't for your help, I would definitely not be able to become Super Saiyan 4, and I might never even know that Saiyan still has this form." Vegeta is grateful from the heart, and every word he said was from the heart. If there's no Ron, maybe I will learn how to become a Super Saiyan God like Kakarot. But in that case, I always feel that I've been following Kakarot's ass. This feeling will make him very uncomfortable. But it's different now. Kakarot has taken the route of Super Saiyan God, and he completely runs counter to him. The evolution path of Super Saiyan was chosen. This kind of improvement not only allowed him to have a huge breakthrough in strength, but more importantly, it allowed his self-esteem to be maintained. Okay, don't be so excited. Super Saiyan 4 is indeed powerful, and you have indeed surpassed Super Saiyan God Son Goku. But I must tell you that Super Saiyan 4 is not the strongest form of Saiyan. As long as Son Goku surpasses Super Saiyan God in the next time, then he can still beat you. So you have to work harder to truly master the form of Super Saiyan 4, so that you can completely defeat Son Goku. Looking at the excited and grateful Vegeta, Ron said calmly. At this time, Vegeta's combat power has reached a terrifying level of 150 Gai. I remember that Golden Frieza's fighting power should be 100 Jet. At that time, Son Goku and Golden Frieza were equal in strength. In other words, Son Goku, who has just turned into Super Saiyan Blue, should have a strength of around 100 Gai. That strength is not enough to be the opponent of Super 4 Vegeta. But if that guy works a little bit, and even reaches full power form in Super Saiyan Blue color, the strength will definitely completely surpass Vegeta. Therefore, Vegeta must practice as soon as possible. It is best to master the form of the 4 full energy of Super Saiyan. In this way, even if Son Goku turns into the full power form of Super Saiyan Blue color, he is completely sure to win. Yes, Mr. Ron's lesson is, I will definitely continue to work hard and practice desperately to live up to Mr. Ron's guidance. Vegeta stood up straight respectfully. The excitement on his face still did not dissipate. It has been 10 years, except for the first time I became Super Saiyan. I have never been so excited as I am now, thinking that his current strength has surpassed Kakarot. It won't even take too long. I will defeat Kakarot in front of everyone, tell everyone that I am the strongest Saiyan, and I will be so excited, Itero. Seeing Vegeta's eyes full of sincerity and excitement, Ron really had a hard time imagining that this guy in front of him was that arrogant, self-important, and overconfident tragic tower. But everyone has changed. Vegeta has started to undergo a lot of changes in Dragon Ball. Otherwise, even if you see gods of destruction, you will definitely not be so humble. The reason why people change is because they have worries, fears, and people they want to protect. That's why I'm afraid, and I give up many of the things I valued the most before. Mr. Ron, I really want to know how strong you are. Even gods of destruction Beerus is not your opponent. So are you the most powerful existence in this universe? Vegeta asked curiously at this moment. In fact, he has always been very curious about this question, because according to his understanding and the introduction of King Kai and the others, Beerus, the bad god who destroys 173, is the master of this universe, and he has the ability and right to create a universe in an instant. So it is no exaggeration to say that he is the most powerful god in this universe. But to the surprise of anyone, Ron beat Beerus. So logically, Ron should become the most powerful existence in this universe. You think too much. Ron smiled, shook his head, and continued. With the strength of me and Beerus, we can't even rank in the universe. I can give you a brief explanation. The guy next to Beerus called Whis is actually an angel, and gods of destruction Beerus is his apprentice. And part of the reason why I became so powerful is Whis. It's no exaggeration to say that I can't even beat Whis with one hand. And in this universe, the most powerful is not only Whis. There are more powerful existences above Whis. They can also completely erase Whis with one finger. Although Ron's tone was very flat, but after listening to it, Vegeta's face became extremely exciting. Go, just kidding. This world seems to be different from what I know. He really couldn't imagine, and even couldn't believe what Ron said. There are such powerful humans in the world. In other words, Ron and Beerus are not really strong at all. Even Whis, which can instantly kill Beerus and Ron, can be erased with one finger. So how powerful are those guys? Looking at it all the time, they're simply frogs at the bottom of a well. Before I met gods of destruction Beerus and Ron, I always thought that Kakarot was #1 in the universe. But now it seems that their previous ideas were so naive and stupid. Kakarot's fighting power is not even comparable to one of his own fingers now. There are so many things in this world that you can't imagine. That's why I told you a long time ago, although Super Saiyan 4 is amazing, it doesn't deserve a place in this universe at all. If you want to know my strength, I can tell you clearly that even 10,000 of you will definitely not be my opponent. Ron's words were not exaggerating at all, because even if Vegeta becomes Super Saiyan 4, he is not a dimensional existence with himself. His own strength has reached the level of the ditch, and Vegeta's strength has only reached Gai. The gap in this interval is simply unimaginable. Vegeta naturally didn't deny it either. Although the current self may be a little stronger than Super Saiyan God's Kakarot, but there's no comparison to Ron at all. But you don't have to be discouraged. Those guys I just mentioned, they are all the strengths that have been precipitated in the long river of history. Even the gods of destruction have lived for at least tens of millions of years. So if you were given such a long time, you will definitely surpass them. Ron patted Vegeta on the shoulder, smiled, and said, Mr. Ron, then is there any way to improve quickly? Vegeta frowned and continued to ask. It looks like the moment when I turned into Super Saiyan. I seem to have entered another world. A world I didn't know at all before. And in this world, his own strength seems to be the bottom of the existence. This is something he absolutely does not allow. So he must practice desperately and work hard to become stronger. If I'm not wrong, Whis will definitely teach Son Goku Ultra Instinct. Ron rubbed his chin, talking to himself. Because in Dragon Ball Ultra, Whis taught Son Goku Ultra Instinct. If Son Goku has learned the free and easy skill, then even if Vegeta becomes Super Saiyan 4, it is absolutely impossible to be his opponent. To deal with Ultra Instinct, it is estimated that Vegeta can only do it by becoming a Super Subhuman 5. But there are no shortcuts in Super Saiyan 5. You have to work hard to practice to reach that level. Of course, you can also temporarily become Super Saiyan 5 by controlling your emotions. But at this point, Vegeta probably can't do it. Ultra Instinct. What's that? Although Ron's voice was not loud, Vegeta could hear it clearly. Then he asked curiously. He had never heard of that name before. Ron turned his head and explained. Remember when I fought Beerus before? Although there is not much difference in strength between the two of us, even my strength is weaker than Beerus, but I can be accurate every time. Dodge all his attacks. Everyone would even think that I have eyes all over my body. Actually, at that time, I cast Ultra Instinct. To be honest, if there is no Ultra Instinct, I really can't win the battle with Beerus. Is that the Ultra Instinct? Vegeta said in shock. At that time, he and Kakarot felt very surprised, because Ron didn't move his side at all. No matter which direction Beerus came from, Ron could easily dodge it. At that time, I really thought that his whole body was covered with eyes, so he was able to avoid all flaws. It turns out that ability is called Freedom 0.7 Extreme Intention Power. That's right, Ultra Instinct can make the body's muscles spontaneously judge the danger and then avoid it before the human brain gives instructions. When the free and easy Kung Fu reaches a perfect level, a person's physical strength, speed, and strength will be greatly improved. This is also the reason why I was able to defeat Beerus when my basic combat power was weaker than Beerus. Ron introduced without concealment. Golem. Vegeta swallowed hard. There is such a terrifying ability in the world. Unexpectedly, before the human brain reacts, the body can spontaneously predict the danger and then make evasive actions. He had never thought of this kind of thing before. Looking at your appearance, you seem to be very interested in Ultra Instinct. Looking at Vegeta's squirming Adam's apple, Ron asked with a smile. Yes, Mr. Ron, I'm really interested to hear that Ultra Instinct is so powerful. So Mr. Ron, please guide. Vegeta immediately nodded very respectfully and said, I have now become Super Saiyan 4. If I can master Ultra Instinct on the basis of Super Saiyan 4, then my strength will definitely be greatly improved. And that guy Kakarot will definitely never be his counterpart again. It's okay for me to teach you. However, Ultra Instinct has very high requirements for practitioner Shinshing, and they must be able to concentrate on nothing else. And you have to let go of all your guards. If you can't do this, you won't be able to comprehend Ultra Instinct at all. On this point, to be honest, Son Goku has an advantage over you, so he may comprehend Ultra Instinct faster than you. Ron nodded, and then told Vegeta the truth. The reason why Vegeta can't always surpass Son Goku is because he is too defensive. When fighting, I will never use all 12 powers to fight, but choose to reserve one hand to deal with possible accidents. In this way, it will be impossible for Vegeta to use all his strength if he becomes a habit over time. It is precisely because of Vegeta's character that he has been lagging behind Son Goku. And in Dragon Ball Ultra, Vegeta can't master Ultra Instinct either. When he heard Ron say that Kakarot was easier to practice Ultra Instinct than himself, Vegeta's face obviously changed. But he quickly said, Mr. Ron, please guide me. If I really can't comprehend it, it can only be said to be a problem with my qualifications. But now I want to try it. It can be seen that Vegeta is really eager to comprehend Ultra Instinct at this time. Fine. In this case, I will guide you from now on. But if you can't understand, I can't help it. After saying a word, Ron began to teach Vegeta about some requirements of Ultra Instinct. At the same time, he also started sparring to train him. Because if you want to understand Ultra Instinct, then pair practice is an essential link. Time passed day by day. In the blink of an eye, more than 4 months have passed. Of course, Ron and Vegeta have only been in the Spirit Time Room for 2 years. Although with the strength of the two of them, even if they want to stay there for 20 years, it is completely fine. But it's really not a place for people to stay in there. After staying in it for 2 years, Ron felt like he was going crazy. Eat some nasty food every day. And there are only 2 big men who pick their feet. However, in the past 2 years, while training Vegeta, Ron's own strength has also been greatly improved. Originally, his combat strength was only 7,000 ditch, but after 2 years of training in the Spiritual Time Room, his strength has reached 8,500 ditch. That is to say, his current basic combat power is not weaker than that of Beerus. So if they fight next time, even if I don't use Ultra Instinct, I will definitely not be weaker than Beerus. Of course, during this period of time in the Spiritual Time House, Vegeta did not comprehend the Ultra Instinct. In fact, this is also expected by Ron, because Vegeta's character is really not suitable for the yin itself. Naturally, Vegeta has no complaints about this, because according to what Mr. Ron said, Ultra Instinct is comprehended by a person's comprehension ability. The most important thing is to look at a person's Shinshing. My Shinshing is not up to standard, even Mr. Ron can't help me. However, although he didn't comprehend Ultra Instinct, his strength has also improved tremendously in the next 2 years. Now the strength has been firmly consolidated in the form of Super Saiyans for full energy, so he can guarantee that Kakarot will never be his opponent. And now he is looking forward to the battle with Kakarot more and more. This morning, Vegeta delivered a very beautiful breakfast early in the morning. After all, Bulma's family is the richest man in Shido. There are countless Michelin chefs at home. The breakfast was delicious, especially for someone like Ron who's been in the Spirit Time Room for 2 years. These breakfasts are nothing short of gourmet. Vegeta, you don't have to come in person to deliver breakfast like this in the future, do you? Anyway, you used to be King Vegeta's son, and now you are also the proprietress of the capsule company, so it seems inappropriate to do such a thing. Ron laughed and joked. After Vegeta trained himself, it felt like a completely different person. Especially for myself, I can't respect it. It is estimated that Vegeta has never respected his father as much as he has respected himself. But thinking about it, I made him a Super Saiyan 4, and it also helped him break through the form of Super Saiyans for full energy. This kind of help is simply a grace of regeneration. Because if Son Goku becomes Super Saiyan God, even more powerful than Super Saiyan God, but he doesn't improve at all, that kind of humiliation and blow, Vegeta, is absolutely unacceptable. Forehead. Being called by Ron the proprietress of the capsule company, Vegeta looked embarrassed. But it is undeniable. The capsule company is indeed managed by Bulma alone, without any help at all. It seems good to be able to mix up the name of the proprietress. Okay, it seems you have something to say, let's talk. Ron looked at Vegeta, enjoying a delicious breakfast, and then asked, Mr. Ron, these days, I've actually wanted to fight Kakarot head on. I can't wait to beat Kakarot. So Mr. Ron, can you find a way to help arrange this? Vegeta clenched his fists and said confidently with a firm face. The current self is absolutely sure of defeating Kakarot. No matter how strong he becomes, he is sure. I knew you would have such an idea a long time ago. It is estimated that this idea has been in your heart since you left the Spiritual Time Room. Okay, I'll talk to Whis in a few days. Let you have a fair and just fight with Son Goku. Of course, this battle is not just about the two of you. You represent me. If I lose to Son Goku this time, I will never forgive you. Ron smiled at first, then said to Vegeta with a serious face. Seems like a contest between Son Goku and Vegeta. But in fact, Son Goku represents Beerus and Whis, while Vegeta represents himself. This contest was actually a contest between himself and Beerus. Please rest assured, Mr. Ron. My current strength will never lose to Kakarot. Vegeta nodded, then smiled confidently and said, Your overconfident character really makes me hard to believe. I hope you will always remember, never underestimate the enemy, especially Son Goku. Ron thought seriously. You know Son Goku's guy is the first protagonist in Dragon Ball. No one knows what kind of power can erupt in a critical moment. I remember. Vegeta nodded embarrassingly. Although he was very clear in his heart that Mr. Ron's guidance and teachings to him were absolutely correct, but he didn't take this sentence to heart. Because Kakarot's Super Saiyan God, how could it be his opponent in Super Saiyan 4? You must know that the transformation of Super Saiyan 4 is a very stable transformation form. It is fundamentally different from the previous Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3 transformations. After a huge consumption, it will directly exit the form of Super Saiyan. Even when injured, it will exit Super Saiyan form. But Super Saiyan 4 will not, unless it is really fatally injured. Otherwise, it will not exit the form of Super Saiyan 4 at all. To put it simply, after becoming Super Saiyan 4, there is not much difference from my normal state, and it won't consume too much when fighting. Based on this alone, he feels that Super Saiyan God is not comparable to Super Saiyan 4. So even if it is a protracted battle, Kakarot is absolutely impossible to be his opponent. However, before you fight Son Goku, maybe there is an old friend of yours who needs you to solve it. Ron spoke to Vegeta again, because a few days ago, he felt a powerful aura that suddenly appeared in the universe. Although this aura is not as strong as Super Saiyan 4's Vegeta, it far surpasses Super Saiyan God Son Goku. This aura is very evil. If I'm not mistaken, this aura should belong to Frieza, because at this time stage, it is possible to have such a powerful aura, even surpassing the aura of Super Saiyan God Son Goku. That leaves Golden Frieza alone. Old friend, Who is that? Vegeta asked suspiciously. Do you have any old friends from before? Except for Kakarot, among the people I knew before, it is impossible for anyone to be my opponent. Even if Majin Buu is in front of his eyes, he has absolute confidence that he can kill him with one punch. So he couldn't think of any old friend who needed to solve it by himself. Frieza. Ron said the name lightly, and after hearing this name, Vegeta's face obviously instantly revealed a look of incomparable horror. Frieza? But soon the look of surprise turned into doubt. He shook his head and said, impossible. That guy Frieza was killed by Trunks more than 10 years ago. How could he be alive? This is absolutely impossible. There is no way Frieza is alive. He has been dead for 10 years, and his body was directly leaked by Trunks at that time. So Frieza is definitely dead and can't die anymore. There is absolutely no way he will be resurrected. It seems that you have forgotten the existence of the Dragon Ball. Although Frieza has been dead for a long time, as long as he finds his wreckage, and then uses the high technology of the Frieza Legion to restore his body, he can naturally be resurrected with the Dragon Ball. Looking at Vegeta, who looked puzzled and obviously disbelieving, Ron began to explain lightly. Dragon Ball. Just kidding. That guy actually came back to life. But even if he is resurrected now, it's useless. With his strength, I can easily kill him. So resurrection is actually not a good thing for him. Vegeta clenched his fist, then said coldly. In fact, the grievances between him and Frieza are really hard to describe. That guy not only destroyed their Vegeta planet, but also kept it hidden from him, telling him that Vegeta planet was destroyed by an asteroid impact, and let myself work under him for so many years. Thinking of that bastard made his teeth itch with anger. If he was really resurrected, it would be a good thing for him. Because of this, I can get rid of him with my own hands. After the resurrection, Frieza became even stronger, and his strength far surpassed Super Saiyan God Son Goku. Why? So you'd better not underestimate the enemy too much. You have to always remember that whether it's the old Frieza or the current Frieza, he can destroy the Earth in an instant without warning. I remember when I was in the Dragon Ball, because Bigiswi said too much, and then the Earth was destroyed by Frieza. If it weren't for Whis' ability to turn back time, all of them would have died. Well, I remember, Mr. Ron. Vegeta nodded. Then he clenched his fist tightly. That guy Frieza is back to life. What a time to resurrect. This time, I must ravage him well, and wash away the humiliation this guy once brought to me. 3 days later, 10 large universe spaceships appeared above the Earth. Afterwards, it continued to press down on the Earth without slowing down. Ho ho ho. Finally revenge on Son Goku, and that Saiyan. I've been waiting for this day for more than 10 years. Every day, every minute, or even every second in hell, I want to crush them to death with my own hands. Soon, my dream wish will come true. Frieza sat in her pram, sipping a glass of red wine. A faint smile appeared on his face at first, and finally turned into a devilish smile. Click. The red wine glass in his hand shattered, and the red wine flowed down Frieza's fingers on the ground. That is, if the blood generally spread towards other places. And Frieza's whole body exudes a devil-like holy aura. The subordinates beside him dared not let out a terrified atmosphere, because Frieza at this time is really too scary. In just 4 months, his strength has undergone earth-shaking changes. But at this moment on Earth, Vegeta, who was training, froze suddenly. Then there was a look of incredulity in his eyes. Nanny, this familiar breath. It's really Frieza. That bastard really came back to life. Vegeta was stunned for a moment. Then the show also showed a ferocious smile. This guy Frieza actually came to Earth for revenge. It's amazing. Frieza, this time I will let you know how good Super Saiyan is. This time, promised, I will definitely trample you under my feet and let you taste the humiliation. Vegeta clenched his fist and then disappeared in a flash. At this time, Son Gohan and Piccolo also felt the breath of Frieza. While unbelievable, it also moved the direction of Frieza's breath at the fastest speed. Everyone is nervous, because the breath released by Frieza at this time is very powerful. And now Goku is not on Earth. What's more, each of them was tortured by Frieza on Namek. So for Frieza, there was a visceral sense of dread. And when they get there, Ron and Vegeta were already there waiting for Frieza. Seeing Ron's figure, everyone's tense hearts relaxed a little. Because as long as Ron is around, Frieza can't make any waves at all. You must know that even Gods of Destruction Beerus is not Ron's opponent, let alone a mere Frieza. Mr. Ron, Uncle Vegeta, is the breath just now from Frieza? I feel exactly the same as the Frieza breath I felt on Namek. But the aura I feel now seems to be much stronger than Frieza. Son Gohan hurried up to Ron and Vegeta, and then asked, yes, that bastard smell of Frieza indeed. Vegeta nodded, then turned around and glanced at Piccolo and Klin, smiled and said, although I don't want to belittle you, but you can't help in such a battle, you should go back quickly. If it is the previous self, this will tell them mercilessly that they can go home and watch TV and drink milk. Because that guy Frieza, he can kill all of them by himself. But I have lived with these people for too long. Maybe my personality has also undergone some changes, right? Uncle Vegeta, please don't say that. Although I know your strength, it may have improved a lot. But this time there is a lot of breath around Frieza, which means that he is not alone, and we can help here more or less. Son Gohan spoke quickly. In fact, he didn't know how much Vegeta's strength had improved. Because in the recent period, it can be said that since the battle between Mr. Ron and Lord Beerus, he hasn't seen Uncle Vegeta very much. So how strong he has become now, I don't know. But I can also feel that Uncle Vegeta's temperament has changed a lot. It can be seen that his strength has greatly improved in the past few months. It's just that just now, what I felt was not just Frieza's breath. There are a few relatively strong chi among them. So when the time comes to fight, maybe they are not Frieza's opponents, and he can also help deal with others. Do as you please. But if you are killed in a while, don't expect me to save you. Vegeta folded his hands on his chest and said to Son Gohan. Minutes and seconds passed. 10 minutes passed, and a harsh buzzing sound also sounded from the sky. Everyone quickly raised their heads to take a look, and a huge dark cloud descended, covering the sky and covering the sun. After a closer look, it is completely recognizable that this spaceship is the spaceship of the Frieza army. Coming. Everyone cheer up. It is estimated that it will be a difficult battle. Piccolo frowned, then pointed to Son Gohan and Krillin and Master Roshi. They reminded. When Frieza and the others approached, they could feel that these guys were really strong. Even apart from the strongest Frieza, there are still a few more powerful auras. The chi of these guys is much stronger than the Ginyu Special Forces back then. Both Son Gohan and Kling nodded seriously. If it was Son Gohan's peak period, he could transform into a mysterious form. Even Frieza in front of him, he is not afraid at all. But now, in the past few years, Son Gohan has not practiced at all, and has been busy with academic problems. Therefore, not only did his strength not increase, but it dropped dramatically. Now she doesn't know if she can become Super Saiyan. In fact, Piccolo has said this more than once. In this crisis-ridden world where the strong are like clouds, strength is the only shortcut to protect yourself and your family. Although reading can achieve some achievements on Earth, if you want to deal with those powerful aliens, reading is useless. Come on, Frieza. I can't wait to trample you under my feet so that you can see how powerful this prince is. Vegeta clenched his fist tightly, then said confidently and excitedly, to be honest, I have been waiting for this day for a very long time. Today I can finally avenge my shame. Return the humiliation that Frieza made to herself 100 times back. Boom boom. Finally, the companion hums extremely harshly. Frieza's universe ship landed before everyone's eyes. Creak. There was a crisp sound, and the door of the universe spaceship was opened. Like locusts, members of the Frieza army stood in 2 rows on the left and right, and welcomed Frieza's grand appearance. I have to say that Frieza's way of playing is still full of style. Frieza is in her pram. The body floated directly in midair. Looking at Vegeta and Piccolo who suddenly appeared in front of them, there was a look of surprise on their faces. It seemed that these guys knew they would show up today. They were quite self-aware, and they ran over to die one by one on their own initiative. Ho ho. Looks like they are all familiar faces. Long time no see, Vegeta, and that Namek man. Frieza smiled incomparably coldly. That smile is just like a devil. But Frieza flinched in pain when his eyes caught on to Kling. There was an icy look on his face. Cackling, gritting her teeth tightly, Frieza said in a cold tone. That little booger has come back to life. Damn it. You must know that when I was in Namek, it was because of this little booger. Turned Son Goku straight into Super Saiyan, then beat himself to pieces. If it wasn't for this little booger, or if he didn't kill him, Son Goku may not be able to become Super Saiyan yet. You won't be so embarrassing yourself. So all of this has a lot to do with this little nose. 010005512 084401471. It seems that after the last time he died, he was resurrected by using the Dragon Ball. But this time, I must completely destroy him, so that he can never be resurrected. Seeing Frisia's icy gaze, Kellen subconsciously stepped back. A look of incomparable fear appeared on his face. Maybe everyone has this visceral fear of Frisia, but Krillin's fear is definitely the strongest. Because I was killed twice by this guy. The first time he pierced his chest directly with the horn on top of his head. The second time was even more ruthless, directly crushing myself. So that kind of fear has already been deeply imprinted in the deepest part of my heart, and it is simply insurmountable. Hey Frisia, I didn't expect to see you for more than 10 years. You haven't changed at all. You're still sitting in your stroller like a baby. TSK TSK TSK. It really makes me sympathize with you. Vegeta jumped up and appeared directly in front of Frisia, then mocked with a sneer. Now I'm not afraid of Frisia at all, and in his own eyes, he was as weak as a little ant. You can pinch him to death anytime. I waited for this day, but I waited for more than 10 years. I even thought that I would never have such a chance. Cackling. You wild monkey, do you know who you're talking to? Do you know what happens when you talk to me like that? Hearing that Vegeta actually said that he has a small nose, and his height has not changed at all, Frisia immediately flew into a rage. What I hate the most is that others say I am short. In my Frisia army, there were several people who were directly killed by themselves because they said behind their backs that they were short. Vegeta should be very aware of his own taboos, but he dares to say that. It seems that this guy's strength has improved a bit, and then he has been a little too inflated. Oh, angry? Shorty. But so what? Watching Frisia look angry, Vegeta continued to add fuel to the fire. 0. Killing Frisia is very easy, but before killing him, he must humiliate this guy well. Only in this way can I feel the thrill of revenge. Vegeta, it seems that you have indeed bloated and forgotten your identity. Or, you have forgotten how powerful and terrifying I am. If that's the case, then I have to help you recall the memory. Frisia clenched her fists tightly, and from her scarlet pupils shot out a murderous look like a devil. Then he said to Saul behind him, if any one of you kills Vegeta, I can make you the second leader of the Frisia army. Know that you are very strong. Generally, when you don't need to do it yourself, you will definitely not do it yourself. The purpose of my visit this time is to kill Son Goku and the Saiyan who once killed me. For a small character like Vegeta, he didn't even need to make a move. After Frisia's voice fell, the members of the Frisia army who were like locusts immediately became excited. Then he rushed directly towards Vegeta. Kling and Son Gohan are also ready to fight. It's just that at this moment, the corner of Vegeta's mouth raised an evil arc. Then he clenched his fists and instantly transformed into Super Saiyan 2. Ultimate Flash. Vegeta has a different personality from Son Goku. He would not be interested in these low-level roles at all. Those who can be killed in seconds will never procrastinate. When the Frisia army reacted, it was already. Vegeta's ultimate flash formed a huge shockwave, instantly engulfing countless people. The figures are like candles in the wind, completely dissipating in the energy beam. Thousands of figures disappeared without a trace in an instant. Nanny. Vegeta, a wild monkey. When can Tion become a Super Saiyan? Looking at Vegeta, whose whole body was glowing with golden light, Frisia's eyes flashed a look of surprise. In the past few years, I have been wrapped in heaven by that thing like a silkworm chrysalis, and I have suffered all kinds of torture and humiliation, and I don't know anything about the outside world. He didn't expect that even Vegeta turned into a Super Saiyan.